Hello, everyone. Welcome in. How are we all doing tonight?
We doing it? We're there?
We're
Hello?
there.
We're on.
We're
Hello.
We're there,
live.
baby. We're live.
Whoa.
Can you hear me?
Hello.
We're live,
We're
but
going.
we're missing a Georgie,
Can we-
unfortunately.
Can we hear? Yes. So,
As
for the
always.
sake of saving bandwidth, you just get us for video right now. But
Yeah.
you'll see Georgie soon. You'll see Georgie upon completion of this demo. We're going to be checking out
Yes.
Strangers of Paradise. I know you guys are both mega excited. You guys are both big Final Fantasy fans. Tell me about it.
we are.
You guys tell me what you
we
because I've done some research on it, right? I'm like the bookworm. I went and looked and did some like studio digging and all that. But you guys are the actual like Final Fantasy fans. So what? Tell me what you guys know about this. What are we about to get into?
Well, it's a Final Fantasy game. That's about my extent of knowledge that I know is definitely correct. Everything else is kind of a swirling random of rumor, strangely enough, from my level of knowledge. Which
The rumor mill.
I've been
Yeah,
told
it's
it's
the
an
rumour
isekai and not an isekai, and I was like, oh, is it or is it not? Because now I'm confused.
yeah, I don't think it is from the angry man's comment.
So
I don't think it is.
He was very angry.
Yeah, he was.
yeah,
he was.
it's really I'm curious to see what. I heard there's some interesting twists. Now, obviously, we're not going to get to like the big plot twist, right? We're playing the demo. We just want to
Playing
see
the demo.
hey, how's it
On
hold
action.
up? What are our thoughts, right?
Yeah. So my knowledge is that it's like essentially a multiplayer Final Fantasy game that is essentially, it's not technically canon in relation to everything else, but essentially it's the almost origin story of Garland, right? From the very, very first Final
Which
Fantasy
is
game,
such
he
a-
was the main villain.
That's so strange to be like, it's not canon, but it's the origin story. It's like, wow,
Yeah.
It is a bit
Yeah, it's like
come
it's
on,
almost like
Final
they're like,
Fantasy. What are you
Well,
doing?
yeah, I kind of feel like it's one
Yeah.
of those things where like they will be like, it's canon if the game does well. It's not canon if it doesn't, and it's just an unrelated.
Oh, it failed?
side
Oh, it
thing
wasn't
that we're
canon?
Trying. Yeah, it's like, oh, it's failed. Oh, we didn't make that game.
I mean, that's
Like-
a hard sell when you've named it Final Fantasy Origins. I feel like
Yeah.
that's a bit like the ship has sailed at that point, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think they're a bit worried because my experience with the Final Fantasy series is I've played the main 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. No, I have not played actually. 13. I played a bit 14 and then 15. So I played
12
1,
was
2, and
12 was
3.
the MMO also, right?
No, 12
Or was 11 the
12
MMO?
No, 12 was the game where they started changing everything. So 11 was an MMO, and then 14
All right,
was an
11
MMO.
was the MMO. and
Yeah,
then
but I
14
never
the
played
it.
11. But no, 12 was where they started changing things, and they went from like a turn-based system that they sort of had in like 10 and 10-2, and they sort of changed it to like, it was kind of still turn-based, but it was like you could run around in the fighting like
Yeah.
zone, which
Yeah.
can be very hit and miss, because I didn't like it in 12 and I didn't like it in 13, but then I loved it in 15.
I used to love
it's just-
turn-based. And now these days I'm like, no.
Yeah, it's
well,
really hit and miss.
I've actually been playing a couple turn-based games recently that I think are really good.
Oh, do tell.
Definitely worth like looking into, especially like I've been playing 13 Sentinels, which that game is a doozy. That game is beautiful, right? That game
Yeah.
is gorgeous.
I've
Two,
heard
it's turn-based in kind of its own unique way.
Mhm.
And like I definitely think there's a place for turn-based games still, right? Triangle Strategy
think
just
there
came
are.
out recently, and that game's doing fantastic. I hear a lot of people really love that game.
I think it's ever since I played the Final Fantasy VII Remake, I prefer the way turn-based is done within that, because they still got the turn-based mechanic in there somewhat, with the action as well, which is really cool.
Oh yeah, the AP system where you
I
could like slow
really
down
like
time
that.
and yeah, I think that's neat. But see, my problem is I want one or the other. I
you don't
wasn't a
both
super
mix?
big like. I kind of felt like Final Fantasy VII, at least like the remake, was really like middle of the road for me on combat.
Okay.
Just because I come from like a direction of fighting games and Devil May Cry,
True.
where like
True.
you want that high speed, intense, execution heavy. Like if you're gonna do combat, give me some combat. Give me combos, right?
That's
Let
kind
me
of why I
juggle my
struggled on
enemies, let
15,
me-
because like Final Fantasy 15, you could just hold down one button to do moves. In fact,
Yeah.
you didn't even have to fight at all. Your teammates would carry you throughout almost the entirety of the game.
Well,
I mean,
it depends.
I've seen,
Magic.
I've watched like
like
Super
very
Eyepatch
good.
Wolf put his controller down and literally just run through bosses, not doing a thing.
Oh,
It is,
really?
yeah, it's insane because Noctis can't die. If he goes to die, a summon gets called.
No, that's not true. You can die. You can definitely die in that game.
I always had
It's
summons
not-
being called every time I was close to death. And I was
see,
like, ooh, summon.
That's super interesting because I rarely got summons in that game.
Hey,
Summons
loads of
completely
summons.
randomized. Really? I see.
Yeah.
I never even saw half of them.
You've got to, so there's like certain things that you've got to have happen within the fight for it to happen. And I think
Yeah.
with one of the summons, if Noctis' health gets down to a certain amount, you will always get that summon.
Yeah, I don't know much about if because I don't think that's true because I definitely died in that game without summons.
Yeah, I've
Well, it
definitely
died in the
seen
beginning.
Maybe it's like a setting or an item or something you could
Yeah,
get.
it could be.
Probably. It's been a while since I played it. But yeah, every time I Noctis got to low health, because he's got like 2 health bars in a sense. Like, if you knock it all the way down, you'll just like sort of stumble everywhere. And then, yeah, you can call a summon.
It could have been an update, to be fair, because like they
Maybe.
did a lot
Yeah, there
of
was
updates
big-
in that game.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's because the game was received really poorly in the beginning, right? It was like
It
pretty
got
broken
rushed.
and not great.
I think it got scrapped a couple of times. So, like, there was a different story altogether. And then I think, was it a new director came on and new developers? And they were like, right, we're going to change this up.
See,
It was a mess.
like I'm be upfront, man. All of this is like such a like kryptonite to me. Like, how do you have like 17 numbered games, right?
yeah.
And like maybe once in a while 2 of them are connected, but it's like, and they're different writers, they're various like timelines. It's like, give me some sort of continuity. Give me something here.
No, it was very...
Give me some sort of through line, and it feels like every game is like completely its own standalone thing, and that's, I don't know why that like triggers like my OCD brain to like be like, no, I don't even want to touch this thing. It scares me. Like touching like the Final Fantasy series as a whole, right? Now,
Yeah.
like I have played some. I've played 10. I've played 10 too. I've played 14.
Right.
And those like 2 experiences isolated, if I don't try to connect them, were great experiences. The fact that they're both called Final Fantasy almost like it almost annoys me. It's almost like, what?
Oh.
Why can't they just be one story? Why?
No, many different stories.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and they're like they're not even like they're so different too.
They are
They're not even
completely
like
different.
and you get like some are very similar. Like I feel like 7 and 8 are kind of similar.
So, certain mechanics
then, like,
and like
look at-
characters
it's
and stuff sort of cross over. So Sid is in nearly every single Final Fantasy game, but
Yeah.
he's never the
but
same
it's not,
person.
Sid's not the same. Yeah,
You've got
He's
it.
technically a girl in 15, right?
Yes, yeah.
It's Sydney, correct?
No.
Oh, wait there. No,
Or is she
no.
still Sid?
No.
No,
Sid's
there is a
her dad.
Sid. Yeah, Sid's a dad.
Sid's the mechanic's
Oh.
dad, yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, so technically there is. No, it's so they have things that can continue throughout the games because technically they're not all set exactly in the same universe, but you have like, for example, like a lot of the monsters and creatures overlap
Are the
between
same,
all the
yeah.
games. There are
And
like
that's so,
stereotypical
like, It's so
Googles.
weird to me. It's
Yeah.
so strange to me being like, oh yeah, here's this creature that's in every game. But guess what? They are not related. It's almost like
no relation.
all right, so this is something we're going to talk about a bit during this, right? It's almost like, so a lot of people complain about asset flipping, right?
Oh, okay.
It feels like Final Fantasy games exist just to remake assets. I feel like that's what sells people on the games, right? It's like, oh, what's the new Sid going to look like? What's the new Barbaro going to look like? What's the new Tonberry going to look like in this new engine or this new graphic style? And I feel like that's what really like keeps selling people is they love these like creatures and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
That's
almost
never what
the
sold it
opposite
for
of
me.
asset
That's
flipping.
never what sold it for me. Like,
I'm not saying it necessarily sells it right, but
yeah, because like Final Fantasy VII, like the story pulls me in. Like Sephiroth, man, oh, what a villain!
But so here's the thing, right? Is if you know nothing about 7, how are you supposed to sell somebody on 7?
Okay,
Well,
If
it's
they-
literally a
especially
case
if I
of
go,
play this game.
sell me on 7 when I've played 10.
Oh, okay.
It's Final Fantasy, right? So like now you have to try to make comparisons between those two things, like as 2 separate jumping off points, and just it
Yeah.
gets like it's very like I said, the whole thing just feels like kryptonite to me sometimes. I don't have anything, nothing malicious against Final Fantasy. I just to kind of give my perspective on the series a little bit.
I can see where you're
It's very,
coming from.
From an outsider's
Yeah.
perspective, it is like the most alien, weird thing ever. As from someone coming from like Metal Gear and Devil May Cry and Resident Evil, where those series are like a mess enough as it is,
Yeah.
and you go, oh yeah, I love the Final Fantasy games. It's like,
But I
which
think
ones?
like as
I don't think anyone cumulatively actually loves everything Final Fantasy.
no.
Everyone has like their like 2 or 3 favorites, and to them, that's what Final Fantasy is. And,
That's a good shout, actually.
Even the fandom that like when they split, like I hate the Resident Evil fandom. I can't stand them. They are some of the most toxic people you will ever meet.
Really?
And I feel like yes, absolutely, because you get people going Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3 on PlayStation. That's my Resident Evil.
Oh.
Then you get people who
Whereas I like
with
4 and 5.
4 and 5, yeah, and they go, "That's Resident Evil to me." And to me, I go, "Well, I prefer 1, 2, and 3." Right? We can have a reasonable conversation on Twitter, on Reddit.
Oh, yeah,
there's no
okay.
reasoning. There's no like,
Oh, you have an opinion
No.
on Twitter? How dare you, sir?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Which like with someone with anxiety, this makes the idea of talking about these kinds of things like
Super
the
difficult.
most ridiculous. It's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
super.
I think
And then
everyone
it's just- And I
yeah.
think Final Fantasy has the same thing, and like already being involved with Resident Evil, I'm like again very hesitant to be like. Am I
No,
gonna
I think
get
people
the
are a lot
Final
more
Fantasy?
accepting. Like you say, like you've like one Final Fantasy over another. I think some people like fair, but I prefer this one. I think there's less toxicity.
There's definitely
Yeah.
just hella toxicity in. Oh my god, it's
Yeah, I
so
would-
frustrating.
I would say with like the Final Fantasy games, like I think that like everyone, as a fan of Final Fantasy myself, I think you don't treat them as a whole kind of like clump of games. You do kind of take each game individually because like I personally like you can kind of sit there and be like I think a lot of people like 7, 8, 9, 10,
Yeah.
and then maybe 15 are like the ones that are like the main, but especially like 7 to 10 are the ones that are like everyone's favorite main games that like cumulatively the community will love a couple of those games. But I
Yeah.
don't think you're right. No one is like, oh, 1 to 15 is my favorite because like excluding those 2 MMO games, which are
Oh, yeah.
essentially very different games compared to the rest of the series. I think
I mean,
that,
all
like,
the games are very different compared to one another. That's like
To
that's
an
not even just an
extent.
MMO thing, but like
Kind
to an
of.
extent, but I think that some of them do have some things that are very similar between them. And I think that like especially like things that people love, like the turn-based combat, I think that a lot of the time you tend to have the fantasy-based story, I think pulls a lot of people in, and you do tend to have very similar elements between the kind of like characters
Which-
that you have in the story and like the magic that you get and the kind of like GFs or Aeons or whatever you call them between
Oh,
each story and the
yes.
creatures. Like you do have some continuity in
Well, that's
regards to
what I'm
those, but
saying, it's like-
essentially it's
it's
yeah,
the
you're right. It's
asset
kind of
continuity. It's not really any continuity in terms of like
no, but
the
the
games
stories,
being related.
The
Like
stories
these
are
games
strong
are
enough
as
themselves,
similar
though.
as like they are to like maybe a Persona game, in my opinion.
Oh, okay.
I understand why you'd say that, but I think that like the
Because
games
they're so, like-
themselves are strong enough to hold. So like Final Fantasy VII on its own, if you play that game in its entirety,
Well, I
it's
think
a
Final
strong enough
Fantasy
story.
VII
It is a strong
is
story.
almost holding up the entire like. I think Final Fantasy 7 and 14 are basically holding up Final Fantasy.
I don't know. Eight's good. Eight's got a good story.
Don't get me
I
wrong.
like
there's
eight.
everyone will make
Nine-
an argument
Final
for
Fantasy
8,
9 is
6, 9,
amazing.
and 10. Right? Those are the ones I hear people make arguments for. But no one's consistent on them like they are 7 and 14. Those two games
Mhm.
seem like they're like the two like camps of Final Fantasy, basically.
No, give me a remake of 9, man. Give me a remake of 9.
Oh, agreed.
Absolutely.
A remake of 9.
Didn't they?
would be
Wait, what's the
fantastic.
pixel art one that just came out? Was that 6 or 9?
was 6.
6.
Okay, that's
6.
6.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the thing is, though, is that there was still a lot of people that wanted to like jump on and play that game.
Yeah.
And same again, it's like there are people that like, so like for me, like I want to go back and play 6. I never got to play 6. It was a game that like it was in that weird in between bit where like it never came out on PlayStation for me, so like I never got to play it. But like now,
Oh,
as a Final
that's
Fantasy fan,
something-
I want to go
Ooh.
back.
That's
Like,
something we
you-
should explore is games you guys didn't get released to you. That's
Oh,
like a
there's
pretty common
loads.
thing is that there's
Yeah.
a bunch of games that never came out in Europe. But
Yeah.
either came out in the US or Japan and like one way or another. I feel like it's way easier to import games into the US than it was in Europe because
Yeah.
I hear about like struggles people had to go through to get like certain versions of Mortal Kombat and stuff and I'm like,
was like the first Parasite Eve game that never came out in the UK,
Did
Oh,
it
really?
not?
but then Parasite Eve 2 did.
Oh.
which
Did
is
you guys
really
get
weird.
the third birthday?
The third
No, I
birthday?
think-
What the
what's
hell is
that?
that?
You don't know. It's the
No.
game that literally kills the Parasite Eve franchise.
It
Oh,
kill-
no.
What, as in kills it off?
It is so terrible.
Oh.
It is.
I kind of want to see that now.
wholeness.
It's probably a good
Yes.
job.
Oh, it's like a notoriously bad. Look, Stu's, yeah, he's like, we don't talk about that game. He's already know. He knows.
Whoa. I
Yeah.
mean, maybe.
The-
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know about it.
That's one of those games that's like, wow. Oh, man. Oh boy. That's a juicy.
Interesting.
That might be something I'd be interested if one of you ever, like Georgie, since you're kind of into Parasite Eve, maybe that'd be a fun thing for you to maybe check out.
That would,
Stu's
yeah,
gonna
I'll
be,
have to check
Stu's
it
gonna be
out.
like, don't do it. Don't. It's-
Stu will be like, I'll pick that up too. We'll play it together. We're like, yeah.
oh,
See how we
man.
go. Fucking hell.
Oh,
Yeah, no,
Christ.
I've not heard of that one.
The third
Wow.
birthday. Yeah, it's Parasite Eve 3.
Interesting.
Basically.
Oh, really? I'll see Parasite.
Yeah.
Is it actually called the
so
third
good.
birthday as well?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's-
there it is.
That's
Oh,
what it's
wow.
called. The third
What?
birthday.
Oh, wow.
Oh my god, it is. Oh, it's on
It was-
PSP.
I'm pretty sure it was so bad that they were like, we don't want Parasite Eve on the title.
Oh,
Wait, Stu's
wait,
played
is this
this?
the same character?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah. What the?
Aya Bray.
Oh, dear.
Oh, man.
No
George, you play it on
way.
stream.
It's on PSP.
Oh, my God.
That's what emulators are for. You can 100%
Yeah, emulate
emulate
that.
that game.
Emulate
Yeah,
You
that
can
is
definitely
true.
emulate that one.
Holy
Dude,
shit.
don't tempt me. Oh,
I've
my
been
goodness.
watching. I watched someone play it like maybe it was last year or the year before. It
Amazing.
was.
Oh,
it's a doozy.
that's awesome.
If,
I'll,
look,
yeah.
if you play that, I'll go back and play like Kingsfield or something like that. I'll go find an old From Software game.
Oh, my God, Kinsfield.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Okay, okay.
I'll play.
I've seen-
play a
yeah, I've
game
seen
that
gameplay
I
of it
would
now.
Say is like,
Oh,
yeah,
I'll have
yeah.
to.
I've
I think
shown
you were
that.
showing
Take
me.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it
That
was
was
you
me.
showing me, and I was just like, oh, my.
Yeah, I'll have to track it down. That sounds fun.
that's
Yeah, but no, but I think though that like so for me, like with this game personally, I think my main concern it's not been about the story or anything like that so far. I think my main concern has been the actual multiplayer aspect of it, because no other Final Fantasy game up to this point except Final Fantasy 15 Comrades has actually had
Oh, yeah, that
proper
DLC.
and the which wasn't bad, but it wasn't good. And the MMOs, so 14, which is one of the strongest games in the series, like you've said, has actually
man,
had
I put-
multiplayer aspects.
I'll be
in it.
upfront. I put a lot of time into 14, and then I just kind of hit a wall where I was like, I'm good. I really struggle with lifestyle games, right? So MMOs are like they're the type of game that they want you to come back like every couple days type thing.
Yeah.
And like you just hit a point where you're like, man, I got other games I want to play, man. The backlog is getting real. I don't have time for an
Yeah,
MMO.
that's almost the issue with 14 is that there's just so much content that like you have to I know someone that's invested nearly a full year into
God.
just Final Fantasy 14 to finish
yeah.
it completely. Like
think-
it takes so long to do.
I had two
like,
friends, and we put like a hard 6 months in every
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
there's some parts that like really make you lose steam. You hit a point in that game where it's like, hey, you're about to get a really long cutscene, meaning
Yeah.
like an hour and a half, 45-minute long cutscene.
Yeah.
Like it tells you like go take breaks. Hey, save before you do this. Make sure you've got the time.
Mhm.
And it's like let me just watch a movie at this point. What am I
Mhm.
even? What's like? Oh man, there's always something.
Yeah, I think so for sure. Like it's definitely a big game, but I think that from what I hear, it's definitely worth the investment. But it's what intrigued me so much about this game was that like they've kind of come out running with like, oh, by the way, this is going to be like a multiplayer game. So like I think having the actual pretty much from the sounds of it, the entire campaign as multiplayer should be a relatively interesting thing to see how that feature works in a game, because like for me the combat of 15 I quite enjoyed, and it's made me intrigued about what they're going to do for 16, and then I've heard good things about the 7 remake co-op as well, like the
Is there
fighting
a co-op in 7 remake?
no sorry the fighting, like the fighting style, so it's made
yeah,
me
the
intrigued of like how
So
it's going
I-
to play into this one.
As like I talked about, the combat's a big thing for me. That's what got me to pick up the 7 remake. Was I saw that combat, was like, oh, okay.
I
Maybe
know what
we
you mean
have
by
some
like
stuff here.
middle of the road with the combat, because like I enjoyed it
Yeah.
for nostalgic purposes more than anything. But I did enjoy the combat because I was like, right, is it going to be turn based? Is it going to be full on Final Fantasy
It was
15?
flashy. It looked really good.
I enjoyed
but
it,
it just didn't have the depth.
I get what
was
you mean,
looking
because like after
for.
playing Devil May Cry 5 and then playing that, you're like, it's not as S tier flashy with the sort of combos and stuff like that you can do, but I like the fact that you could switch between your characters and do certain other things. I still enjoyed it for what it was.
Yeah. So let's refocus a little bit. Let's get back on target because I see like False here just mentioned something that I'm like, okay, we should get into this because I want to. So this is how this is structured right now because we kind of threw this. This is kind of a last minute idea, but we think it's going to work well. So Georgie and Kage are going to play through the tutorial section, right? You have to play through the tutorial to get to the actual multiplayer part. I am there. Because, one, I typically don't like to play things blind, right? I like to know a little bit. I like to do a little research. That's just my approach. Two, we need someone to be that deep in to have the multiplayer room set up. So, they're going to be giving you a blind reaction. I have a little bit of, like, research insight I did, a little homework to help, guide the conversation. But I think it's time we get into this so we can start talking about it.
Cool.
Okay, let's do it.
So let's get into this. I'm
Three.
excited to see your guys' like.
Georgie, are you on the same page as me at the moment?
Let me find out.
Okay,
Let me see where you are. Well, yeah, I've pressed that button, so I'm just paused on like the first cutscene. So yeah.
Okay.
So up front, we are playing on PS4.
Cutscene is going.
Yeah, we're not looking enough at PS4.
I can't hear this, so I don't know what plays, what music.
None of you guys can hear.
I can't hear a thing.
Oh.
Can chat? Can you all hear the game? Because that's the important part.
Give me a second.
If
I'll
you can
check.
hear,
Yes.
that's fine. It can be heard. Perfect.
So.
I don't know how loud it is. Let me check my level.
I'm listening. Audio balance is good.
Okay.
Pretty looking, I'll give it that.
So this is the cutscene we saw in the trailer, right?
I might
Yeah.
take it down a tad.
And I definitely. This is so striking. This is so cool looking.
Yeah, this looks beautiful. Oh, I like the fact it's like a lot more like darker in regards to, like the gore and stuff.
Look at it.
Because they really avoid that in
Just
these games.
yeah, they do.
So,
did you know how
thing,
like Final Fantasy 15 was actually meant to be quite gory, but they completely took all of that out.
So 16 is now supposed to be quite cool.
Oh.
16's also supposed to be getting away from all the like future tech type stuff and going back to high fantasy roots.
I do like high fantasy.
Traditional elves,
I think that's why I like
dwarves.
9 the most. Because like 9 is high
Ooh.
fantasy. Oh my god, he's cutting limbs off there.
Yeah, so
Turning peeps into
it's so
crystals.
brutal, right? This is the
Is that how you
cutscene
get away
we
with
go,
gore? Because it's like, oh,
Alright.
it's not blood, it's just crystals.
I wanna play this, right? This cutscene sold me because I played Neo, right? I played Neo 2.
Yeah.
I will recommend the shit out of those games. They are so good. They are so much fun. The combat is so deep. There's so much like sink your teeth into. And it has multiplayer. So really, a big like part of my expectations going into this is Neo 2. That's kind of what I'm expecting. It's kind of like from the trailers we saw. It's what it looks like.
Yeah.
I mean, even these cutscenes, it's the same. I swear to you, it's the same.
It might be. This is very, very pretty. I will give it that. Like, this is pretty
Or
stunning.
he's just carrying a waifu off. He's just like, right, got my waifu. I'm off.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
who's gonna fuck with him now? He just
Yeah, no
like
one's stopping
murdered.
him.
I know.
Yeah, she's gone.
Yeah, she gone.
she's being.
Difference
I'm
between
guessing
difficulties.
she's probably a priest. She's probably a princess. Let's be honest.
Probably.
Yeah, I mean, it's Final
Sounds good.
Fantasy. What's the story of Final Fantasy 1? It's just that, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
But now from
Okay.
a different perspective.
So I've only played from 7 and up. Like, I've never actually played the past Final Fantasies. But I've seen
I've
them.
played 1 and 2, but it was a long time ago on a Game Boy
Fair play,
Advance
Georgie.
color.
So
I don't remember.
Off the bat,
is-
right?
what
These
is
cutscenes
this?
are aces. This is Tiamat. So this
Oh.
is your like. Look, we're gonna start. I don't want to like get
Okay,
ahead of myself
I just
on things
noticed
wanna
there's
say
a
about this.
lady stuck within Tiamat.
Yeah.
I only just noticed that.
That sounds about right.
I swear Final Fantasy do this in every game. There's like Adol in Final Fantasy 8. Okay, these
Yeah,
are
I mean,
buttons.
so aren't these like? I mean, not when they're actual like title spawns, but when they're like the man-made weapons, aren't they built out of people in most of the games? I don't.
No.
I haven't played, so I don't know like exactly.
No. So there's different lore behind each of the gods used in these games. I mean, like some of them, it's like every character can summon. Some of them, like only certain characters can summon. It really depends. Oh, I like this combination. But like, it just depends. Yeah, it's pretty smooth.
Although it's messing me up a little bit because of Dark Souls. Dark Souls dodge is circle, and this is X.
So playing a lot of Elden Ring, I had to get out of my head like there's no jump attack. Stop that.
Yeah.
Stop. You're not.
Whoa.
You can't jump power stance to slam barriers. Right?
Yeah, kept doing that myself.
How do I heal?
I don't think you have one. So right now, all you have is your guard, your evade, your normal attack, and then on R2 you have like style.
Oh right, I was expecting to be good at games. That's not okay.
Like the gauges aren't really explained to you. I'm assuming
No,
the
not
pink
yet.
gauge is
It's
health, and the blue gauge is your MP, or vice versa.
Yeah, usually
Cost?
yes.
Have that. Oh,
It might be
hell
the purple bar might be your MP, just because it's like broken up into chunks.
Dragon Waifu is now defeated.
Okay, mine still not defeated, but I'm just currently.
That's okay. We're just on a cutscene.
Why doesn't it feel like it?
So take it that. Okay, so the guy in the middle is Jack.
Yeah. So
Yes.
that's Jack, Chaos Killer, whatever.
Yeah.
That's the man who's I'm here to kill chaos.
Got you.
Edgelord extraordinaire, right?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
That'd be bright.
So I'm excited for this. So this is the scene. This is gonna get hella muted on the VOD because this is Frank Sinatra.
Oh,
Awesome.
why would they do that?
Because game studios are stupid. I don't know what
They
else
don't
to say.
think about people streaming it, do they? When they make a
They
game, they
really
just think
don't.
about people
They
playing the
do.
game.
A lot of them do.
Oh. Well,
Which is
these
what
ones
makes
clearly
it even dumber. It
Well,
makes the whole
these
thing even
didn't.
like more insane.
didn't. These ones
Yeah.
clearly didn't.
Oh, you can get away with playing this on stream. You just can't make money off it.
Yeah, I mean, look at Tony Hawk.
Yeah,
The
true.
Tony Hawk series that is like based around its soundtrack. That's what really sells those games. And then they
Hawk's
re-released them, and
getting
everyone was
sued?
like, "Yeah, I'm gonna stream this," and then they got owned.
Yeah, this
Stu's
is
got
very,
us.
very stunning.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can just sing over it. Like,
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
I watched Maximilian Dude sing over it. That was
He's got
pretty
like a-
funny. That was a good.
He's got like Bluetooth in his ears there.
Yeah, I mean, didn't you know that it's canonical that you're listening to Frank Sinatra on your iPhone in a cornfield?
To be
No.
fair,
Oh,
in Final
Lord.
Fantasy 15, they had like a car and stuff. So like these games can be fantasy to an extent,
First
but
off-
they still do
Well,
tend to.
so that's what they're getting rid of in 16, hopefully.
This
Yes.
does
It's
not
like-
look
so-
great on a PS4.
Yeah. So let's start talking about this now. Yeah, I think this field looks like crap on a
It looks
PS4.
trash.
is-
This looks like
yeah.
PS2.
It's almost tough to look at.
Whoa! Flipping heck!
Yeah.
Yeah. See that, you little shit.
Yeah. So go ahead and deal with this little goblin guy.
I
You
just
know,
shot myself.
those
Get out of here,
pre-rendered
goblin!
cutscenes are looking good. The ones you can tell. doesn't
Mary,
look great on the PS5 either.
it's like Mary.
So,
We're not
my
harvesting
understanding is,
any wheat this year.
I've seen one version of this look good, and it was 4K on PC. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, okay. And that's obviously like a super broadcast PC
Yeah,
that's like mega built. The like,
I hate this new
there's
gun.
stuff going on in here, like the artifacting on the like the wheat has like a shimmer to it.
Yeah.
It's like, it's rough.
It is
Hurting
rough.
my
Is-
eyes.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
it's really
it
just
was not
not-
great. to
Basically,
look at.
don't get this on PS4. Invest in the PS5. Sell your
Well-
house. Get a
Well,
PS5.
let's keep going. Let's get through the demo before we condemn it too hard, because I think there's more to be discussed ahead still.
Okay, okay.
So this cornfield is obviously like, it was clearly supposed to be a visual like ooh
Yeah, but
and to be fair, we are the gen behind, so
yeah,
I get it. I can't complain too much on it from that end, but there's definitely trailers are outsourced. That's why they look so. I can elaborate. The trailers are definitely done by Ninja Theory. They're definitely done by the same studio that does Neo,
okay.
for sure.
Oh, shit. What?
I don't want to like get too deep without us seeing more of the game. Square Enix cutscenes have always been super buff as well. So the Final Fantasy 14 trailers for the add-ons and stuff as they come out, those are mega popular every time, right? Those are incredibly high-end trailers. If you haven't seen them, I recommend checking them out just for like spectacle of them. But even like visually, there's a lot going on here.
Yeah.
I want to give the cornfield, like, I'm going to cut it some slack because I think this is supposed to be like the tech demo area. Like, look how pretty this game is.
Yeah.
And being on the older consoles, I would say I'll give it the pass. Like, you can tell there's like supposed to be other lighting effects and stuff. Especially like, look at when you pull up the tutorials, when those pop up, and you look at those screenshots, and you look at how different it looks from what you're seeing.
Oh yeah, literally.
It's definitely like
So I think I'll get to
for
it now,
PS4.
actually. So if I do that...
I think
yeah, you can literally see the difference.
Yeah. So that, I think, is limitation of being on last gen, right?
Yeah, because that looks like
Maybe
a nice
they wanted to
cornfield.
make a retro PS2. You know, that Bloodborne remake was excellent. If you want to go make a retro old school.
Yeah. Hey, retro has its place.
It is.
I actually really enjoy retro.
Yeah, me too. I'm really enjoying playing it at the minute as well.
Wait, you're playing the Bloodborne thing?
No, I'm going to.
Yes.
It's so.
But like,
it's
for like
so
some
good.
of the other stuff, I'm playing like a lot of like PS2 games at the minute. I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, I've been looking at getting into that. Like playing Elden Ring recently is really like, man, I used to love playing games like this.
The finisher reminds me of not Devil May Cry. I'm trying to think of another game. Is it? You play as Death.
Darksiders.
The
Thank you.
Death Doors?
No, it's
No,
the
I've
it was
got
definitely
Death's Door.
Darksiders. Definitely
Oh,
Darksiders.
oh,
Like
you
when you
play
finish
as-
your enemies
you play
in
as the
Darksiders
four
1 and 2,
horsemen.
you can like hold
Yeah, like-
circle to like do like a finisher, get some health back and stuff.
Yeah.
So this is definitely very combo-based combat, which is extremely different to the other games already. Like this
So-
is very different.
Already, I will say, this is watered down from Neo.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
This
very
is definitely
watered down.
so. If you're like, if you're more expecting like Final Fantasy combat, I think people might bounce off of that a little bit. But then I think people coming looking for Neo combat are going to be a little disappointed.
Yeah.
So this is kind of what I was
Yeah.
talking about, the middle of the road for the combat. I kind of get that feeling that the combat just feels okay. It feels all right.
Yeah, the
It's
combos-
snappy. It's responsive. There is potential to be deep there.
Look,
Mhm.
and crystals can sense each other.
Almost get
You
the
have one
suspicion
too,
now. I also want to point out that like
don't you?
even this cutscene like looks all right, but it'll
mission is
switch
to
to using
kill
the game
chaos.
assets, and
That's
it's
all I know.
kind of ugly.
Me too.
Also,
Good.
I'm not gonna
We're all
say
on the
where
same
Jack was
hunt.
keeping his crystal, but
I'm
look at the
Jack.
shape of that thing.
Jed,
Ash.
Where are they keeping these eggs? Bro, this writing. I'm getting
Oh.
whiplash from this writing.
Jack, Jed, and Ash appeal to the... Okay, it's gone.
This is
No.
all right. So
You
also, I
return
want to
your
point
trophy.
out. Get ready for this spoiler. This is the demo, right?
Hmm.
This is actually also just the beginning of the game. This is how the game actually starts, and I'm like,
oh my god.
oh, here
They're like
we go.
the Digidestined.
Get ready.
They're
Get ready
like
for this
Digimon
one.
Masters.
Pay attention to what Jack says here.
Okay.
Agumon, did you
What?
evolve too? What does he digivolve into? Is it Greymon? It is.
Yeah, I think so.
Greymon.
That's just a scratch.
What?
Nothing a little spit can't heal. When are we gonna fight chaos? Oh, this
Nothing a
monster
little
hunting is a
spit
pain
can't
in the
heal.
ass.
seriously. Fingers crossed we're done.
It's meant to be. And just like that, I stopped
Either
caring
way,
about the graphics. This
time
guy's
to pay
down
the
with
king a
spit.
visit.
I'm in.
And we
I
don't
was
leave
gonna
without
be nice
answers.
and not make comment about spit today, but you brought it up, so
No, yeah, I brought it up. I brought it on myself this time.
a bit of spit. That is just flipping.
The world.
I love it. They
lies
literally have cure.
shrouded
They
in
literally could use the spell cure,
Only
but no, it's
because
okay.
it's
'Cause
gone.
spit can cure it.
Yeah, spit's got it.
Seas,
Look,
language,
I like the
earth
writing
decays,
is
but
Not
absurd.
strong?
It's
believe in the prophecy.
not that's not
Patiently
strong. It's just that's
awaiting
like
its fulfillment.
what?
Well, I still don't know what's going on.
You have
Four
no
warriors of
emotional
light
link
shall
to these
come.
characters at all, or
No, they just turned up.
link between them because they all just showed up like the Digidestined with the little
Yeah.
eggs. Like
It
you have
really
like,
feels
no
like
attachment. To
I
them
feel like
whatsoever.
I feel like hours of the game have just been cut out in front of our eyes.
I was gonna say,
Well,
right?
that could be the case.
Well, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
So,
it must be. Surely.
My opinion about this so far is that this was meant to be a cool action Final Fantasy game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm waiting, like, obviously it's just come out, so we're not going to be able to get all the dirt yet and find out what exactly happened behind the scenes. But what the product that we're experiencing now feels like someone was like, all right, well, we have a contractual obligation to finish this game, so we're just going to do it and get it out.
Yeah.
And like, it feels like there's high memeability here. The combat potential's there. The co-op could be fun. I'm, holding reservations, holding judgment. We'll see how it holds up. Like, it feels like there's a lot of potential here, but it feels like something happened behind the scenes that went, we got to cut some stuff. We got to get this out.
I have a horrible feeling it's like Final Fantasy 15 all over again.
No, don't do
Like
this.
with 15, it happened with that as well.
Well, so 15 was actually
still, to
done
be
by
sure,
Square Enix, though, right?
Few
This is
Yeah.
could have slain
done
even
all
one
out of
those
house.
abominations, let alone
except for like
3.
probably like the writing,
There is still the matter of your number, however.
which
Sorry,
is
that
when
king's head is
darkness
tiny.
veils the
so.
warriors
Now that
of
we're
light
out of
shall
the
come.
pre-rendered cutscenes,
And your
look at these
crystals
graphics again.
trouble me. They do not
Look at like
shine the
textures
color they
clipping
should.
into each
Can't argue
other.
with that.
Like,
But you need warriors,
why
right?
is that guy's cape
Look in
flapping
front
on
of
its
you.
own?
Here we are,
What?
ready and willing to take
Oh,
chaos
man.
down for you.
It's
And with all due
motivations.
respect,
Like the motivations are already
isn't
super
that
weird
what
for these
matters
characters
most?
as well. Like the story already doesn't make sense.
God, he's jacked. That kin is
Yet a question
absolutely
still
jacked.
weighs
Look at
on
the
my
shoulders.
mind.
Or it's a
Warriors
giant
of
coat.
dark crystal.
With
Oh,
shoulder
it could be a
pads.
very
Why
giant
court
coat.
danger so eagerly?
Yeah, the shoulder pads. Shoulder pads are
What
coming back
could
in
you
style. did
His
you not
hands
know?
look tiny.
All I care about is seeing Chaos dead.
Like, why does he want Chaos dead? Like, what is going on?
Too.
I'm so
Also,
lost.
I want to just
or a
remind
dream.
everyone that this game is
It's
out,
like a
right? This
hunger.
is not like
A thirst.
it's not finished yet, so maybe we'll fix it before release. It's released. This game
Does
came out
that
4
answer
days
your
ago.
question?
Yeah.
This is straight up
well.
just the beginning of the game in demo form to try to
Minister
sell people
Lackland,
on it.
Fetch the key
So
to
unfortunately,
the shrine.
this is it.
My lord,
Maybe we'll get
no.
some patches,
Jack,
but this is the
Ash.
game.
Jack,
Oh, it's so ugly. Oh no,
I
it's
place the
so
future
like.
of
Oh
Cornelia in
no.
your hands.
Yeah. So
Oh,
like I
you
said,
bastards.
we had a real big
cutscenes.
vibe of like.
Do not fail
And
us.
so the structure, even the structure, right? I'll wait till you guys actually get to the menu to look at it.
Oh God. Ah, my eyes.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is not good.
Like,
Oh,
characters just-
no.
Oh my God, dude. It's just all grainy and
Yeah,
It ain't
it's
great.
fighting
Yeah.
the PS4 downscaling
it
for
is.
sure. So
Yeah.
I try to like give it a bit of credit there. I would
Mhm.
like to hit the point where we can try a little bit of the.
Like, you see the cutscenes and stuff. You're like, oh, okay, I could deal
What's
if it looked
going
like
on?
that, which it probably would on the PS5, right? But
Like, all right, so this portion of the game right here, all of this, I think
Mm.
this all looks like Square Enix.
The people
oh,
of-
okay.
Unfortunately,
Like a
this looks like
flower
Square
blooming
Enix
in
work.
a dark wasteland.
This is gonna be Square Enix work, but I mean, like, it's
Well,
funny.
so
'cause
like I
this
said,
is-
I think most of this is done by Ninja Theory.
And a
Like
lot of
did-
people
like
have
I
the
said,
same
Neo
faces. Oh, wow.
And the
That's a
DMC
lot.
reboot, which, like, to be fair, their faces aren't great.
No, there's a lot of, like, copy and paste faces. Oh, my.
It feels like whatever happened, they were like, all right, well, we're rushing
That's
this.
nothing.
Yeah.
Because if they had taken the
Yeah,
time
'cause
that they'd
that's
put into
medicine.
Neo 2, I feel like this could have been crazy.
That's wonderful.
But
In that case, if it's not too much trouble, would you be able
so
to
no
spare
anti-aliens,
some for
not
our
even playing
soldiers in
4K.
the
Why
Yeah,
does
desert?
the child look like a 30-year-old woman? That's weird. Like, she's meant to be. Oh no,
Is there
this is.
something you want?
There is.
God,
I
the
need a favor
writing,
from
I
you.
can't.
I heard you were going to the shrine, so I thought this would be my only chance to ask.
Still don't know what's going on.
Two, actually.
Of course.
Like,
There
everything's
was a
going on.
knight
She's had a
by the
daughter
name of
kidnapped. She's like,
Garland
you must
set out
smile
to
in front of my
battle chaos
children.
as well.
Literally
He
stop.
never returned.
Like,
If you could.
Oh my god, and I was literally about to say that false here. So the character
have
here,
time
Ash, the
for a
red-headed
rescue
one, is
mission,
literally
princess.
Prompto. I've thought that
I
since I've seen the
understand.
trailer. That's Prompto
You
from
don't
Final
need to
Fantasy
go out
15.
of your
100%, that's just Prompto.
Yeah, I was gonna
I
say that
believe
does look
that.
very
What
prompted.
does it
Yeah,
look like?
that is just Prompto. I was like,
always wore
they
such
just literally copy and
splendid
pasted
armor.
Prompto. And
Like I
it's,
said, I
and it's
think
like
there's
a wish version of
Terrifying to
Prompto.
behold.
'cause
He towered over the other
that is
knights.
max.
Oh my
Even
god.
so,
I'm thinking about that.
his
Prompto is a
Wish
good voice.
version of Prompto.
How
Pound
long
shop.
ago was this?
Like,
Pound
put him
shop.
in white jeans? How dare you?
Years ago.
Oh my god.
white
Prompto would
jeans.
never.
I love white jeans.
Prompto would never.
It seems just like yesterday.
But yeah, this looks
No
this
one
does not
believes
look
me.
good. I am whereabouts are you up
Not
to?
the minister, not my
I'm
father.
speaking with
Oh, you're outside.
Princess
Oh, I
Sarah.
probably should have gone
By
outside.
the name
Oops.
of Garland
I'm just running around inside bitching about it. Right.
Oh yeah. Go enjoy the cutscene.
I'll see
Go
what we can
take
do
in the
about
writing.
our Missing night.
Yes, I already am. I'm
Nice.
loving it. I'm loving every second.
Like I feel like the writing is one of those that
Wait.
people are either gonna be like, "Wow, this
The
is
other
so
favor.
cringy, it's terrible," or people are gonna be like, "This is so cringy and
Come
bad,
back
I
soon.
love it."
And soon.
And like already this Jack character, I feel like everyone's
May the
like trying to
crystal's
like
blessing be with
explain the world or give you
Always.
depth or something. And he's just like, "What do you want?
Yeah.
All right, is it on the way to kill chaos? I'm in. No, I don't care." You're like,
It's just gonna be
All right,
Jack running
man.
around halfway through the game being like, chaos!
Your
Just
crystal
shouting
vibrating too?
constantly.
yeah.
Oh,
literally
hold up their
hate this
eggs.
Princess Sarah character.
Forget it.
I
You
literally,
need to
I can already tell
focus.
she's irritating.
I don't
she's
even know what she
already
sounds
annoying
like.
It's gonna be a long day.
Dude, them holding these weird
get
butt
some
plugs will
rest.
never get not funny to me. I can't
Where are their
stop thinking
pockets?
about it. Where did Prompto just shove that thing?
I know. Oh, that's why they're walking like that.
Just the guy I wanted to see.
Do you think they vibrate?
Tomorrow. Why don't you spend the night
Literally,
here?
sorry, the bit I'm on,
God.
that I literally love that Ash just made a comment to the
Oh
Princess
my
bit.
god. This look at this fucking knockoff Brad Pitt. What's going on with his hair? Why is it fighting with himself?
Yeah, I've seen that with a few of the characters so far.
Bayonetta. That's real life hair.
It just
Oh, I forget,
cutscene
I'm
after
looking- I'm
cutscene
watching-
after
Departure
cutscene.
will soon spread.
Has there
And
been like what,
failure
6,
will
7
leave a stain
cutscenes?
on the king's
Yeah, and look, they're all
reputation.
jumping
Bear
to like
this in
these new
mind.
locations and people that we haven't been
Travel
introduced to, and they're just like,
northwest,
"You
and
better
you will
fucking
reach
do."
the
Like, I'm
Chaos
supposed to
Shrine.
care what this guy has to say.
Like, I don't even know where the fuck we are anymore. I mean,
Why
it's
are
the
you
content
starting
of
a
it, so-
game like this? This is I'm it's like metaphorical whiplash.
Hmm.
I
It's
can't.
weird. It's
Okay,
like, it's
I
like why
think I
give
can
a
now
demo
join
of
you.
the game and give you a really broken story?
Okay, I'm on the map. I'm on the map.
Well, but
Multiplayer-
unfortunately, that's just the game story.
multiplayer can
just
now
the game.
resume.
Yeah, but this has to be like
No.
broken up, right? This cannot be the
No.
start of the game.
This is the start of the game.
Yeah, it's just
There's no
I
way.
watched a sponsored stream of it last night because I was wanting to play because I was like, I should play and get up ahead of everyone so that way like I can explain things. So I was watching Maximilian Dude do a sponsored stream of this last night. This is
live
the
out way
start
Max.
of the real game.
What?
I don't know how I feel
Wait,
so
that's
far about it.
not good.
That's what I'm saying. It feels like so much has been cut out. It feels like they were like, we just got to fill the contract and be done.
Yeah.
We got to get rid of this.
Wow.
Because
Makes sense.
the combat, like you said, is like, it's not bad. It's not the deepest stuff that I look for, but it's not bad combat. Right? It's already more than like, who knows how many years it took them to put this thing together.
You can jump about to other people. Okay, do you want to invite us in, Patch?
So I created the room. Hang on.
Okay.
It just yeah.
Oh,
so
God.
so far, it doesn't make any sense, and it's literally jumping between
Yep.
scenes, and it's
Mhm.
just it's very disjointed, and it like why make a like what like why make a game like this, and also why start with a flashback
Hmm.
and then
Because
bring it
I-
forward to this.
I almost guarantee there's a bunch of game that was cut out.
Sorry, flash forward. Sorry, why bring? Yeah, it started the game with a flash forward and then brought it back.
But it was
Hey,
kind of,
heads
it was
up,
kind of
password
weird.
needs 5 digits, so I just added one more.
I find it
digit
very
and put them on.
strange that you fight Tiamat and then go to a tutorial and then go straight to like just cutscenes. It's very jarring.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, what was that Patch about the room?
Sorry, I'm inviting you, Cage. You'll get in here. So,
Okay.
this is where we can get into some of the stuff that like I'm not talking shit about, right? This is where we can get to some of the stuff I think is actually kind of cool and that they may have done well.
You can invite me, by the way.
Oh, cool, you're through? Excellent.
Join.
There you go. I looked over. I forget that I'm like looking over at the stream screen, which is already behind, so it's not helpful. So
No.
this is my understanding. Is one, I can just invite you guys in, and this is kind of similar to how Neo 2 works. It's just gonna bring you guys in with your equipment, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
And it will apply it to the other NPC characters.
Yeah.
So you're just gonna get reskinned as not Prompto and Jed, not Jekt, you know?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that's what it's, Jekt and Prompto. So I don't know how much of the combat we're actually gonna get to play with, because I didn't go through and like, I really wanted to go through and grab some extra gear so I could show you guys like what it's about, right?
Yeah, isn't it quite customizable from what I've seen?
So you can see our average equipment levels there, and it says swordsman and duelist, and then our weapons.
Yes.
So you basically get to have two styles, kind of like in DMC where you got the style switch later on in the game, 4 and 5.
Okay. Okay.
So you would pick your role. So you could pick like black mage and white mage if you just want to be a caster.
Yeah.
And then you could swap between combat mage and healing the team. Or you could do, you know, swordsman and duelist or dragoon. It has the job system from Final Fantasy that I think most people are familiar with.
Final Fantasy 14. The job system has never been a thing in a mainstream Final
Well,
Fantasy game. Except
not like officially, but like they have
10-2.
roles, right? Like you can sit there, you can go like Titus is a swordsman, Kamari's a blue mage.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they've always been pre-assigned roles. They've never been something
Yeah.
like you can kind of change them, but the character
But
stats
the-
are made that you will probably
Yeah.
like that's
The
what they want
classes,
you to play.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like, they want you to play it that way. Like you can play it other ways,
But
but,
it's
like
just-
the other, yeah.
Yeah, I understand what you mean, right? It's not like a system that like like I said, I haven't played the other games, but it's the role system of Final Fantasy. I don't want to call it a class system just because like because I come from 14 where they're not classes, they're jobs.
Yeah.
So, but it's the class system, right? And you get to basically mix and match your two, and build yourself to do one thing or another. So, obviously, we're all going to be starting with the same gear. So we're all going to have the greatsword and the like
Mage
dual
mashers.
style.
Mage mashers.
Yes.
As long
I
as
will
those
just
things can make me
say-
mashed potato, I'm all about them.
I will just say, already going into this, my biggest thing that I've already taken from this, it doesn't feel like a Final Fantasy game.
I would
That's
agree.
it.
It
That's
feels
what
like
I'm-
Neo,
I would agree.
which is
well,
why I give it credit. I think that's what's actually saving it for me is the thing that I think Final Fantasy fans don't like about it.
Yeah,
I shouldn't
which
say
is
all
the thing
Final
that's
Fantasy
already-
fans, but
Yeah, which things that's kind of like, because I'm not really a fan of Neo. Like, I've played a bit of it, and I didn't really like it that much.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
I'm not
this is
loving
not your
this.
type of thing. Yeah,
Well, I like some of it. Like, I've played games with this kind of fighting before, obviously, and stuff, and I've enjoyed that.
I'm gonna hit
but
ready so that we can load in.
Yeah, but calling it a Final Fantasy game, I already don't agree with. Like, this is not a I don't think this is a Final Fantasy game. I think it's taken plot and stuff, but, like, even then, we don't even know what the bloody plot is, barely, because it hasn't explained it properly. So, like,
So
it
All I know
doesn't
is
feel like
that
a
we're
Final Fantasy
after
game.
chaos, and that's it.
I can't see, and this is a good point to talk about because I disagree. I think isn't Final Fantasy. All the games are pretty different, anyways, right? So it's
Yes.
kind of like this fits the mold. This is just not the Final Fantasy you like, which is what I'm talking about with
Yeah.
like the Resident Evil fandom split and the Final Fantasy fandom split. It's like games like that trigger my brain goblins. They're like, I don't want to deal with like this. Like, oh, that's not real Final Fantasy, but this is, and it's like everyone's gonna have a different opinion.
Well,
like-
I mean, you're right in
That's
the
just-
sense of, like, for example, when people were split between RE7 to the previous
Yeah.
Resident Evil games because it's a first-person game. And so for me personally, when I think about the Resident Evil games, I don't really compare Resident Evil 7 and 8 to the previous games because I think it's different. Like, I think it's hard to compare
Yeah, I
those
think
kind
that's
of
fair.
games.
No, I think that's fair.
And I guess it's the same thing with this. Like, it is a different kind of game, and I think that, like, until I've really given it a good go and played it through a lot of it, because I can see aspects that I'll like, it just doesn't feel like the other Final
think-
Fantasy game. And that's not
I think
necessarily
if
bad.
it didn't have the jarringness and the janky,
Do you know what it feels like?
'cause Final Fantasy
It
does
feels
have
like, hey,
janky
there's not much
writing,
story. We're just gonna throw you straight into the game.
which is kind of what Neo is.
Oh, really?
It really, that's very similar.
I
to
still
what
need to
Neo
play
is.
it. I
Neo's
still need to play it.
mission based like this, yeah. Neo is very much mission based like this. So you like get your homies, go through, and it's like running through a legacy dungeon in Elden Ring. with your friends.
Okay.
This
okay.
really makes me think of, there is another co-op RPG game where you, like, essentially go around dungeons and fight bosses and stuff. The graphics
Cool.
are much better. Oh, what's it called though? It's an
This'll be a walk
RPG.
in the park.
We'll watch
Also,
There's a
I don't
few.
like how all the time with the
I
same
love
thing.
the idea of co-op RPGs. Yeah, this is why I kind of wanted to play ahead so that I could like show you guys some of the other weapons. We'll get them in this dungeon.
Yeah, I don't want this weapon. Why have we all got the same bloody weapon?
Because we all are at the same point in the game. We haven't gotten the extra stuff yet.
Well,
I feel
hello
like-
there, goblin friend, and goodbye.
It's not like a character. Like they're gonna slowly introduce all the weapons to us because each one does kind of a different thing, right? It's a whole new moveset. It's like Dark Souls.
Oh, you
Yes,
just
but I kind of
absolutely
hoped that they sort
boss
of had.
people? Look at
Like a
that.
character
kind of-
creator.
No, I wish they'd sort of had like each of these had like a pre-requisited like weapon types and stuff. You know?
Well,
so,
they
like, for example,
do,
all
but
my
when you play
guns or-
multiplayer, it's gonna load you in as the role that you want to play as.
Oh, I guess so. Well, that's true, yeah.
So, like, they kind of expect you to play this game a bunch on your own and then play with friends later and be like, oh, hey, yeah, well, I'm this sweet dragoon. I'm this cool, like, gunblade guy, and, you know, all that shit. So it's, like I said, it was a case of, like, I wish I had kind of gone and grabbed some of the gear so I could show at least some of it off, but
Yeah.
we'll just get it and we'll be fine.
Plays kind of smooth.
Yeah, I mean, it's playing smooth. I'm just running around killing stuff on my own, not really bothering anyone, and that's neat.
Yeah.
How do I
These are
switch
just like
styles?
your
Let
general
me-
mobs.
I barely
So,
even got
I'll
going.
use the tab.
I could do this all day.
Yeah, I want to see more than just a goblin.
Here.
then-
Yeah.
okay,
Goblins
can
are
we
very
share loot?
generic
So if I open
enemies.
this, does that open it up for all of us? Did you all
So
get that?
I just got a Twilight tunic. I think so. It picks it up for everyone.
Yeah, I think it picks
Yeah,
it
it
up for
does, yeah.
everyone. So then if I go to...
So which is cool. That means there's no like loot ninja,
Jack,
which
there's
is
one down
a
there.
big pet peeve
Let's
in
take it
multiplayer
down.
games.
Yeah.
Games where you can like steal loot from each other. Oh man, oh boy.
Battle set items?
Bad
It's gotta be
memories.
items. Oh, there we go. Twilight tunic.
So you can combo into the style change too. There's like,
Oh my god,
hate
there are
not
so
having
many
a jump
things
button.
that you can have.
damn it, Elden Ring.
Oh crap! I fell down. Shit.
Yeah, and now you can't get back up because there's no jump button. What is this?
All right, well,
Oh.
we're doing this then, aren't we?
Is this game out now? Yes, it is.
Okay, how
This
do
game
you...
this game came out on the 15th.
Go to
I wanna try this
items.
style.
Can I not equip anything?
Oh, I mean, I'm a big fan of mage mashers because mage mashers are one of the weapons that you can use for Zidane from Final Fantasy 9. I'm already seeing
Yes.
little bits of the other games. They had anima
Yeah.
crystals, which is one of the
Oh,
aeons
equip
from
it.
Final Fantasy 10.
Okay, no
So
idea
one
how
of
to
the
equip
things, there's a lot of things in here that feel like, hey, look at these individual assets. Look at this cool new, like I said earlier, like Thornberry, Marlboro, all those. You see them, you're like, oh, this is kind of cool. This is a reference to this thing. And I think that's gonna sell people. But again, it's like overall, if this game did not have the Final Fantasy name or those assets,
Butthole.
I think this would be another indie, like middle of the road. Oh, this is a cool like action RPG, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe a year or two down the road when there's like a bunch of like kind of what happened with Neo, where Neo came out and was like, this is a fun Souls-like, but then once all the DLC came out and the game was done, people were way more down. So it's giving me the option. I'm down, by the way. It's giving me the option to revive myself or call for help.
Okay, do you want to call
Wait,
someone?
did-
I'll try and get you.
I'm just curious to see what happens if you try to get me.
Okay, so use a potion.
Just
then-
because like I said, I could revive myself, but this doesn't use the resources to do that. So use the potion.
I'm just
Yeah,
attacking
use
the
a
butthole.
resource.
Oh god, this Goblin Guardian. Leave me alone.
Stop it, Goblin
Um,
Champ.
How dead?
Yeah, I just got a new
Oh, wait,
bracelet.
lock on. Oh, yeah, wait. Oh,
So, it seems like you have to do finishers on these, like, chaos things.
Nice
Yeah.
one, Jack. Now let's see what secrets
If
this
you get down on the
place is
D-pad, you've got little green eggs that you get to
Over there.
chomp.
hiding. Let's relax
I guess
for a
those are your
bit.
Estus.
no, like your potion. Yeah, like your potion. Oh, the
Dash.
sprint.
Oh, there's
Or
a
is that
job
that?
tree.
This feels like early 2000s action game.
Duelist.
This
It
reminds
kinda
me
does.
of, what was the game I talked about? Anarchy Reigns, which was a platinum game. That's what this
Swordsman.
feels like. Oh no, I didn't mean to
Okay.
fall.
Light
Wait a
burner.
minute, I fell. Oh, how do I get back up?
See, it's just said something about magic there. Now, something that I find super interesting is that magic has really failed in the past few of these games for me. Like, I think magic has been... They've not managed to get magic right and how they do magic. It's a freaking bomb, though. They've not managed to get magic use right. In Final Fantasy 15, the magic use was so inconvenient, you were better off just not doing it.
I really like
See,
magic
I-
in 7.
See, you were just better off not doing it. Whereas, like, I see, like, I actually haven't played 7 Remake.
But did you know, if you play the original
I
Final
liked
Fantasy
the
7,
Magic
8,
7
or
remake,
9, magic does less damage than your normal attack. Your normal attack will always do the most damage.
Got company.
But there's certain characters that have magic, and, like, there's certain enemies that, like, using magic against has always been a benefit. You know, if you have a magic-based enemy, you know, doing an attack on that is always going to be... Oh, shit.
What is an instant
Victory
ability?
was guaranteed.
Oh, you
How did
down?
I die? Yeah, wait, why did I die again?
Oh,
This
I've
game's
got a
not
potions
rigged.
for you. I can't even heal you.
I just use the Phoenix down.
I think you can play with
Oh,
I have
bots,
okay.
yeah.
2 feathers.
I think, like, if you can't if you're playing single player, I think the other 2 characters just, they're just
Yeah,
bots.
they'll automatically be bots. And also, it's not always not Prompto and not Jekt. It's
Oh.
also, there's another character. I think
that
there's 2
hurts.
other characters.
Yeah, well, it's 4 Warriors of Light, right? Oh, what just happened?
What just happened?
Oh, I touched this thing. Oh, it brought you
Oh,
back? I didn't touch this
yeah.
thing originally.
It brought us back. Oh, it restarted the area.
Oh, it's like a bonfire? Oh.
Yeah. Kind of.
Oh, okay.
That's
I didn't
new.
know.
Never had that before.
Well, I mean, yeah.
It's fine. It's fine. It's good because we got a full potion for that.
Job level.
Yeah. So for me, like, yeah, I haven't played the 7 remake, but
Alright,
like,
so can we
go.
change our gear? That's...
I tried,
I
and
don't-
I couldn't do it for some reason, so I'm not sure if you have to do it before you go into a dungeon.
Whoa! Okay. Change
What
on. Got one tutorial. I have a level 4 great sword. I have
Oh,
other
shit.
clothes I can put on. Whoa! I can put on edge. Look at this.
Wait, you can put something on?
Yeah.
How can I do that?
I'm putting on.
Oh, that's pretty
Oh,
edge though.
sorry.
Oh, hello.
Special.
Hello, sailor.
Whoa! Am I not wearing a shirt?
No,
Hang
I'm
on.
not wearing a shirt. Wait, how would you do that? Because I couldn't do that earlier. It won't let me put
oh, there's
shit
so
on.
many bombs. This is freaking ridiculous because these bombs are OP as shit. Oh,
Now I
my
have a
God.
jumpsuit.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, I'm not going that way because there are a lot of bombs.
Playing too much Dark
Combo
Souls, like
abilities?
you pressed the wrong
What
buttons,
is
that's why.
this? Whoa! There's a combo list. I found a combo list.
Oh,
The other question is, how dumb are the bots? Man, there's a... that's a loaded
Wait,
question.
even though I select it, I still can't wear it? Okay, yeah,
Oh,
I
shit, I'm
can't
gonna
change
put it
into
there.
anything. I'm gonna help Georgie.
So I wonder
But
if
if
it's
anything,
because
this is
I'm
like
host
story
that I'm
going
able to
to-
change
Holy
and you
shit,
guys
Georgie.
aren't.
yeah, because I'm playing the game. Yeah, I don't.
I was trying to change my sweet costumes.
I just wanted to spot some goblins. I was not going after those flipping bombs alone. They're just
I'll stomp on it then.
Dude, thank you.
Look, I have suspenders covering my butthole.
So we're like picking loads of shit up. There's a lot of drops.
Jack has to do that attack, you know, because I don't have the option to do that attack.
Oh, you guys don't have the option to do that? It's probably,
No.
again, because I'm host.
Oh, so only host can
Maybe.
progress?
Potentially.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it's kind of like Dark Souls, right? Where
Yeah, I was
like,
gonna say
only
that
the
for the
host
Dark
can interact
Souls.
with a bunch of
Oh.
stuff.
Yeah, that seems
Probably.
very Dark Souls.
This feels like a stupid way to do an invisible wall.
I do like the fact
not
that
invisible wall, but yeah.
you interact with the environment. Like, if you hit something, it can, like, knock it down. I do like that.
I just want to know how you can wear stuff. Or only host change.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. That
How did you do it?
Change and
How
you guys
did you
are
do it?
fixed. Well, once we're out of combat, you stop pushing forward all. Yeah. I want to try to like get to a point that we can look at what is it like for you. Whoa!
Yeah, it's like a special. I don't like the fact that you can't only do that move so much, because I like
Blow
that.
up with it.
Yeah, he does self-destruct. I love it.
Goblin.
Unless I keep hitting X to jump and it's not working out for me.
So the only thing I've
definitely feels
noticed, if you do
very
like a power
fast.
move and you guys hit them, power move does not connect at all.
Get ourselves together.
So here's the thing. There is a hang on. Don't kill that thing because that's
Okay.
progress.
Oh.
So let's just wait on that.
Okay.
So what I did was I went to battle set. I'm sorry. Yeah, battle settings. When you hit
Battle-
start,
Oh.
and that's I have a helmet?
Okay. Change
what kind of
gear for
stupid,
battle
goofy helmet.
fantasy.
Pale bandana. Oh yeah, look at
Oh,
me.
there you go.
I
Oh,
am.
there you go. We can change already. We can change to a swordsman, a pugilist, and a duelist.
Why can't I equip?
Okay, I'm gonna change to that.
How'd you get to pugilist?
It's just the first one in that menu.
Oh, I see.
You can just change.
Okay.
Oh wait, I'm
Neat.
wearing the weakest
Oh.
shit.
Yeah, you like my jumpsuit? Oh, there you guys go. Now you guys can look at stuff.
Okay, I'm equipping stuff, and it's not doing shit.
Yeah, I think it's because it's all like level like 0. I think basically you have to equip stuff that has an affinity with the job that you've picked.
It has you both loading for me. It's giving you both like a loading icon above your head.
Oh, no, I'm just still in my
okay.
stranger clothes.
Yeah, try actually putting on some of the stuff.
Okay, so I've got the headband on apparently, and apparently I've got the hail protector.
I wonder why it doesn't show. I wonder if I hit that bonfire, would it show up again? But it would reset the area.
Yeah, true. It's alright, I can venture on.
We'll find out the next one. Try to put stuff on. You can see that I changed stuff.
Oh, this is cool.
Yeah, you can do Tifa's what is it, like her I only know it as Virgil's like flash kick combo.
Yes.
Tifa's
Beowulf combo.
twatting move. Yes.
I don't remember.
Oh.
Oh, look at Cactuar. Where the fuck did he just go?
Oh, Cactuar! Oh, come in. Careful though, this thing could do a shitload of damage probably. It has a special attack that's like 1,000 damage.
You're not getting away, sir.
It may not be in this one, but
Yeah, in previous games. I'm sure I'm sure the Tonberries will do a ton of damage to you up close, but they're probably not going to be
How
used
we
to
can
kill
do better
enemies.
next.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so here's another one of these cubes. I'm gonna touch this. Did you have stuff? Did you equip stuff? I know it didn't
Yeah,
load, but you
I've
equipped
equipped
it,
stuff.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna hit this, and we're
Okay,
gonna see if
see what
it
it
changes
does.
your guys' clothes. Whoa, job tree. Upon leveling up, you'll be rewarded with job points. Job points can be used on. All right, so this is basically the weapon system from Neo.
Okay, so
What's
not
in there?
changing clothes.
Oh, I got a club.
Oh, so you can unlock. Oh, yeah, this is just the weapon system. So you can unlock certain other abilities as well as like passive stat changes. Like what's this? Quickly dash forward, delivers slashes. Increased duration, increased job affinity. Maybe the same with swordsman.
Mages. Mages can
Decreased damage. Or do I go for the move?
Am I just pressing the
Let's
wrong
go for a
button
new
to
move.
equip?
I don't know.
No, it's I can't change a thing. It's saying I'm wearing them, but
Yeah, I don't
just
know
not
if it'll actually
showing.
change your. Will it actually change your clothes though?
No, it's not.
It should, because I'm changing my clothes all over the place.
Oh, see, my clothes aren't changing either actually.
I now have an edgy coat.
Oh, there we go. Mage.
Yeah, they're all
Rock on.
equipped, just not working.
Kissed. Don't know that way.
I have so many pairs
Oh,
of
with the fire.
boots.
That is not how magic works.
Okay.
Wait, can you not have both
Oh,
on?
there's
One
there's
or the
weapons
other.
right here.
Oh, I did spells. I did these things.
All right, hang on.
Okay, magic.
Let's get these.
Interesting.
Let's get this sorted.
Oh, hello.
Oh.
Enter the room.
Oh wait, Quaka. Is that Quake? It is Quake.
Probably.
Okay.
So
Error.
Hermit Club.
Oh, the enemies can hit each other.
Oh,
That's
each
pretty
set
cool.
of clothes changes based on the weapon you equip it to.
Oh.
Oh, so if you hold it for longer, you get
So
more.
if I'm swordsman,
Whoa.
and if I change to caster, hang on. So if I change this, I put
That is
the caster's coat on my caster,
Oh,
right?
okay, okay.
Hit this, and then I put this on this guy.
Okay, magic's not bad. Like the mage, that's not bad.
Okay, so if I change, how does this work now?
Yes, you do look different. Completely different.
Ooh. Oh, hang on.
I'm gonna take this guy
I
out.
already know.
Well, I'm not. We're talking
I
about the
kind of like
physical
it.
changes.
I
Look, so
kinda
check
like
out. If I
it.
switch between the two styles, I have
Yeah.
greatsword clothes and then
Okay.
caster clothes.
Oh. Oh, you
No
do. You
outfit
completely
changes.
different. Yeah, they look sick as well.
That's pretty cool.
Like the outfits look really good.
But I
Mike,
think you guys are supposed to be able to do that.
maybe it's because it's the demo version.
I
Maybe,
mean,
or-
like I said, it's
Yeah.
just the first part of the full game. Like your save data even carries over. At the
Oh,
end of this,
shit.
it's gonna go, hey, do you just want to buy the full game and you can keep playing?
Yeah.
So basically, it's like
This
the
is
system
literally
for
just
X2.
this is the game. We are.
Let's
This.
see what's inside.
Yeah, well, yeah. I was gonna say this pretty much could just be this first system from X2. Yeah, pretty much.
The job system?
There was a sphere system in Final Fantasy X.
No, I know you're talking about the sphere grid, but you're talking in this sphere.
No. Well, yeah. So yeah, it's kind of like the job system is, yeah. Well, like you basically do out the changes.
My best moment.
If we can breathe.
Oh, you're talking about X2. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about Final Fantasy X. I was like the sphere.
No,
grid?
no, X2.
No, yeah. So, yeah, I guess similar to. I mean, this is the job system in 14. Is like you can just change jobs whenever you want, and it'll change your clothes to match that job that you last set it as. I don't know. I'm kind of trying to figure out why you guys aren't able to. Also, I don't like this.
Oh no, I could open that door. I think we can transition onto other rooms by ourselves. I think.
That's weird. It's weird that's not like that.
Oh, it's the dress sphere system. Oh, I do remember
So
X2 with that.
your clothes don't change. Like I can set them to all look the same if I want.
Yeah.
Like I'm still choosing my shirt, my pants, my boots, my gloves, and my hat. So are you guys able to interact with this thing?
Let's have a look.
'Cause this is progress. This is where you're supposed to go. So once this gets to the point where you can do the crystal attack, you guys should be able to hit circle and do the thing.
No.
No, so it is just you for that.
Nothing pops up.
That's weird.
So yeah, I think it is just like you.
So only Jack gets to like crystal punch shit.
Yeah, I guess so.
I hate waist high rubble being the invisible wall. This is just another pet peeve. Is like, really? That feels lazy.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I fell off of it. What?
Yeah, I just saw that as well.
And now I can't get. There's dogs down here. Fiddling around here, wolf.
Yeah.
It is nice looking.
Did you take damage from falls?
I will say the combat
Oh, you
feels
do?
like that's like the best looking part.
You take so much damage from falls.
Unfortunately.
Shit.
I kind of like the castle.
Oh my god, these
cool.
wolf boys are strong.
I mean, I will say, like, I'm not.
Oh, it seems like you get gear based on the character you're playing as too.
Yeah. I mean, I'll say right now, like, I'm kind of digging it.
Yeah, I don't like I said, I don't hate it, but it's clearly like, I don't know, what's the cost of this game, I guess, right?
It's like 50.
If it's like a full price game, I would pass.
Yeah, no, I would do this. For sure.
Maybe if it's on like Game Pass or something.
Yeah, if it's Game Pass, yes.
One of those games that like I'll go back to, whoa, what was that? I can do finishers based on my element if like you're a caster.
Well, it also looks like the longer you hold it, the more damage it's going to do. Because, like, in these games, like, obviously the stereotypical thing is, like, water is, like, one enemy, and the water is, like, more damage, and the water is usually every enemy, or, like, a lot of damage. So also, I think if you, like, hold it, you do way more damage, too. Which is kind of cool, because then you don't need to, like, find the abilities, you kind of just have them.
Yeah.
So, you hold right trigger, and then you can do the 3. Fire off. Wait, what?
It keeps, every time I do right trigger, it changes my power. What have I done? Oh, that's chat.
Wait, if you hold right trigger, you get, there's like the beam.
I just get weak spot or whatever.
Oh.
If I press,
well, that's because you don't have a caster set up.
Yeah, if I press forward and do it though, it does like this stabby sort of Muda attack, which just constantly punches.
All right, so I'm gonna check this again because I keep getting more stuff.
What I really want
you may be granted job affinity bonuses based on your total job affinity. Carefully select your job and equipment to get the most out of these bonuses. So certain pieces of gear will benefit certain classes better.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Which again, it's like this is very much the Neo loot system where we're gonna throw a ton of loot at you and like you just kind of gotta go through by the numbers and pick what you think's gonna be best.
I see.
I mean, at least
Like,
like
a lot of people are just gonna start hitting like equip the best stuff.
Oh my god, there are ladders.
I'm pretty sure there's a button that just optimize equipment.
This will make things easier.
Automatically equip equipment with the highest level.
Oh, it's taking us right back to the start. Oh, so there's kind of like a Dark Souls
yeah, it's like
map
looping.
system.
They're trying, but Not quite.
Yeah, it's like it looks kind of big, but actually it's quite condensed.
Yeah, it's very
like it's
packed.
very like it's not really exploring. It's very like straightforward as to where you're going.
Yeah, which again, it's kind of Neo-esque, where
Yeah.
it's like it's more like you're running through a dungeon with your friends.
Yeah, this is
fine.
This is a dungeon. Yeah.
I think that's the best way to like think of what is going on graphically.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not like it just. It's such a shame.
It is
just
not looking
doesn't-
good.
No, it just doesn't look good.
I mean, again, I think that's. I wanna chalk that up as hardware, but
Because I've seen games that like. I mean, how does Elden Ring look on your PS4?
looks great.
It
Looks
actually
fine.
looks
Looks
pretty
like Dark
good.
Souls
Yeah.
3.
Yeah, I think it genuinely could just be bad.
Yeah.
Like development.
Like I said, this is giving me big. They filled the contract and wanted to get the fuck out of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Which
Which is like a shame, but I feel like working with a brand as large as
What should we do now?
like Square Enix on something like Final Fantasy, I'm sure is not an easy job.
Yeah.
I'm sure, especially because
Oh.
like looking at fighting game development and stuff. Oh god, we're getting it.
Yeah.
Fighting game development has a bunch of issues where like I shouldn't say it's a fighting game. Old school Japanese business, right?
Yeah.
They're very particular about the way they do things. Like, we want to do things our way as like a point of pride almost.
Yeah.
And they get stuck in these traditional ways, and you can definitely just see it with Japanese devs at times. You're like, oh, God, you need to, like, look, let it go, old man, the future's now. Stop trying to protect your IP like a small child when all you're doing is killing it.
Yeah.
Look at like Castlevania.
Yeah.
No, we're gonna protect our IP and do it our way. And cool. So when's the last time they released a Castlevania? Like 2004, 2006.
I mean, I will say though, it's kind of nice to see things from the original games. Like, I've not seen a leech bat in a Final Fantasy game in a long time. So, like, that's really nice. It's like they're bringing things from those early games into
But
this.
that
which is
goes
quite
back
nice.
to the it's selling the nostalgia. It's just
What's
selling
in
the
there?
assets.
Yeah,
Oh
but
look, there's this one enemy from this one old game, and yeah, it's like the asset. It's like the opposite of asset flipping, where we're just.
I don't think that's a bad thing.
I mean, I don't know.
Because if
I
you
kind
have
of feel like
nostalgia-
yeah, but I feel like this is just like you could have literally, I don't know.
You could have just remade Final Fantasy 1 with that.
Yeah, you could have
graphics.
just
Still
made
got a
Final
ways
Fantasy
to
1
go.
with good graphics.
Which
Yeah.
I would have
Stay
preferred they did,
Stay focused.
to be honest.
Like, and I feel like like the people that made this, I would be totally okay playing this without all the Final Fantasy stuff, right? Like, I feel like without the Final Fantasy stuff, they probably would not have had whatever developmental issues.
Yeah.
I feel like those types of issues come from two studios trying to work together a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Especially when it's like Final Fantasy, like there's zero chance they don't try to baby this IP, right?
Yeah.
I would, if I had something as prestigious as Final Fantasy, I'd be like, hell yeah, I'm gonna protect this thing with my life.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they must have clashed with Ninja Theory in some way. Which I would believe, right? Because they did the DMC reboot, which also fans like really hated.
Ooh, I didn't like the reboot.
All things considered, like the reboot's a good game
combat
if it
is
just
good.
wasn't Devil May Cry.
Yeah, the combat's
Which
still
I mean,
good.
and to be fair,
do we have time
Devil
to
May
take a
Cry
break?
is like 90% combat.
Yes.
Well, it's like 70% combat, 30% Dante.
I think story-wise and what they did with it was like, oh dear.
Yeah, well, so because we talked about this like episode 1.
I think we did.
Where they went through the whole like Dante is not a gay cowboy, he's an edgy rock star, and you're like, really? That's one. That's a bad take to have in the first place, right? Because there's nothing wrong with being a gay cowboy. Yeehaw, save a horse, ride a cowboy.
Yeah.
But like 2, you're shitting on like the main character of a beloved franchise. Come on.
Yeah.
What were you thinking you were going to do from that? What did they think they were going to accomplish? And I almost wonder if they were afraid of that here.
actually.
I feel like honestly, this writing has big. I mean, Ninja Theory's not the strongest writers to begin with. This has big, like, they got the bare bones from the Final Fantasy team, which was like, we want this edgy, cool guy. And they were like, all right, edgy, cool guy coming up. Made him as generic as they could.
Yeah.
To be fair, I'm sure Square Enix ate it up. Or at least, like, the Final Fantasy teams. They're like, yeah. Like, don't get me wrong. I know people love Cloud and Sephiroth and all those
there's
characters,
a combo
but
system?
yeah,
only
I
just
was
learning this
saying that
now?
earlier. There's a whole menu. I tried saying this to you.
I thought you meant, like, literally just by pressing the buttons. I was just
there's
like,
a
oh,
list.
there's an actual list. Shit.
Yeah, there's loads.
Well, so wait, are these, like, timed? Like Devil May Cry timed?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
But they're not that diverse, unfortunately. Like, you got your, like, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, it is just 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Yeah. But so again, so the Neo system is kind of the same way, where you start off with way fewer moves, but as you go through the upgrade tree, you can unlock more moves, and they'll be like contextual. They'll based on something this doesn't have that Neo does. They have like a high-low mid stance that you can swap between as you fight. So it's like,
okay,
man, there's a lot of big questions around this game. I also want to point out this game came out 4 days ago, and it took like 2 days before I started seeing anyone talk about it. Because unfortunately, I mean, Shadow of Elden Ring. That Elden Ring Shadow is strong, right? Like Rip Horizon.
Yeah.
okay, I get it.
It's
you guys
really
ready?
it's proper strange because I'm literally just sat here looking at like the landscape, because it's something that I like to do is like get to a high point and look, and it's so bad. Yeah, it's real ugly.
Love what-
See like the
so-
lines where different assets meet. And
Yeah, like it's so colorless. Like that's the thing, is like even the characters, like they're all just so, they're all like the same kind of gray.
To
And
be
that's
fair,
sort of the
this
problem.
this gives me like, this doesn't look that. Alright, Final Fantasy VII Remake looks way better, but this feels like it's just using that same color palette. Like I kind of, the gray game thing was a popular thing for a long time. Whoa, why are you putting up tutorial menus as I?
Yeah, I got this. Yeah, that was me.
That was not.
Skeletons popped up, shit.
I know. Dante's a wacky woo.
The lack of,
pizza
like-
man trying to change that in any way is a bad call.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's true. I mean, that's literally what Dante's about, right? He's like, I'm gonna kick with my dad, kill a bunch of these, and then catch the beast.
Yeah. That's why we love Dante.
Which, like, I love him. Dante is an S-tier protagonist.
It's just giving me vibes of like, I mean, you guys have probably played these yourselves, but like Alien Fireteam, for example, like having like a certain level to go through and you're trying to get it together and stuff.
And dislike that game at the same time.
I mean, I get where you're coming from on the multiplayer, but like I said, I think this is just Neo. I know that's like, it's not going to help anyone, but that's literally just what this is.
Yeah.
That was doors.
I mean, like I said, like I haven't played
Like, there's
Neo,
plenty
so, like,
of, like, I mean, there's a ton of co-op run the dungeon games, right? It's
not that though.
D&D just released one like last year. You've got what was it? Epic released one where it was like a hero shooter. Like they try this all the time, and it's always so disappointing. I would love just a co-op RPG game.
Yep.
taking it back to like the is it the Baldur's Gate games?
Oh,
or like
good.
the dark,
Not
is it
not
Baldur's
so
Gate?
much like Baldur's Gate. Yeah, I mean,
But like,
So-
like, even like they used to be kind of dungeon crawlers where like they were multiplayer. I mean, they were like sitting next to each other.
I think
I mean,
so
like,
much.
I
So they were CRPGs, right? So that's
CRPG. Oh, like
yeah,
Couch?
it's called a classic RPG.
Classic. I went with
So games like Baldur's Gate, Divinity: Original Sin. What's the one that just came out? Oh shit. There's a new one where you play a cop. Why can't I remember what it's called? It just came out. But they're like isometric top-down where you're kind of guiding the character through a world.
Oh my god, he's manhandling me.
It's like playing a proper like RPG, right? Or like a tabletop RPG.
Yeah, kind of like that. But like those were like
Those
dungeon
I find
crawlers,
are very well. So I wouldn't consider them dungeon crawlers. Yes, you crawl a dungeon, like technically, but when I think dungeon crawlers, I think stuff like Diablo. It's very like
I'd say
more action based and less like Baldur's Gate is very story driven, which makes it kind of hard to play with people. I've tried to play Divinity, which is made by the same people who are making
found a
Baldur's
Toneberry.
Gate 3.
He looks very cute.
Frickin' hell. Oh, that was...
See, this is what I'm saying.
Oh, God.
Oh, Death Wish.
Hey,
I don't
let's
like
use
that.
the popular. Let's use the popular enemy.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't like this.
Oh yeah, playing a caster while silenced is not cool.
Oh, God, I'm dead. Fuck. Right,
Oh shit, he does have an insta-kill.
yeah, he does. Yeah, Tombury's always fucking do. Yep, don't trust the Tombury.
He's well cute.
Oh!
Thank you.
Don't move again.
Take
God.
this.
Paralyzed. Paralyzed.
Tombury's a fucking OP as shit, and they've kept
See,
that going,
it's
and I
like
respect that.
they just feel like a sponge.
Yes.
It doesn't feel like you're not launching the enemy and then catching it. Like it just feels like they're just tanking all the hits. There's no like hit stun, which I don't really like.
No, that's not. That is a Tombury.
They have, like, they have superior
Well, I mean,
poise.
no,
the best
so
poise ever.
It doesn't matter like what it is, right? But like not having hit stun on any enemies, like even the skeletons, right? Like you can just wail away on them, and they're not like flying all over. They're not reacting to the hits,
Yeah.
which I don't like.
Yeah.
That makes the combat feel bad.
Yeah, it is ridiculously dark in here, by the way. I know they
Yeah,
just said
it is
the darkness,
dark.
they can feel it, but oh my god, like you don't need to literally make the room this dark.
Oh yeah,
to
so
combat
hang
the
on, wait.
enemy.
Let me recommend something real quick. Go to your system settings,
Yep.
and turn the game's brightness all the way up.
All the way up.
Oh, can you not in this one? No, yes you can.
Oh, yeah.
Brightness settings.
Most people I've seen playing this are playing this game with the brightness all the way up.
Oh wow. Okay, wait there.
And look how it makes the game lit almost normally.
Oh my god.
That's so weird.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I forgot about that one. That was something else that is going on in the full version of the game.
What? Oh,
Is this the
that
lamp?
makes it look even uglier. Oh,
yeah, it does.
now I
I
can
mean,
just
now
see
you
the
can just
ugliest
see
thing.
it.
Yeah. Oh god. I kind of want to turn it back.
Like, oh,
Oh, I got a
man.
spear.
It reminds me really heavily of like a PS2 game. Like the graphics, like it's like PS2 graphics. And so even some of those games have better graphics. Like,
I feel like people are. I feel like you might be overestimating the PS2 a little bit.
but like,
Because
oh, that's fair. Yeah, that's. I mean, I'm playing like PS2 HD.
the texture issue, like where you have these like high-end reflections and they're fighting themselves. Like to be fair, the PS2 would never even be able to come close to this.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, this is the Dragoon. This is the one I've been like, yeah, oh yeah.
I like me like it.
Spearman. Now can
Yeah,
you
so, like,
throw yourself
so-
off a cliff for the true Dragoon experience? Oh no. Alright, so where can I get the ROM? Yeah, that's the ROM might work better. Oh man, I just realized I look yellow. What's going on with my lighting?
Your character just looks flashy as hell, and we're just
Why
like,
don't
hey, we
we
just
look
come from the
good?
gym.
We
Because
look
I don't
so
think it can update your stuff. Like, I really think it's like you would have to go put your character on in your world and then come back into this one.
I
Yeah.
am to be
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is like not uncommon, but it's like
We're here to
there are
kill
systems
chaos.
around that now, right? Like it's
Prophecy's very
2022.
own warriors
Man,
we
it's
know how to
constantly
make
running the theme
character
of
customization.
chaos. It's just kill chaos. Here to kill chaos. It's the only
Yeah,
sentence I can
apparently
sentence.
that's all he says the whole game.
Fuck, I can see the memes already.
Well, that's the memes are already out. The memes
Yes!
exist. That's what I think is keeping this game alive and why people are talking about it, because they're memeing it.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't think people are actually enjoying this game because it's a good game.
Take a shot every time they say chaos.
You'd be dead.
Yeah, I think I would be
have
dead.
to tap out. I would call the podcast now. I'd be like, "Why we're we need to retire?"
Yeah, we really doing this?
Oh well,
Yeah.
apparently.
Yep. Now it's fight the boss. So,
Oh, bitch.
you can lock on with your red stick, right?
Yeah.
When his reticle is red, that means he's targeting you.
Oh.
When it's blue, that means he's targeting someone else.
Oh god, can you tell us else, please?
Oh, I don't know about that. He still hit me.
So this is something. Well, yeah, like if he does an AOE, it's gonna hit everyone.
throw
But
it?
you can tell like who he targets. You can dodge through him too.
Yeah, just don't forget to dodge. It will help a lot.
Okay, I like throwing the Dragoon kit. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Why would you? Oh god, I managed to change flipping weapons.
I'm out of things.
Why does this feel very Dark Souls?
Yeah, this does feel kind of Dark Souls. There you go.
Because that's what
How did
people
you
want
run
to
out
play.
of health?
Yeah. Oh, I'll do it.
Oh, did you not touch the save thing before you went in?
No.
Oh.
I was running around the room and it pushed me into the cutscene.
You can do this.
I think he's just healed. Because he's got high health and he's healed. Oh god.
That's okay. No, we're taking him down. We're taking him down. We're just not taking his stamina bar down.
What do you mean stamina bar? You've got to be. That's not a stamina bar.
Yeah, he's got a stamina
The
bar.
yellow bar is, I think, stamina.
Yeah, yellow bar is stamina. See, he's gone all the way down,
Yeah, it's
and he does that.
So you gotta break him, and then I can do this.
Kick his ass.
Grab him by the throat.
Nice.
So his health
Throw,
bar is the
go.
blue one.
Oh, he did. Not like that.
Ooh, nice.
Person under there?
Oh god, I'm gonna run out. I've run out of health. Oh shit.
So here's the thing I do like about this, right? Is that like, I think it really wants your people you call in to be set into a role. And I like a lot of people don't like
shit,
that,
I'm
right?
down.
A lot of people want to like, I want to
both
play
down?
the character I want to play.
Oh, we're both down. Good on Cage.
Okay, I'm
But
gonna chill over here a second, and I'm gonna run over to you both. I've got
Okay.
yeah,
this.
so you expect something like 15 but multiplayer.
What is this?
So I've been, like I said, I've been aware of this. I've looked at it and I was like, from the beginning, I was like, this is
Oh
how
shit!
it
I've only got one potion. I can't.
Well,
Oh, you can
fine.
parry attacks.
That's
Oh,
not
okay, I
it.
like that.
did you guys read the tutorials?
No, I sped right through it, bro.
What? Why? Why do people do this? What? This
I was
is
like,
my,
I'm getting into the game.
I hate. Oh god. Please read the tutorials.
Oh god damn you.
There have been, I don't know how many times I've tried to play games with people, and I'm like, do you not understand?
It just
Did
gave
you not
me-
read it?
It just gave me a fucking tutorial in the middle of that attack and he killed me.
That's not on.
Why would you give a
Yeah.
tutorial on the boss fight?
Because they definitely, I bet you that tutorial would have happened in the earlier part of the game that was
I'm
cut
scared.
out.
Yeah, you probably should. He's got quite a lot of health. You might need to redo this.
That's what I'm saying. Like I said, you can do this in 30 minutes if you know what you're doing, and if you don't,
Oh, I could parry the last one.
Hour and a half. So
Yeah.
So I take it
That's
it's
fine.
up until this guy, and then it's over.
yeah, this is the last bit of the demo.
I see.
It told me you could do 3 areas.
Well, we did the intro with Tiamat, and then the cornfield, and now we're doing the dungeon. That's 3.
Okay. I mean, even though we just sat through cutscenes.
Unfortunately, well,
How does
well,
this count?
that's Final Fantasy. That at
Paul
least what
Cea's
I
got
know
my
of Final
back.
Fantasy, that is super Final
See,
Fantasy.
Pat, Paul C has got my back. True gamers, here to read. Not here to read, here to smash buttons.
Oh god, that's so frustrating to me. Genuine, like
It depends
I've been
on the
invited to
game
play
for
games
me.
before, and
depends-
then no
it
one's read the
depends.
instructions, and they just like take the piss out of it. And I'm like, this is not.
what's in
Look,
there?
I was here to play a game. This has just turned into us like running around like idiots.
Oh no, there's a
Okay.
chest
Like-
over there I had to grab.
Not saying that's what's happening now, but that's happened previously, and it's like, wow,
Yeah.
why would I do that?
There's like a
Why would you
great
play
sword over
Among
here.
Us but not know how to play Among Us?
It depends on the game. I was just like, hack and slash. I'll figure it out.
See, I knew it wasn't hack and slash. Like Neo. Neo, I've had to restart multiple
Okay, yeah,
times
Neo-
just to like redo the tutorials.
Neo's a
Because
case
the
where I
combat's,
know
like-
the stance system. I know I'd have to like read it. With this, I was like, that's just one button to attack.
Nope.
And then you were like, no, there's a combo list. And I'm like, fuck.
Ah, you little bastard.
It even has like the counter attack system, almost like I don't want to. Elden Ring.
Yeah.
They added like counter attacks and then crouching attacks and like so much.
Oh, I do more damage the longer I hold it.
Try not to get
Okay.
hit.
Don't mind me in the
Oh,
corner.
Bop,
damn it.
bop.
Not off
Oh, wait,
to
sorry.
a
Oh,
good
I
start.
see.
Just ignore the man in the corner.
Okay, ignore it. Dodge that second.
Yeah, he does some freaking damage.
Whoa, shit, son.
Ow! I was trying to do magic on him.
I fuck.
Oh, I got Blaze. I can use Blaze against him. Okay, I'm done. But you can So when you parry the move, it like steals it essentially. Like a copy.
Yeah, it like takes your turn back.
Oh, that was aimed right in my face.
This freaking class against this boss is absolutely useless. Can you get used to
I had a Phoenix down, yeah. I was just waiting until he was not hitting.
Gonna give him a couple of stabbers.
That is fair.
Fire Aga.
I think I want to get in close. My daggers hit him.
Yeah, I'm trying to just keep his attention on me and cast him like
Oh,
now.
shit. Oh crap, I can't use skill.
Hey, put that
Nice,
fire out.
that was good.
Do it.
Have him. Oh, I think you have to do the circle thing on
Yep.
him. I'll go and get Georgie.
Yeah, can you come get me?
Yeah, already on my way.
I'm gonna kill Chaos.
Ooh.
Oh shit.
Oh, so you can only stock a few of what you steal from them. From the looks of it.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about stealing.
So when you parry the move, the circle. So say like he uses Blaze and you parry it, you can use Blaze against him. Same with Fiery Hold. Any move he uses, you can use against him.
Get
That electrical one. Give me this shit. Whatever this is.
You can like.
Alright, wait, I should stay back since I'm oh no, the only one that can do a finisher. Oh god.
Okay, I'm getting you.
So now I got Blaze, and I've stocked 2.
Oh.
Yeah. So I can use
that's
Blaze
what
against it like
that
that. But it misses every time.
Save some of that.
Shit. Oh, that's
Be safe,
this.
guys.
That's like Final Fantasy 15, that is.
Aga.
Where you stop at a certain amount.
Yes, that's it. It kind of like reminds me of 8 as well, when you could like.
Yes. Yeah,
It's not scan,
right.
is it? Is it scan?
No, it is. You scan and then you can like, you basically get a certain
Oh,
amount.
like
of
stock. It was stock, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah. And then you can get like, you can have like 99 of each one essentially.
That's
oh,
it.
Oh,
Don't worry, Jenny.
So you can match the attributes.
sorry.
And he's down.
Yeah, let me do it.
Oh,
Boom. I'm gonna punch the shit out of him and kick him out the door.
Throws the Mudamudas at him.
Neo's stance system is easy to understand, hard to master. Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Yeah, easy. Wait, down.
Oh, you dropped some loot. I'll have that.
Yeah,
Good. Shadow Gauntlets, Broadsword,
I
Shield.
can't help. I've
Is that
fallen
like
and I
a
can't
paladin
reach
class?
up. Oh damn it! I missed
Damn it.
Loot wasn't. It's okay. Don't worry.
Time in on that.
Oh, my elbow.
Yeah,
hurts.
not sure if I'd pay full price for that. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah. I think there's better co-op experiences.
Time for the
That would
We've just
be
cleared the
better.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've
Reveal.
killed Chaos. We canonically don't need to know any more past this.
Oh, so we literally killed Chaos. I would have ripped that whole.
Oh, no.
Wait,
the-
what?
Nanny.
I'm gonna...
Oh, is this Seal the Warrior of? Oh my god, they just Kingdom
Oh,
Hearts.
is that the girl's sister?
My
The
crystal.
princess?
No, it's not.
It's her.
It's not.
Yeah.
My
No, I
book
think
looks
this is the
as it's
fourth
her.
Warrior. I think this is just the fourth Warrior of Light.
Oh, the 4th Digigestined?
Mine's going crazy.
I
Yeah.
think so.
Digi-evolution.
So
Let's
have
go.
been like taken over by the Chaos.
She had the special
you have a
armor
butt
egg
plug
that lets
egg
her
too?
armor egg digivolve.
I'm Neon.
Yeah. Neon. Oh, I quite like her name.
I'm Neon. I
Neon.
hate that name.
Oh, I like
I hate
it.
that name so much. No, I
I'm
hate
not
it.
chaos.
I like
That's
Neon.
probably the
Yes, I was
most
right.
Final Fantasy name in this game so far. What do you
Yeah.
mean?
Huh.
Lightning,
Feels
Neon, like that
there's
adds
a
up,
story
but like
behind that.
Jack.
Yes.
My
Just
allies
Jack.
and I set out to rid
Ash
the land of
Ketchum.
No, I
chaos.
can get on with Neon.
No, is she
The
Isekai?
journey took
Wait,
its toll.
my allies and I set out to rid the land of chaos.
One by one, we fell.
Oh, maybe she's the
Until
one.
only I
Maybe
remained.
she's the isekai character.
Yeah, she could be the Isekai.
It
What
was
are those
then that I
bandages?
finally realized
What?
the truth.
It's Final Fantasy. What do you
Chaos isn't a
mean?
man.
Lulu wore a dress
I,
of
I thought we were playing Neo
Yeah,
Automata.
but that was
Chaos.
awesome.
Titus wore half a
Just a
pant leg.
fairy tale.
Yeah, style.
Darkness, the beasts, this despair that eats away at people's hearts. It's
Maybe
easy
she's
to
like
blame a
2B.
single thing for all of
Yeah, I
it.
was gonna say,
Maybe,
like,
I
it's
just-
Neo
If you
Automata.
blow her
The
up, her
world
skirt
can be saved with a
disappears, and
single
all the
word of
perverts
evil.
love it.
Oh my
Even
god.
if it's never that simple.
Do you know, I only figured
So
that
I
out at the
decided to
end
become
of the game, and I was
sacrifice.
just like,
I
well.
offered myself to the
The
darkness
adventure was there.
and prayed to become chaos.
Yeah, I mean, the
music-
game's really
Band
good.
of
Oh, the
heroes
music
would
in the game.
defeat
That game's
me,
amazing.
It's
and thus
very
bring
good.
an end to this empty dream.
Unfortunately, the music in this game is like mid-tier remixes of past Final
Bullshit.
Fantasy music.
To be fair, I can't hear anything, so that's my solace.
Oh yeah, you guys have been playing this whole thing without hearing the excellent voice acting or music.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do tell.
Are
10 out of
nice.
10 voice acting, music. 10 out of 10.
No. When I made those jokes about I'm here to kill chaos, that's pretty much his voice.
Oh God.
He's pretty much just, I'm Jack. I'm here
He's
to kill
out there.
chaos. That's it.
I can
Oh,
feel
dear.
him.
That's the shtick.
I just have to keep looking.
Why is it
I'll
spicy?
find him.
Chaos.
I'm coming too.
So you just defeat
When
bosses in order
darkness
to get
veils
other
the
party
world,
members who also have butt
4
plug
warriors
eggs.
of light shall come.
Well, no, it's probably just this one for this party member. Maybe you'll
And
meet
I
someone
only
else
count 3
later
of you.
on.
Okay.
But
We don't need
It's
someone
like-
whose heart's not in it.
they use this dungeon structure
show
to
me
make
chaos.
the multiplayer
Do
easier.
that.
Yeah.
I
But
might even
it
start
really
to
just like
respect you.
it's whatever. It's really just this game, like, it doesn't feel like it's bad enough that like I could sit here and make jokes for hours about how bad this game is, right? It's not like The Wall.
I'm just not
Right?
feeling
Better
it.
get back to the
I gotta be
castle.
honest. I don't think I'm
Wouldn't
feeling
want
Like I
it.
said, it's a very like 5-6 out of 10.
I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 10.
Yeah. I'm
See,
just gonna.
I feel like if it's a 3, I could like have fun with it, right? Like,
Wait,
could, like,
what?
Laugh about it.
It's like, nah, if it's a 4 over 5, nah. But if it goes anything below that, hell yeah, I'm here to play.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That is like
Hans Zimmer is jealous. Oh my God.
the worst thing you can do to me
Yeah.
is be mediocre. If it's like a garbage fire, I'm in. Sign me up. Let's get into some garbage.
Wait,
right?
wait. There's more.
Wait, what? There's another
There is
mission.
more,
Oh
but
God.
it's a solo mission.
Oh.
Oh.
Well, I'm not gonna
And
start
to be honest, it's gonna be just more. Well,
of what we've already seen.
yeah. So there's a couple other things that make this like even worse, unfortunately.
Okay.
There was clearly supposed to be a hub area where you could like run around and talk to people, right?
You think
That's been
they've stripped
replaced by
that
a
back?
menu.
Ah.
So you go to a menu that like lists people's names and you can select them, and then it takes you to like an awkward, like Skyrim-esque camera angle while you talk to them,
Jeez.
and
Oh.
kicks you back out.
Oh.
Like I said, this game feels like they started making it being like, all right, you want us to do a Final Fantasy game? We can do that. Like, we'll make a big Final Fantasy world
Yeah.
with Neo combat. And then Final Fantasy was like, no. We just want you to like make a mini game, like make like a lighter version of a game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't
That
want
is-
the commitment of a full Final Fantasy game, which is what it felt like Ninja Theory was ready to commit to. And then when they were told to back off, they were like, fuck it, we're just gonna throw the assets and call it.
Yeah, that is kind of what this feels like because, like, as well, like you like normally in a Final Fantasy game, you get to literally run around the map.
Yeah.
Like you don't dot from location to location. So they've already disappointed us because they haven't even given us like a full area to run around. Like that is like how like I'm genuinely just looking at how much this freaking game is right now because like
Well, have you seen the
That is
bundle? Because it's like
that is
it's like
taking piss.
£89 or something, isn't it?
What?
Yeah.
Let
So
me
there's
look.
like the standard
Hell
version,
no.
and then there's like a bundle version. Have you found it?
Oh my
No,
god!
thank
So the normal version is
Yeah.
£60,
Oof.
and then the digital deluxe edition is 85.
That's the one. Jeez.
That's
I
taking the piss.
wouldn't even spend 25 quid on the game. to be honest.
Absolutely not. I don't even think. Yeah, I don't even think I'd spend 20 quid on that game. Like, that is just.
I think even if it came to Games
Yeah.
Pass, I would probably get bored within a couple of hours playing it, even if it was with
Yeah,
friends.
I mean, there are other games in this genre that I feel like
Do it better.
have probably done better, right?
Mm.
Like I know I give like Code Vein a lot of shit, but like that's a fine game. It's all right. I would say it's better than this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Visually, it holds up better than this. The writing's better. The writing's
even.
not great.
You don't even get to run around the location. You literally have to talk to characters through a fucking menu.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Is this feels and this
Oh,
like it doesn't feel reflective of what you get in like Neo 2. Again, that's like I can't
No.
I can't stop making that connection because
This is
feels
awful.
like this would have been the perfect blend of the two, and then they were told to like, no, don't go that hard, don't spend that much money.
Yeah.
So they were like, oh, all right, well then you're just getting this.
This is a full-on cheap out. Like this is a full-on cheat out of
For sure.
of a Final Fantasy game. Like that is
Even,
just
you know what's
so-
really frustrating? Scroll around on the map screen. Go up.
Go up?
Yeah,
Oh, no.
Go up.
Oh, no.
What the
There's more map. There's more map to be looked at.
Well, that's the thing. So like, it'll just be
And, like, it's just gonna
locations that
be-
dot around.
Yeah, it's just you're gonna dot around on the map like this and go to like dungeons in these zones, basically.
Yeah, you'll just essentially go on missions for the king.
Like
essentially,
maybe
to
the
try and stop
dungeon will be
chaos.
like outside or running
Yeah.
through a forest or something, but the concept's the same, where it's gonna be like fighting through hallways.
No. Do you know, it reminds me of, did you ever play Drakengard?
Oh, a long time
Those are,
ago.
those are Neo games.
I do.
Or Nier games, right?
I do, but like running through the hallways and stuff like that was pretty much what that game was. Sure, you could fight on the open
Yeah.
fields, but you just have missions where you'd go through the hallways.
Weren't the old Dragon Quest games like that too? Like I feel like that's just a JRP like trope, or at least
Yeah.
the old.
No,
ones
there was a
are.
bit more adventure within it. There was a bit more you could do instead of like selecting on the map where you're going to go and just do the mission, I guess. I don't know, it just feels very
Oh,
disjointed.
wow. Interesting. So Stu just pointed out this is literally the Final Fantasy 1 map again, and I've just googled it. This is literally the Final Fantasy 1 game map. It's exactly the
Ooh.
same.
Yeah, so it's
is
again, it's them
literally
just taking stuff and being like, hey,
Yeah.
people
You
are gonna
could've made
catch on
Final
that this
Fantasy
is a throwback, and that alone will sell this game, right?
I don't like it.
That's already sold this game for people. People going.
I'm glad there was a demo, put it that way. Because
Yeah.
I won't be purchasing it.
Yeah, so we just went to Temple of Chaos. That's where we went, and there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. There's at least 30 locations
Jeez.
on the map that you'll go to. So like on Final Fantasy 1, so chances are it'll be very similar in this game. Essentially, this is just a slightly crappily done version of Final Fantasy 1. That's what it is.
Because
Yeah,
like
well,
to
be
me,
like this, like-
to me, Final Fantasy games are very story driven. Where
Yes.
there doesn't feel like there's much story to this at all. It's just I need to fight chaos, and that is it.
Not only that, they're not only story driven, but they're very like emotional. Like you get
Yeah, of course they
emotionally
are.
invested with a lot of the characters because of the way that they're written well. And in this, I have absolutely no emotional connection to any of the characters. I have absolutely no Like I don't even know who half them are, where they're from. Why should I feel like? Why is Jack so driven to chaos? Like why
Exactly.
should we feel that way? And why should we want to like essentially help him on that
So-
journey? Like I don't give a fuck. I couldn't give
Yeah.
less of a shit. It's so fucking boring. Like I'm. like, this is so
I want to bring
disappointing.
Georgie in on the video call. So
Oh
we
yeah, shall I?
jump
Yeah.
let's
Are
back
we
into
still
the
gonna
other one,
play more of
please?
the game? Are we done with the game?
I am.
think
I don't think I'm ever gonna touch it again.
Great. I think I'm gonna fucking uninstall it because what the fuck is
Sick.
that bollocks? Should have
Hey,
played Remnant,
at
guys.
least we tried it. At least we
Oh,
tried
yeah,
it.
yeah. I'm happy we tried it. For sure.
Oh, so I mean, hey, since you just brought it up, let's use it as a segue, right?
Oh,
You
Remnant,
mentioned
though.
Remnant.
Ugh.
Remnant. Oh,
Remnant
yes.
is a great game.
yes.
Uh,
I
how
need
do
to
you guys
do
feel
something.
about like? Oops.
Oh, hello.
Hey.
So, honest review, D-Max, save your money.
Yeah, for sure.
Don't waste your time or effort.
Yeah.
If you think the combat system looks kind of cool, go play Neo. If you think
Yeah.
the setting's kind of cool, just go play a Final Fantasy game.
Yeah.
Dima, that's so rude.
I think it was because Cage was in your window.
Oh.
Oh, that makes sense.
You meant me looking. I read that. Sorry, I read that as
That-
rough. I was like,
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, it's not like DMAC to throw something like that at someone, to be fair.
I know. Normally, DMAX like even no matter how crap looking, DMAX like, oh, not today.
He'll bring you up. He'll bring you up. That's what he does.
Yeah. I'm waiting. Yeah, my opinion, bag of shite.
Yeah,
I'm really
sounds great,
disappointed by
Josh.
that. I think that it is definitely a money grab, for sure. I think that it's like they're trying to do something new, which I can respect, and I can definitely respect it. I can definitely, have an appreciation for like a multiplayer game. Like I love multiplayer games. I love playing them through. Like same with like Remnant from the Ashes, one of my favorite games because I love that multiplayer aspect.
Yes.
But this game is just missing like so much. I mean, it just visually, it just is so flipping awful. Like, it's just not an appealing. Like, the cutscenes look nice, but like, it's just not an appealing looking game. And
only
then
only the pre-rendered cutscenes look nice.
Yeah, the pre-rendered
cutscenes
look
look bad.
Yeah, and then you
knockoff
take
Brad Pitt is gonna haunt me.
Yeah,
That's my new
and then
sleep paralysis demon.
and then you
In your
take
dreams
that away,
tonight.
and then you go to like the actual like gameplay. Like the scenes just look awful. The story is just non-existent. I want to be able to run around locations. I want to be able to like interact with whatever characters I want to interact with.
You want an RPG.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
want
like-
you want a Final Fantasy game.
Yeah.
You want a Final
Yes, I
Fantasy
do.
RPG, and that's, I think,
Like, but it was.
I
They
think
did
you
the
kind
same
of had
thing
your
with Combat
expectations
Zone.
kind of high on this one.
Well, you guys have
Right.
played Monster Hunter, right? I was expecting
Yes.
something kind of like that, but it doesn't even feel as refined
Oh,
as Monster
no.
Hunter.
I was
No.
not expecting Monster Hunter at all, because like, so, here's the thing that Monster Hunter does so
Yeah.
well, right? It understands that it's like, big selling point is two things: the gameplay loop, right?
Mhm.
Go fight, cool. And two, the gear,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
Neo does. Again, Neo does the same thing. The combat is what makes that game, and the gear
Yeah.
system, and like all the stuff you can do to like build up your character.
Mhm.
The gameplay loop is not too different from this. It's just visually looks better,
Oh, visually, a hell of a lot
and
better.
the combat is deeper.
Yes.
Mhm.
This like is like a watered down Neo and watered down Final Fantasy. It's like they just took like Final Fantasy frosting and put it on Diet Neo. It's very weird.
Yeah, it is.
Which, like
it
I
is
said,
just
like,
really
it's-
strange.
I feel like I keep bringing that up because like I feel bad for Ninja Theory, which is weird because I used to hate Ninja Theory, but
Yeah.
Mhm.
like I definitely know that like you can tell that there's good stuff here.
Mhm.
That's why I feel like it was probably something on Squeenix's end being like, hey, we don't want you spending this much money or we don't want you spending this much time.
Yeah.
Whereas like Ninja Theory probably went into it expecting like, hey, we're gonna get our chance to take a crack at Final Fantasy.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And
And-
it's not impressive.
Big rumors about 16 are, one, it's going back to High Fantasy. Two, it's going to have the action-oriented combat.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks
Which-
very Final Fantasy VII remake style again.
Well, so to me, it doesn't look so much like that. It looks like they're leaning into it even more,
Oh, so
which
even
I'm
more?
hoping for. Give me Devil May Cry combat in a Final Fantasy game, you would have me in a heartbeat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
Yeah,
Now,
I
granted,
think
I think real Final Fantasy fans would not enjoy that.
I don't know, I
I
would.
gotta be honest.
the
you
thing
would.
it
I
reminded.
There's
Yeah.
a lot of fans like what Georgie said, where she wants the story and she wants to like explore the world and all that. And when you put so much effort on combat and that focus, those things tend to suffer, almost
To-
inexcusably.
To
But
some
they do.
extent. To some extent. But I think though that you can have games that have that. And I think that like 15 is the perfect example of like 15, like you can literally, it's just big open world, you can run around, you can do whatever you want, you can be in your car if you want to, you can fight whatever monsters you want to, but there's still a story there and it's still understandable. And don't get me wrong, it's not
here's
the
the
best
thing, right?
story, but there's
All
still
the
a story.
gameplay in 15 from like, because I tried to play 15 because they put Noctis in Tekken, right? So I
Yeah.
wanted to understand. I think the gameplay in 15 is terrible. It is so boring.
See, whereas like I thought it was all, I quite enjoyed it.
Yeah,
like
but I think
in my
a big-
opinion.
I
But
kind of feel like a big chunk of that carries it for you is, one, it's Final Fantasy 15, and two, you like the story aspect, right?
yeah, like I didn't think
They're
it was
able
too
to
bad.
put all that story in there,
I like
but
15,
they're not able to like refine the combat more.
but
and
I
that's what I'm
think
saying,
Final
is you're not
Fantasy
gonna be able to
VII
have
refined the
two.
combats. I think the remake of Final Fantasy VII refined
See,
the sort of
I
combat they're
bounced
going
off Final
for.
Fantasy 7 because I got to a point in the combat where I was like, this is fun, but I'm getting bored.
That's fair.
I spent more time walking around towns talking to people I didn't know or didn't care about. I felt like a lot of Final Fantasy 7 was banking on, again, nostalgia.
Nostalgia, yeah. I enjoyed it.
Because like, all right. Also, here's another complaint: is that Final Fantasy 7 remake wasn't the full remake, right?
No, it was like a
It was
part.
it's just like the
part
first
one.
like disc, basically.
Well, not even that.
And even the way they introduced characters in that, right? As someone who had never played Final Fantasy 7, they introduced Aerith, and I'm like, who the fuck is this? If I didn't know who Aerith was through like years of osmosis of Final Fantasy 7, I would not give a two shits about that character.
So it is a case of like it was for the fans. sort of
Same with,
thing.
I think the Final Fantasy 7 remake, I think a lot of fans are they've like biased towards. I don't think they realize how
guess so.
biased they are towards it, because like the writing does not feel good in Final Fantasy 7.
Wait, the remake or the
remake, at
original?
least.
The remake.
In the
okay.
remake.
So I'll agree with you with the story
I
in
have the
some.
original.
Okay, so have you played the
wanna
original?
play it. I got to the end of the first thing. Like I got to the scorpion.
That's fine. The original is good. The story is grounded. I like what they did with the remake in the sense of they didn't want to sort of retell the same thing. They wanted to change certain aspects. It can be a little jarring at times, though.
I think part of the problem is that the first one, when it came out, right, because of the limitations in what they could do at the time, a lot of it is like you have to fill stuff in, or you were implying things from cutscenes. You weren't trying to get this
no, like literally completely
you
different
didn't look
things
at it off the
are
bat
like
and go, I want
inserted
this
into the game.
deep emotional connection, right? It was things that came naturally, like
Yeah.
your bond with Aeris. But within the first hour of Final Fantasy VII Remake, they're like, "Look at Aeris, isn't she fucking great? Look at this deep connection between Cloud and Aeris, and we're gonna flashes of Sephiroth." And you're like, without having any of the if I didn't know anything about Final
No, I
Fantasy
see where you're coming
VII,
from. I see where you're coming from.
I'd be like, what are the it doesn't feel that different from how this started. Now, obviously, the difference is Final Fantasy VII has 20 years
Yeah.
of just existing and being in the limelight. That yeah, of course you know who Aeris is. Of course you know who Sephiroth is. Of course you know who Cloud is, Tifa, all these people. So I was able to look past that a little bit more, but I feel like it's not that different.
No,
This
it's interesting.
feels
It's actually
and this is the
interesting that you
most-
say that.
This is the most bare bones elements of Final Fantasy and the most bare bones elements of Neo smashed together. And it's disappointing on both ends.
Yeah, I think I definitely agree with you with that. I think as well though that Final Fantasy VII is a game that was way more accessible on more platforms. So I think more people have actually had the chance to play Final Fantasy VII, whereas Final Fantasy 1 is such an old game. It's not even the first Final Fantasy game. It's because there are actually Final Fantasy games I think before that game, but it's one of those ones that so few people, unless for example I got to play on Game Boy Advance. Unless it wasn't even available for such a long time on other platforms. So few people have played it compared to Final Fantasy VII, which was really the first kind of Final Fantasy game that sort of boomed and did super, super well. That I think that the problem with this game is that without any explanation, it's expecting you to pre-know knowledge, like with the Final Fantasy VII Remake. But the difference is that with Remake, a lot of people do have that knowledge. This game, they don't. So people
I literally do not know what's going on in this.
I just wanted to point that out just because, from an outside perspective, you can tell you're frustrated by this, right? You're without the pre-context of Final Fantasy 1, who gets this? This is no sense. This is kind of just bullshit. You can tell you're frustrated with it, right? I kind of, feel that way every time I pick up a Final Fantasy game.
Yeah.
With the exception being 10, to a degree. 10 still does it really bad, right?
No, I think 8's really good at introducing characters from
10,
the get-go.
they throw Auron at you, and you're like, who the hell is Auron? Auron's the sickest character. He's daddy, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
They throw him at you, and you're like, who the hell is this guy? And then he doesn't show up for 20 hours. You don't see him for a huge chunk of the game.
Yeah, that is very true.
And Final Fantasy 14, I think, is probably the best example of them fixing it. But that's not because they actually fixed it, right?
Yeah.
They had to explain the whole first year of the game that they deleted. So they didn't have a choice but to explain it.
Yeah.
So I feel like this is actually a symptom of all FF games. That kind of I want to go play them or try to. I'm afraid people are going to take it the wrong way if I start bouncing off of Final Fantasy games left and right. Because people feel very strongly about them.
Of course they do.
I would say, to be honest, that with all of them, especially with because I played Final Fantasy 14 more recently, right? And I'm not a huge MMO person. I've not played a great deal.
No, neither am I. I
genuinely was very lost playing Final Fantasy 14. I had no fucking clue what was going on. It was there was so much thrown at you at
I've not
once that
touched any of the MMOs.
It was just so confusing. It was so confusing, and it was there was just so much that I was trying to get my head around, and it was just kind of who, what is going on? So I imagine if that's what you feel like when you pick up a Final Fantasy game, no wonder you're not enjoying them. Of course you're not enjoying them because it's too much at once. But I think with the Final Fantasy games is that the way I always look at them is I always just take them as their own separate entity, their own separate game.
Same.
And some of them I do feel explain things well, but I think the minute you try to make links between them or compare them, you have
Well,
He's agreeing with me.
he's talking back now too.
He's agreeing with me. Yeah,
Yeah, see, he's
like,
agreeing.
She's making a great point. Like, I think that the minute you try to like compare them and like put them as like a series together, that's where you start having issues.
Oh, yeah,
like,
but I
they
mean-
just don't make sense.
Even individually, like I said, like FF7 starts and it's like, all right, so Cloud is working with Avalanche, cool. That story beat hits, right? And then you get out into the town and you run into Eris. And it's supposed to be like this nice, like little bump meeting, but it's very apparent that you're like, oh, okay, so
The game does,
Like,
the remake
do it
does
in
tie
anime.
into that a little bit though, because like you'll see these like flashback images of like Sephiroth and like things happening to like Aerith and stuff like that, with scenes that haven't even happened yet, but have happened in the previous like
You know what?
original game.
Here's a good example. Watch the first season of The Witcher.
Oh, okay, okay.
Remember how that was all over the place timeline-wise?
Yes, yes, it was.
Without clarification, that's kind of how I felt about the start of Final Fantasy VII.
To be fair,
Okay.
thinking about
I only
it,
got through Witcher 3 because, or The Witcher first season because I'd read the book, so I was able to kind of
Yeah.
piece together what they were trying to do.
I think if you
Yeah,
play the
I
original
remember
Final Fantasy
explaining it to a bunch of
VII,
people.
it's okay. It's actually mapped out quite nicely. When you play the remake, I do see where you're coming from.
but I haven't played the remake, but isn't the remake meant to not quite be a remake?
Correct. It's
Like, it's not-
like I said,
it's
they've
not
inserted
followed
different
the
things
original-
into the story.
In the same way that Resident Evil 3, the remake of Resident Evil 3 isn't like a true remake, right?
Yeah.
Like they've changed some things enough to deviate the story into a direction that they would like to change things.
Same
right?
with
Yeah.
Final Fantasy.
And I think that's kind of what they're doing with 7 here.
Yeah, completely correct.
Because I
I
think
think
they
from what
realize
I've
7 is like their moneymaker, so now they have a chance to flesh out the story. Before, where in the original version, like it's text boxes and
Yeah.
little tiny characters, so a lot of things have to be, implied
yeah.
or like developed over hours. And now that they have all these tools to enhance this, they're like, it feels like they're shoehorning and shoving all of it into the beginning, and you're like, look, this is mega overwhelming. This is like I said, it's kind of like the Witcher effect, where that first season was like all over the place, and it kind of like causes people to be like, I get it.
It makes sense at the end though, and you're like, oh.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which, like,
Yeah.
also, I just watched someone play through, or is playing through Final Fantasy VII, the original.
Yeah,
I just
original's
watched
so
them play
good.
through 6 and 9. Right? I watched their full playthrough of Final Fantasy 9. I cannot tell you what that game is about.
You can't tell what Final Fantasy 9's about?
No.
How?
It's so bizarre. I don't know what it is, man. There's something about Final Fantasy that my brain just struggles.
I will
Like-
tell you right now, though, if you struggle with Final Fantasy games, I don't know if you've played them. Have you ever played the Kingdom Hearts games?
No.
Yeah. And I
Like-
didn't have a problem with Kingdom Hearts.
You understand Kingdom Hearts? See, I don't understand what the
All right, wait.
frick
Let me.
is going on in
Let
that
me.
game.
I
That
played
game
Kingdom
is
Hearts
so-
1 and 2. And
Oh, okay,
then
like
when
that.
they start adding all the fractions and shit, I went, that's not a real game.
Okay, after that,
Not
so
interested.
1 and 2 are easy. After Kingdom Hearts 2, the
Well, that's-
story
and
gets so
again, it's that-
unbelievably confusing. It's unreal. Like, I find that way more confusing than any other game series I've ever played. It's
Yeah.
so confusing.
And like to be honest,
good
I think
God.
the only reason I got through Kingdom Hearts was because of the gameplay.
Because it's fun. It is a very
Yeah.
fun game.
And also like
Right.
I was younger and I had knowledge of Disney, so I was like, yeah, this is sick, fine,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
But like even Kingdom Hearts, I think I eventually ended up putting down. Eventually.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, I mean, don't get me
I've
started
never
on the
I've never
story.
played the Kingdom Hearts game. Not once.
1 and 2 are brilliant.
Oh,
And
really?
Birth by Sleep is very good.
So I tried to get Fat Shaggy to play them like a couple years ago because he's I like missed him. And I don't know if they're fantastic. I don't know if they hold up. There's definitely some wonkiness in the first one, like combat wise.
Yeah.
And then, we just never like it's such a commitment to get through the first one to get to the second game that's like
Yeah.
if you can't make it, if you don't have the nostalgia or the love for Disney to get you through that first game,
Yeah.
it might not.
Yeah, they are very fun games, but especially at the first one, you're right, like it is a bit more nostalgic. But I think the second game holds up really, really well. And Birth
Oh yeah,
by
the
Sleep's a very
second
good
game's definitely way better. But
Yeah,
I
second
think
game's, I think really
with
good.
the way like Kingdom Hearts structured, it feels like even more confusing to try to enter into that world. It gets so
Yeah.
like, again, since Kingdom Hearts is having the same issue, I think it's like really a Square Enix symptom. I think their writing teams need some help.
I think to an extent, because I think that like as someone who's a fan of some of the Final Fantasy games and some of the Kingdom Hearts games, I think some of them do very well. I think it's when they try to overcomplicate the story and put in too much. Like for example, with like Final Fantasy 15 is a perfect example of like an incomplete story. So a lot of people had a lot of issue with that story because they didn't finish it. So like you can understand it to a point, but even some aspects, like even I'm still not fully clear on.
Like
Because,
Final
like,
Fantasy
they
15 is
finish it.
weird because you leave the city, right, to go and meet your waifu or whatever, and then the city
Yeah.
gets attacked. But that scene is from the movie that you need to watch to understand the context of what's actually happening. Which I'm like, wait, you gotta watch a movie
like,
to
don't get me wrong.
understand?
Like purely on if you show me
It's a
like
good movie, though.
cutscenes and trailers of Final Fantasy, I'm gonna be like, this shit looks cool as fuck. Don't get
Oh
me
yeah, it
wrong,
looks
right?
cool. I just didn't know what was going on.
Even like the Advent Children movie, I think that movie was sick. Like it's
That
a
movie
fun
is sick.
watch. But at the same time, it's like I still couldn't tell you the story of Advent Children movie. I know Bahamut
Advent-
shows up
I
and
could
it looks
literally tell you
fucking
the story in literally a
sick.
paragraph. It's
That's what
very
I'm saying.
easy.
It's so weird
Yeah.
that like the story is so like it can be condensed really well and really concise.
Oh, yeah, of course
but
it
it
can.
feels like they try to like fluff it up.
Okay,
And
okay.
here's the other catch: that is that I think Final Fantasy was written 20 years ago. Like Final Fantasy 7 was written 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So
But I
it's
think the
probably not
original
even
games
same
hold up
writers
really
now
well.
who are trying to fix it.
I don't
They're
know. I
trying to
think the
recapture
story
that,
of
like-
7 is good. I think it's if you play the original, it makes sense. I think if you play the original of 8, it makes sense. Same with 9. But it depends how captivated you are by it as well.
Here's-
To like,
Every time I hear someone say Final Fantasy 8, I think of David Boreanaz from Angel or Bones,
oh, how come?
because he played. Who's the main protagonist guy in Final
Tifa.
Fantasy 8?
He did
Squall.
Sea for Kingdom Hearts, I think, didn't he? Oh, you mean? Oh no! He did Squall. Oh, did he do
Squall.
Squall in Kingdom Hearts?
Was he the guy
Or
with like
Leon?
the long hair or Leon? Maybe it was Leon.
Leon.
I think it's Leon.
It's Leon in Kingdom Hearts. Yeah.
Which is like so now whenever I hear people talk about Final Fantasy 8, my brain immediately like flashes the intro of Angel in my head.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
It's like I don't know, I used to watch
Yeah.
Buffy a
No,
bunch
it's
when I
a,
was
it's a
younger.
cracking game. Yeah.
I
Yeah, I think.
Little
Yeah.
tangent, but you know.
Yeah, but no, I would say with 7, like to be honest, like when I was younger and I played that game, I personally didn't really understand a lot of it because I think 7, the original one anyway, the remake I don't know. 'cause
You
I
really
played
gotta
it, the
think.
7 one is very psychological.
Yes.
Weirdly enough, it's very psychological, and you don't really realize that until the latter half of the game when you actually begin to get a lot of context and story because you don't actually get a lot of
Oh, yeah,
information
see-
until later on in the game.
that's
The
true.
remake
honest.
literally starts with like, ooh, who are these people? Ooh, love interest? Which one's the love interest? Which one are you gonna like?
Yeah.
Ooh, who's this person?
Yeah.
It's like every couple
Okay,
seconds.
there's
you're
a scene. There's a scene
Stop.
in the remake where Cloud is like basically making his way back to the Avalanche base, and he keeps having flashbacks in the alley, and he keeps seeing Sephiroth. Now,
Yeah.
have you never played those before? You'd be like, "Who's this guy? Why is he
Yeah.
here? Why does he keep screaming
Yeah.
Sephiroth? What is going on?" That just looks so strange because you've gone from one scene straight to like
Yeah.
this like psychological sort of I don't know trip, and you're like, where's this guy come from? Why is he in the alley?
Yeah.
Why is everything burning?"
It's
Yeah.
made so much worse by like years of internet. It's
But if you know
hard
Final
to not
Fantasy,
know
like,
who
oh, it's
Cloud
Sephiroth.
is, right?
Look at this cool
Yeah.
scene because you're a fan. That it's like there's a lot of fan service for scenes
and
like
that's
that.
another thing, right? Wasn't like the betray like so Sephiroth's like character reveal happens over the course of the game, right?
Hmm.
Anyone who's playing Final Fantasy 7 remake goes, that's a bad guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
that's the bad guy.
Yeah. But I
And
think as
Unfortunately, everyone sees Aerith and goes, we know what happens to,
yeah,
Yeah.
but I think that's the
and that's all like that's
Yeah.
all ruined, right?
but though
Ooh,
I
maybe
think,
not
like,
because of the way they might be going with it.
yeah, but don't spoil it for me because I've not played it yet.
You've not played
I
it,
swear to God.
Georgie?
I've not played it. No,
It's been
I've
like-
not played the
She said
remake.
that like fuck.
I haven't played. I've said it so much. Do not spoil the remake.
Isn't
I
it like?
swear to
Isn't it
God.
like been out for like? Has it been out for like 2 years now?
Yeah, but I
Three?
haven't
Two?
got it on
Three?
PC. I've got it on PlayStation. I need a capture card. So don't.
I
Please don't.
think
spoil
I
it.
have it sitting right here. I would
I will
mail it to you
cry.
if I could.
No,
Yes.
I've got it. I've got it on PlayStation. I just deliberately haven't played it.
I like how he just pulls a stack of games out. It's like, oh, it's here
But, like,
somewhere in my catalog
I
of
know, well,
games.
I did a shout
I
out
have
like, on my channel, and I used to have videos up, and I literally got a video clip of a spoiler from Final Fantasy VII. I literally have never like slammed my eyes over my face so fast.
It's
I was
okay.
like, oh my God.
I've not spoiled anything. It's fine. But you need to
No,
play
no,
it.
it's
You know what? I got rid of Final Fantasy VII and got 10 and 10-2 instead.
Ooh.
10 is fantastic.
10's
But like,
good. 10-2.
I think though that like with
Blitzball champion. Get out of my way.
But no, like I would say that like with 7, also I think it's what it suffers from is the fact that it's not a complete game. So if you think about it, right, if you're coming from this
That was
point
also
of view,
mega discouraging. I was like,
Yeah,
I'm
if-
not even gonna get to the end of this story. I'm suffering through like
No.
fluff right now, right?
yeah,
Mm.
yeah,
You
this
get
is
to
kind of
like
the problem.
you get to the town where Aerith lives, right? Like her like little shanty town or whatever.
Yeah.
You start talking to people, and I'm like, I don't give a shit about any of these people. I got through Walmart, and I was like, I don't give a shit about Walmart. What am I supposed to care? Like, what? I was so
Yeah.
like lost. It all just kind of kept getting mega lost on me. And
Yeah.
I was like, this is.
Yeah. Whereas like if it was like a complete game, then you could get all the aspects of the story that you need to
Yeah,
piece it together.
Or at least I would know I could get to the end. And here's like.
and then you would have a complete story. Whereas like instead, you like there are these huge breaks that are going to occur between the different games of like years, and it's just kind of like I don't particularly like the way they're releasing the remakes, to be honest. I wish it was just one or two, at least two huge
So
games.
here's the other confusing
that.
thing, right? So there is what's the character? There's like another thing out, right? There's like DLC for FF7 remake.
Yeah, it's the Yuffie stuff, right?
Oh yeah, Yiffy.
Yuffie.
Yeah.
Yeah, but is that a continuation of the story? Is that something that was in Final Fantasy VII
Nope,
original?
completely
Is that
separate.
what, like
It's no, it wasn't. So she is a
Integrate.
character from the original game, but it's separate story.
and she's like
To introduce
she's
her
like an
character early.
optional character, right? Like you can totally go the whole game without getting her character or joining your party, right?
Actually,
At least that was my understanding. I think you can
You-
just never pick her up.
I can't remember if
That's
it's
a
her or
good-
Vincent. I know you can complete the game without Vincent. I'm not sure if you
Yeah,
can
I
complete the
don't-
game
I-
without Yuffie. You might be able to.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think you're right.
I think she and Vincent were both like that.
I think you
Yeah,
might be
Because
right.
Vincent also
Separate.
got Dirge of Cerberus eventually.
Yes, but you can completely
Yeah.
miss him.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think
Which is a
Yuffie's
shame.
the same way. So I wonder
She
if that's
might
why
be.
they're like doing that, is to flesh out her story. Now,
Maybe.
look, I'm a fucking edgelord, right? If they tell me like, hey, we're gonna drop a Vincent like one shot, I might have to go check that out. Because
Yeah.
like the cape, the claw, like I know nothing about the character other than he looks like a Spawn knockoff. And
I'm excited. for him
I love
in
Spawn.
remake graphics. Like,
so
I
that's
love
that's
it.
the other thing, is looking at things in remake. Like at no point in remake was I ever like, wow, this game's ugly. Like that game is gorgeous, right?
Yeah, it's a very pretty game.
But man, like again, it's just you get so lost. They throw characters at you, and like, I'm sure when the character comes on screen, anyone who's played 7's gonna be like, oh, whoa, look how good so and so looks, and like anyone
Yeah.
who doesn't's like, all right, give me a name,
Yeah.
introduce the character.
Hmm.
Because a lot of these characters, they don't introduce themselves, because
Yeah.
I think in the original, the text box would come up and it would have their name there telling you who they are. So
Yeah.
now it's like, you know what I need? I need the villains to like stand in the spotlight and be like, I'm Jesse and James. Like Team Rocky, give me the spiel. Let me know who you are, okay? It feels so weird being like, whoa, I'm in a black trench coat, you're in a white trench coat. We must fight. There's something lost here. Who is this guy? Why am I fighting this guy? Why does this guy have a motorcycle? What the hell's going? Like it's. Man.
Yeah.
It's
Why does this
really-
guy have a
As I punch
motorcycle?
my mic. It's so visually stimulating though. Like the whole time I'm like, whoa, this looks rad.
Yeah. Like it's a beautiful looking game, and like I think they have done a very good job with that game. I'm looking forward to playing it, and I think, but like also for me, it's gonna come from a place of nostalgia, because I'll be like, ooh, who's this character? Ooh, that character, I recognize them, and ooh, and they've added in new stuff. It looks like as well, but like, it definitely looks different. But I think that coming back to Strangers of Paradise, I mean, I'm insanely disappointed. I think even when you just compare like the graphics between Final Fantasy VII Remake and this game, like it doesn't even compare. And I know it's different engines, I know it's different developers, but like this has the Square Enix tag on it, it has the Final Fantasy tag on it. Like if it's got Final Fantasy in it, I'm expecting more You know, and fair enough, I understand it's like Strangers Paradise, Final Fantasy Origin. I can see why it's not Final Fantasy. I can see why now, because it's so different to the other games. But
I even think the difference in the game isn't what made it. I think it's so we can use this as a good segue. I think they're doing the Capcom thing, right? Where Capcom will often release something from a third-party studio using their like licenses, though.
Okay.
And they'll do it as a test, which they're doing right now. They're releasing a Capcom Classic Fighters collection of like old fighting games.
right.
And it's predominantly Darkstalkers, right? Which is one of their bigger series that a lot of people have been asking for to come back. Like 6 years ago, they even had a whole thing where they're like, Darkstalkers are still alive. They're not dead. And everyone was like, whoa, what's going to happen? Nothing's happened. Now they're releasing this throwback collection. I guarantee you, if that doesn't sell, we would not see another Darkstalkers game. This feels like this was their way of testing the water for a different style of Final Fantasy, like a different combat style.
Okay.
And I think by backing off like they did, like I said, I'm gonna go over the headcanon of that. They wanted this to be a test, and Ninja Theory was like, oh, you want us to make a Final Fantasy game. And when those two didn't see eye to eye, they just threw it all together. I think this is going to prevent us from seeing more complicated combat in Final Fantasy games, straight up. I think this was a big test for them. And by having it be not a like numbered entry, they can go, just forget about it. Just forget it ever happened. It never happened. Forget about it.
Yeah.
Kind of like they're like the Resident Evil spin-offs. They do the same thing there.
You're not wrong, to be fair. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
This is why I love looking at the business side of video games, because like this is the stuff that really interests me. Is why are they doing this? Why did this even exist?
What, as in like, why did they come to light?
Yeah. Like,
Well,
what
why
was
does
the
this
idea?
exist?
Why? Yeah. Well, I mean, why does this exist? How did it end up being what it is? There's a great series on YouTube called "What Happened."
Oh,
So
okay.
I hope they do an episode on this, because I'm asking a lot of questions right now. As to
So
why
I
this
think
even
it's
exists.
too soon that there's still probably NDAs and no one wants to like ruin any potential sales they could get, knowing it's not going to be a lot. They probably want everything they can.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So it'll probably be a little bit before
Do you think a lot of
stuff
I
like come
mean,
out about it.
it's strange that there's a demo to play in the first place.
Why do you say that?
Because I feel like a lot of people play it and be like, yeah, I'm not feeling this. It doesn't feel very Final Fantasy.
Yeah, it's not a good demo.
Yeah, it's literally not a good demo.
It's not a good demo. Like, that's kind of the problem.
Yeah, I mean, if they didn't make demos for every game that was bad, I think we would miss out on a lot of quality content, to be fair. Because even bad publicity is good publicity, right?
Yeah.
There's a streamer I watch who talks about this all the time, where he's like, it's amazing to me. His whole stick is basically shitting on games, right? Is making fun of things and talking bad about them. And devs love coming to him and being like, yo, man, play our game. Knowing full well it's bad.
Yeah.
Knowing they have like basic stuff like typos, sentences, like, again, not to make fun of anyone who uses English as a second language or anything like that, but you can tell it's made in a foreign country and the sentences don't make sense, and he'll just dog the shit out of that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Those games see huge spikes in sales because of it
Oh, wow.
every time.
Yeah, I mean, you're not
So
wrong.
even
You have
like
to just help.
even having people play this and like being like, whoa, this demo's really bad, or this is not good, someone's gonna be like, I gotta see for myself.
Yeah.
I gotta
Yeah,
check
but
it out.
would they not just play the
Yeah.
demo then and not buy the game? Like, it makes no sense to me.
No, but what companies usually will do is they'll give the game free to like
Well,
people
so-
with like bigger channels and stuff to like review and then like play, and then they'll get the spike in sales.
Yeah, but
So, like, that
anyone
won't necessarily push
anyone
it
could
out.
download this demo for free right now just to test out instead of purchasing the game.
because like if people are not gonna spend money on it, they'll still get word of mouth, right? Like at the end of the day, there's gonna be someone who's like, I'll pass, and then a year from now they're gonna see it in a store and be like, oh yeah, I heard this was really bad. It's $30. Yeah,
Oh,
let me
okay,
pick it up.
okay.
Let me see what's going on.
Yeah,
You know,
Yeah.
it's again, any publicity is good publicity.
to an
Well,
extent.
Andres,
Also, this-
I see DMAX saying a demo is essentially an unfinished game sent out to show people what to expect. I disagree. A
Yeah.
demo is a sample of a product. You're thinking of like betas. I think they're two very different things that a lot of people
Yeah.
use the terms intermittently anymore, right? Like that's language, semantics, words change, but a demo was never intended to be an unfinished anything. A demo's supposed to be like a taste.
Do you remember like PlayStation
test or
1 demos
sample.
back in the day for like
Yeah, the old
magazines?
school demo discs, they were
and then when you
just
got the
a level.
actual game, it played the same. There was no difference.
Yeah. And that's, I mean, to be fair, there a lot of games, a lot of companies still do that with their games. They'll just give you like the first level,
Yeah.
which I love. That, or they do the now like long-term extended open beta. Like, oh yeah, this game's been in beta for like a year or so.
Yeah.
You know, we mentioned Baldur's Gate earlier. Baldur's Gate 3 came out like 2 years ago, and I think it's still technically in early access.
I think
Yeah,
Escape from
it is.
Tarkov is, I think it's been out for like
Yeah,
3-4
they've been
years, and that's still beta?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it happens all the time, these like extended beta games, which is
Yeah.
cool and bad at the same time, right? Because it kind of
Depends how
like
big your
lets
team is.
developers get away with selling something cheaper and maybe just never finishing the product. There's a ton of products on Steam that have just been abandoned.
Yeah.
Abandonware is like a whole category.
Yeah, I think though for some games though, the way I like to look at it is that like, especially if they're coming out with like new patches and new fixes and stuff, it's like when they're doing a long-term beta, it's because they're actually taking feedback on what's
Yeah.
wrong with the game and then
Yeah.
they're fixing it instead of like a lot of things nowadays, which is developers fully releasing a game which is incomplete and then releasing patches afterwards, which is something I have a bigger problem with.
Are they
because I'm like,
released because they're strained on
like
time?
you
don't
should
want
not
that.
release an
I don't-
incomplete game.
I
In my
think
opinion.
maybe that's just the like sample size you've seen, because I think it's pretty split evenly both ways.
Yeah.
There's a lot of indie devs that just abandon their games. It happens all
Yeah.
the time. AAA is more notorious for being like, no, the game has to get out, right? Cyberpunk, perfect
Yeah.
example.
Cyberpunk is a brilliant example. Yeah.
If that was a smaller studio, it would have just gotten put off again and again.
Yeah.
Maybe it would have come out in early access being like, hey guys, here's a sample of it.
But
and we just got
don't
put
certain
off for it.
studios have like a time frame to be like, okay, we have to release on this date,
So
whether the game is
that, a lot
finished
of
or
the
not?
time- a lot of time that comes from people that are not on the development team, right? That comes from the suits. That comes
Yeah.
from the people sitting at the table. That comes from the publishers, which is another
Yes.
big issue, is looking at publisher versus developer.
Okay.
Activision was notorious for this. Activision was notorious for buying up dev studios that would make a good game. They'd publish the first one. They'd be like, hey, this made us money. We're going to buy you. Now annualize. Make a new one every year.
Yeah.
Go. That's our deal. We give you money. You better keep making them. So it's like, it's a fiasco. But again, this is another reason why I love looking at like these companies, looking at stuff like Activision Blizzard and all the stuff that was going on with them, looking at Devolver, looking at Riot, looking at all these companies that are making all these big games, and like a lot of people are like, well, why do you care about the drama of these companies? Well, because you can see it reflecting in the games a lot of the time.
Oh
too.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So it's like there's so much to it that like just that angle alone is so fascinating to me. I love looking at this kind of stuff. I will over the next week. I'll keep looking at Strangers of Paradise. I'll keep an eye out and see if I can like find more about it.
Yeah, it is really fascinating. Like, I think as well, like when you were saying about the suits, I think a lot of the time what ends up happening is that like they have these deadlines that they have to hit because it becomes a point where like the money that these investors and stuff are putting into these games goes from like, okay, well, we're slowly beginning to run out of money, and now we're actually going to be seeing a loss if we don't get this many sales on a game, and it's been in production for this long, and now like we're at the point where it becomes like their potential profit margin then starts becoming like negative. So sometimes like that's why they like, it's like with Final Fantasy 15, they made major losses on that game, which is why it basically they didn't complete it, because it was in development hell for 10 years. They had so many losses
Now,
on it, and that's why they just released
it does
it.
happen quite a bit, but like I thought that was what was happening with all those games, right? That's probably like maybe one in every like 5,
Yeah.
maybe 10. What's happening most of the time is that these suits are, and this is going to get into a little bit of like I guess a philosophical discussion about like the stock market and stuff. They're basically playing with fake money. They're all doing stuff off of projections and how things are responding. So a lot of times when you're looking at game releases, something else you can look at is financial quarterly reports and annual financial reports, and look for when those go out to the investors. Those are public, so you can go look at those and almost like map out a timeline and be like, okay, so they have new IP slated for coming out this year. We can go look at these dev teams. This team's busy. Cool. Team 1 at Capcom's busy, right? And Team 1 is usually Resident Evil.
Yeah.
That's their hard division. So you go, all right, Team 1's busy. They have a new game coming out for an old IP. There's gonna be a new Resident Evil game.
Yeah.
And just constantly like looking at this kind of stuff, they make predictions based on stuff like Twitter. Stuff like, well, like feedback they're getting on Twitter will create this projection saying this game's not going to do well. It either needs to get out soon or just can it.
Yeah.
Get rid of it, cut the losses. And it's like, it's really tragic to kind of like look at the story of a lot of these games. It's really wild. Elden Ring absolutely had a day one patch for sure.
Yeah.
Elden Ring's, I mean, you want to talk about patches, that new Elden Ring patch is nice.
I just want to play the game.
I know.
I mean,
I feel so
I just
bad.
want to throw my PC in the ocean. That's how I feel.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't blame you.
I mean, I don't like. I won't say anything. You know, man, the
one you
PlayStation
have to
version's
happily
pretty
play
good.
it.
Oh, yeah. I
very
think I'm gonna have to fall
Better
back
than-
onto that.
Better than that shit that we just played. Ugh.
Yeah,
I'm so disappointed.
that's a fiasco.
Ugh.
That's rough.
I'm so disappointed.
It's
Did you
that's a
both
major
want
bummer.
to watch any trailers, by the way?
Do we have like what do we have?
think it was,
'Cause
like, 2.
we would have to. Well, you know what? We'd have to switch everything over right now. So maybe we can save those for next week.
Yeah, we could do that if you want to.
Just because we'd have to like switch the Elgato and everything, and then I'd have to do the screen capture.
Yeah, we'd
And
have
I'm
to.
also set up for Elgato, so I'd have to.
Right, yeah. You're the same sep as me for that. Yeah.
You and me both
Yeah.
would have to actually de-set up the Elgatos.
Yeah,
right
we
now,
would.
and then- so
That's
I'm
fine.
definitely down. I'm definitely down because I think we're starting to get a build up, and we're getting close to some releases. There's
Yeah.
games sneaking out left and right now. So
Yeah, there's a few. I mean, there's a few we could even talk about without trailers, to be fair. If there's
Yeah.
any that you guys want to kind of bring up.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, we can still get to the news and stuff. I'm just saying, like, I know we want to get some React content, you know, up and going. So we should like do those trailers at some point. But I think just tonight because it's already it's 9 o'clock for me, so it's 1 for you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is calling close to time.
Yeah. Yeah, but I
Yeah,
do
so I
want to
just-
chat about a few.
Yeah, I mean,
things
let's
that come
talk about
For
some
sure.
of like the announcements and stuff that's come out. One, whole bunch of fighting game stuff came out, right? So Capcom released a new edition of Street Fighter. Big surprise. I'm sure a bunch of people are really happy about it. That
tell
one's
you are.
like. Here's my thoughts on Street Fighter, right? They released like Street Fighter 2 and everyone's like, what a great game.
Yeah.
And then they were like, well, we want to add a character too. Cool. Street Fighter 2 Turbo comes out. Because this is before DLC, right? This was before that was a thing. Then you get Street Fighter 2 Hyper Fighter. Then you get like Street Fighter 2 Super Turbo and all. And it's like, cool. Well, it's 2022. You don't need to keep doing that with Street Fighter. Right? You
Yeah.
could just release DLC and patch these games.
Yeah.
I think there's 4 or 5 different versions of Street Fighter 5 at this point.
Jeez.
God.
So it's like, I saw Capcom make that announcement. I'm like, why?
I'd be like, just
And
stop.
not only that, not only is it like a,
Stop.
hey, here's all of our characters and everything we've done and all the costumes in one big bundle. No, there's
Yeah.
like new, like characters are getting new moves.
Jeez.
They're changing like the actual, like, it is so crazy. It's,
Yeah.
that one's pretty nutty. Of course, we had the Elden Ring patch. That was kind of a big deal in terms of news. They added quest lines, which was really neat. They nerfed some things, which is getting some mixed reviews. I think people are pretty torn between like, hey, let us keep the broken stuff broken to have fun because it's a mostly single player game.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Then you have a real vocal PvP segment being like, no, that's not how it's like. They're just
Yeah, it's pretty divided,
hot
I
take
find.
time. I
yeah.
think the PvP groups are whiny bitches. They are all whiny little babies.
Yeah, I don't know about the groups, but just in general, PvP can just kiss my ass. Like, I absolutely hate it.
I liked
PvP
PvP in Dark Souls
1.
1 and 2
Oh.
and 3. But
Oof. Dark Souls 2 PvP can feck off. Actually feck off.
I didn't mind if someone invaded my world and I defended. Really didn't mind. I was just like,
I think
was like, oh, you
that's-
want to throw hands? I'll throw some Estus your way.
Oh, I freaking minded. It was that Minotaur. Oh,
Yeah, drink some Estus
Once
while you
it's
fade
like
out of existence and back into your world.
yeah.
Yeah, I have mixed feelings on it, right? Because like the PvP is cool. There's the thing, right? Is that if you are doing PvP in Dark Souls, if you're invading, not doing duels, which is now a separate thing you can do in Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Establish there's like a duel symbol you can use.
Right.
I don't think I'm ever gonna duel in.
You're already
Elden.
forcing yourself on someone, like you're already trying to ruin someone else's game. But then to have the nerve to then go online and be like, I can't believe they're playing like this. Why are they playing with low health or a ton of health? Or why are they
I've
using
seen
this
the
weapon?
comments
like,
on Twitter.
why
People
do
are
you
like, oh,
like,
why aren't people leveling
you don't
vigor?
get to complain when you are forcing yourself into someone else's game. You
Yeah.
don't get to do that. You don't get to
Yeah.
complain how other people play. Like, man.
Yeah. No.
Because I think I saw a comment with someone being like, oh, I'm one shot in all these noobs with like 20 vigor and stuff like that.
I hate it.
Yeah, that was the one I retweeted. And like, I
think
got
that's the
into
one.
it in those comments.
Yeah.
You want to look?
I was like, holy shit.
You want to see the spicy side of Twitter? Once in a while, you should go look at my tweets and replies.
I
Not
do.
what I actually
I do, and I'm
retweet.
like, ooh,
But if you look at my
sir.
tweets and replies, you'll see me get like, it's super toxic, but I love arguing on Twitter.
Spicy.
Sign me up. Sign me up. It's super unhealthy and not good for me, but I'm there for it.
That's fine.
Hey man,
That's
you
fair.
do you. It, you know,
Yeah, it's up to you.
Hey, man,
that's
I
what
gotta
gives you
vent
your
somehow.
kick.
Yeah.
I'm quick looking at like my list of announcements and stuff. So there's gonna be a fighting game publishers roundtable. This is the third one of those,
Oh.
so it's just a bunch of like the heads of different Japanese studios that are notorious for like the classic fighting games. So Capcom, Bandai Namco, SNK, Arc System Works. oh god, I hate this like late night cough I'm developing. Excuse me, sorry about that. But they're gonna be getting together and they kind of make some announcements there. Like I've said before, fighting games kind of operate in their like own category, separate from like the rest of video games. It's very weird. But that's March 21st, so a bunch of people are actually expecting possibly a Tekken 8 announcement. Which,
Yes, please.
me, I'm a big Tekken boy. Sign me up. Let me at it.
You're ready.
Yeah, so that's gonna be interesting. That's gonna be.
Do you think you'll have
Unfortunately,
rollback?
it's at like, I think it's at like 2 a.m. my time.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I saw that you'd retweeted that one because it's like
That's a-
super like.
If that
that's a
comes
rough one
out
for me.
without rollback, I'm gonna be shocked.
What, the round table or Tekken 8?
Tekken.
If Tekken comes out with bad netcode, they're gonna have a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
They
on
are gonna
Twitter.
have a. Oh,
Literally, yeah, patch, right. You should, yeah, absolutely flaming them. Roast.
Sorry.
yeah, that. Oh man,
That was quick.
I'm gonna be
I like
getting.
that.
I'm gonna be in Harada's mentions. Yo, Katsuhira Harada, you better look.
Wait, you get that netcode sorted or else?
Michael Murray,
Yeah.
Listen, Murray-san, you need to put the good netcode in here.
Gonna
or
start a
else.
fire.
I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will.
What else do I have on this now? I have a few things. I'm just scrolling through the list. So we had the fighting game roundtable. Oh, speaking of shows, I saw. Wait, let me address this. Stu, Tekken Netflix show. I have not heard about that. That I'm gonna have to investigate. I
Yeah.
need to look.
I need to look at
Because,
that.
like, I'm gonna be upfront, right? As a huge Tekken fan, Tekken's story is shit. It is garbage. Why is the old guy kicking cruise missiles out of the air and summoning dragons? What is happening in this game?
Okay,
Right?
I could follow up to about Tekken 2. And past that, I don't know what the hell is going on anymore.
Oh, I've got.
I would say it makes it to like Tekken 3.
Tekken
I
3
could
for
probably
you?
make it to Tekken 3.
Tekken's the
I
one
was
with
lost.
the guy with the hair, right? It's like sticking straight, like the blonde
Yeah,
hair.
you got
it's
it.
Like an
Oh, yeah.
it's like a
Paul?
rectangle.
Paul's
Paul, and then like the
OG.
guy with like the
One of
the
my
granddad
mains?
dude with the hair like this.
Yeah, hey,
Oh,
Hachi
oh,
Mishima.
Hachi.
Hair.
The
Wait.
And then he's
Mishima
got-
clan.
I was about to say something
then
else
he's got,
then.
like-
Fuck.
Yeah, and then
Yeah, so you've got look, so that character you just saw, the old man with like the wing hair, right? The like
Yeah.
Dr. Robotnik mustache glued to his
Yes.
head.
Yeah.
Here's the story, right? He's the grandfather who threw his son into an active volcano,
Pog.
and then his son came, and his son's Kazuya, who's in the game. His
Yeah.
son Jin, who's the main character of like half the games, he's in the
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
His dead wife's in the game.
Cool.
His dead daughter-in-law's in. Like, it is the craziest. Like,
I just don't know what's
no
going
one
on with
understands
it.
what's happening.
All I've really seen of them is them as ducks. 'Cause there's like little like
Oh, yeah.
collectibles.
Yeah, so
and they're,
those
like,
were
little ducks.
those were done by Tenno. Tenno is a company that does they like throw together they put together tournaments. In the US at least. They're sick. They're a huge company.
Wait, they made what? They made like
the rubber
figurines?
ducks?
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. You
So that was like done as a collaboration for a tournament.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant. I thought you. Yeah. Oh.
This is like I'm deep into fighting games to the point that like, oh, it's a Saturday and you haven't heard from me. I might be watching a Japanese tournament or a Korean tournament or a Thai tournament or a you know, like I love those. I love fighting games so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
But segueing from Netflix, this Resident Evil Netflix show got a date.
Oh. Okay.
Was there mention of them changing the story for it?
Well,
So,
do you not know what it's about?
Yeah, do
No.
you know what this one's supposed to be about?
I have no
This
idea.
is-
Well.
This is
Oh,
Neo
come on, both
Raccoon
you.
City.
Bring this in. Let me know. I'm ready. I'm laying
Oh.
back. I'm prepared.
So Wesker is working in Neo Raccoon City,
Neo.
and this follows his two kids.
Oh dear.
It's
Who
a
are not-
sitcom.
who are not
about
even
Resident Evil.
canonically in the game.
Yeah, they're not even his like canon kid.
Yeah, because he has a
Wesker
canon
has a kid in game, and it's not even
RE6.
that.
Jake in RE6,
What?
and it's not even him.
I didn't get that far on RE6. I will be honest.
Oh well, there you go. Spoiler.
Oh, spoiler.
Oh, it's fine. I was never gonna play it.
I'm better off never gonna play.
Yeah, Wesker is a son, but that is not who his kid is. He has two more kids.
He has two
What?
daughters.
Yeah, 2 daughters.
Oh my god, what's going on?
The fact that they're calling it Neo Raccoon City just makes my skin crawl.
Yeah.
What is it going to take? How hard is it to take the story of the Spencer Mansion and just make it a
They
hard
just want to
movie?
be edgy.
How-
It's the hardest thing ever.
How can we make Raccoon City edgier?
It's
Neo Raccoon City.
like, look, the Paul W.S. Anderson movies were bad enough, right? Because he just wanted to be like, let me make action movies for my hot wife.
Yeah.
That's what he did to the Monster Hunter movie too, which
To be fair, I liked the
the fact
first
that it's
Resident
the
Evil film.
same director and same actress making the same shitty movie, but they replace the zombies with monsters from Monster Hunter makes me so angry. I'm so mad. Capcom is the one company whose like games I can consistently be like, Resident Evil, Monster Hunter, sign me up, like all day, day from the time of being a child. Dino Crisis, give it. Holy fuck! We can't talk.
We haven't even. No. Let's finish the other one. Then we can get onto this.
Come
one, because
back
we've
to
not
us,
finished.
Patch. Come
Okay,
back.
let's finish Resident Evil, and then we will go to the anger of that.
Stop!
because we need to.
Just
I
stop
wanna finish
fucking up
this
Resident Evil. They made books, and the books are fantastic. They
Yeah.
are full
They
like
made manga.
novels. Yeah, they made a comic series.
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
the
they
hell
did.
happened between Resident Evil? Like, I know a lot of people love Resident Evil 4. I like Resident Evil 4 too. It's a fun game. It's great. What the
Already
hell
playing it on
happened?
my
though?
channel in a minute, guys. By the way, just have
Well, you know what? Here's what's even more unfortunate: is I can tell you what happened with Resident Evil 4. Is that it was
Well, don't. I'm
Oh.
replaying it at the minute. Don't fucking spoil it.
no,
I've
not
played it, like,
spoiling it.
10
But I'm
years.
saying, in their attempts to make Resident Evil 4, that's where Devil May Cry came from.
Oh, is it?
Wait, what?
Yeah,
Like the
Ante
first
is
one?
1,000% just Leon.
What?
Oh my god.
They made Resident Evil 4 times.
Hold on.
Oh wow.
Hold on.
One of them became
Didn't Devil May Cry
Devil
come
May
out
Cry.
before Resident Evil 4?
yes, because it was supposed to be. It was like they're one of their first attempts. They wanted to make an action Resident Evil game.
Got you.
That's why
So
it
they
uses
made
the
it
same
then-
camera angles. That's why it uses the same, like, even the game structure,
Oh,
right?
it does.
Resident Evil games, like, think about Resident Evil 1, right? Mansion,
Yeah.
and then outside area, and then labs. Devil May Cry 1 goes the manor, and then, like, courtyards, outside area, and then you go to, like, labs.
Shit.
Dante was originally supposed to be called Tony. I love that fact.
Yeah, his name was Tony Redgrave, which is what they named the city for in Devil May Cry 5. It's called Redgrave City.
That's really funny.
Oh.
I just love the fact, like, you just see Dante and he's so badass, and then just looking.
Look at
"What's your
Leon's hair
name?"
and look at
Tony.
Dante's hair. They're like
Yeah,
they're the
that's
same
true.
person.
It's true. They do
The
have that
trench coat.
same Giga Chad vibe. I love
Oh my
it.
god.
Every
Tony.
Resident Evil character gets a cool coat.
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
I'm glad they changed it to Dante.
Yeah, me too.
Dante's way cool. Like Devil May Cry.
So
Thank
much
God
cooler.
that
The
happened.
names in Devil May Cry is major. Virgil.
Yeah.
Oh, Come on, man.
Yeah, the game,
Sparta?
yeah, it's good.
Ah.
Yeah,
Oh, I mean,
good.
that was like Dante and like Dante. Wait, so it's
Sparta, Dante, Virgil, Trish.
yeah, they're all like
Mundus.
ties into the what is it called? The Divine Comedy, Dante's Divine Comedy.
Oh, really?
That's like, yeah, that's where a lot of it came from because Virgil was the guide, Dante's the author.
Mm-hmm.
I think Sparta was like,
Ooh, Dante's
I forget.
Inferno.
I want to say he was like, yeah, Dante's Inferno. That like whole series, Inferno, Heaven. I forget what all three of them are called. I forget what they are, but oh yeah, and we don't talk about the Dante's Inferno game. That's
Oh,
another.
what a game.
just
What a game.
God of War, but sacrilegious, and I mean, I kind
Yes.
of loved it to be honest. Actually,
And
to be honest,
the new God of
I
War was also fantastic. We're going to go on so many tangents here.
Yeah, no. All right, so, anyways, stop fucking up Resident Evil. Not that hard.
Yeah.
Well,
See, I
apparently
agree-
it is.
yeah.
Apparently it is that hard to
Well,
not. Mess this
apparently
game.
it really is. I mean, first of all, I will just say, because I was actually gonna message you this. That test tube in the actual picture is nowhere near full enough. That is a ridiculous test tube. I will just say that. And
Test
scientists
tube. Oh.
that piss me off.
Oh.
The test
Oh,
tube.
in the-
That is fucking stupid. That is nowhere near enough blood to do anything. The minute you spin that down, the amount of serum you're getting off that test tube is fuck all. You can't test that shit. That's ridiculous.
Well, I mean, it's
absolutely
silly.
not.
Can't you see they spilled it on their poster board here when they were making this classroom
capped.
presentation?
It was capped. So not only they spilled it, they then recapped it and then decided to use it. Contaminant, I think so. Fucking twats. God.
Georgie
like,
dropping the science.
It makes me angry. Like, if you're gonna science, at least science properly. Like, don't make me come up with that. Like,
Hey, if
but,
we're
like,
gonna science, let's
yeah,
do it.
do it properly. Like, that just made me mad. Because, like, no. Serology takes a lot of serum to do. You need a lot of serum, which is what you get when you spin down
Never knew
the
that.
sample. Yeah.
Okay. All
I mean,
right.
you can do stuff off, like, full blood, but yeah.
And that's the
It's
spinny
not.
thing, right? When you put like all the vials into the
The
thing and
centrifuge.
it does the...
Yeah.
Whoosh,
Yeah,
whoosh,
the
whoosh,
centrifuge,
whoosh.
yeah. Yeah, he's like, yeah.
That's it, yeah.
But yeah, no, I think it like I'm looking forward to a trailer for it. I will give it a chance. The chance will probably be very small, if I'm being honest. But I will give it a chance.
Did you
Who
both
knows?
watch
It
the
could be
film that came
incredible.
out recently?
New
Was it a
one?
film?
No,
Okay.
Nope.
no, I have not.
I got told not to. But I kind of
I'm
want
going
to
to.
see how bad it is.
Yeah, I want to watch it. I'm gonna watch it. But
Yeah,
I-
just
Yeah, I'll wait till it shows up free somewhere.
Yeah.
Stu, I think you're right.
Okay, so let's go. So I just scrolled down and I saw a few more things that are worth it. No, let's just fucking Dino Crisis. Let's get into
Yes,
it, right?
let's get onto it because I've been waiting a whole week.
Capcom announced this new game, Exo Primal.
Exo Primal, yes, like Exo taking the piss.
What is this not Regina? Why would they put, hey, we're going to make a game with dinosaurs. We're going to show some future tech. There's a redhead. Holy shit, it's Dino Crisis. Guys, thanks for checking out Exo Primal, where you pilot mechs and fight dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Just give me a goddamn Dino Crisis. Let me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just why?
Do you
why
think
is
they
it
will
like
ever
a-
come out
So
with a Dino Crisis?
talking about how Capcom likes to test things.
Oh, you think they're doing
This
it with
doesn't
that?
sell. Oh yeah, if this doesn't sell,
Oh, okay.
we will not see a Dino Crisis.
Well, that's shit. Everyone go and buy this game.
If this sells well, we will not see a Dino Crisis.
Why? Oh, because they'll just binge off
They're gonna
this.
just make more of this.
Yeah.
This has to either sell just right in one of two ways, right? Because it has to either oversell in such a crazy way and blow up that they have extra money to make a Dino Crisis,
Yeah.
Yeah.
or it has to be just enough to be like, oh, well, you know, maybe people do like dinosaurs, and we should go back to scary dinosaurs.
Yeah. Yeah. I think.
Because
Yeah.
this is, I
Bored of
I think I
zombies,
did
give me
this live.
dinos. Bored of zombies, give me dinos. Hashtag that.
I think I managed to turn on and stream this just long enough, and I was like, holy shit, I was freaking out, and then it said Exo Primal, and I think I turned off I think I stopped watching. I think I literally ended the stream. There's like a 7-minute stream on my channel somewhere.
Rain just starts hitting your window. Everything turns black and white.
Hello, darkness, my old
Rain
friend.
is literally hitting my window right now, and I'm like, I'm okay with that.
I do like the
The
rain.
ants.
It's very soothing.
The angst, yeah, me too. I was gonna say, I don't get like I think I completely understand what you're saying. We're like, yeah, this is gonna have to do in between of sales and stuff. Why didn't they just make a fucking Dino Crisis game? Because even if it didn't widespread sell, the nostalgia alone would have driven sales of the Dino Crisis.
Yeah,
game.
I reckon it would have.
Like,
I almost
so,
would say
like,
it's because
why?
Remake 3 didn't do so well.
Yeah, but they're still doing 4. Like, they're still doing a remake of 4.
Yeah, but 4 is also like the brainchild. Like, that's like their favorite child.
Yeah, that's true. I do get it, but it's just like, I think that, like...
I think
know.
most people don't even want them doing 4. They want them to do Code Veronica.
Yeah, which I hope they do.
Or even, I mean, me personally, I would like... The remake of the first Resident Evil game is still good. It's still very good and holds up. But I would love to walk around the mansion like you can walk around the police station.
Yes.
Give me that.
That would be very cool. Yeah, it
I
would
would
be cool
lose.
if they
Let me
remade
see Plant 42. Let me see Neptune. Let me see the spiders. Let me see the shark. It's like it would be so good.
Yeah, I think they could do it. I think it'd be great if they could remake 1, but I also want them to do Veronica though. Like Veronica would be really good. Replaying 4 now, it doesn't feel entirely necessary, but also with how irritating Ashley is, I don't know if I could take Ashley in better graphics.
Oh god, no. No.
So playing 4, I think it held up for a long time. I think that's starting to fade though. I do think like in the next couple years I could see it, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think there's a rush to jump to it right now.
No.
Unfortunately, they're going to jump to it because everyone loves 4.
Yeah, I agree. I think though, yeah.
If only Sony could see that about like Bloodborne and just 60 FPS Bloodborne.
I know. There's so many games they could do it with. I mean, I've been having this chat recently with like just even the Silent Hill games. Like, you don't need to make a new Silent Hill game. God, just bloody master one or remake one. To like God, could you imagine like some of the Silent Hill games with like the Resident Evil 2 remake, like graphics?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my god.
Do you think we would end up falling down a spiral of, hey, we're just going to remake all the games? All the games that were on PlayStation 1,
would
PlayStation 2.
that be so bad?
Because how
personally,
good were some of the
no.
old
Because
PSN
so here's the
games?
thing with movies, I get it, right? Because you're just like the story's the same, the experience isn't going to be that different except for the visual, right? It's just a purely visual upgrade most of the time. If they change the story, it's fucking it up usually.
Yeah.
With a game, it's like an experience, right? You have to actually walk through those things and experience the jump scares again. You have to face the monsters. You have to, and so I think they're able to do that way easier, and I don't know why they haven't.
Yeah.
I genuinely don't understand why Konami has not done anything with Metal Gear Solid 1 or Castlevania.
Are they allowed to?
You know what? That's a valid question because I don't know. I don't know how much of
Because I know when Kojima
the
left,
rights are.
it was a case of they just couldn't do anything with Metal Gear.
So I
They
think
did that survival
still do
thing?
stuff with Metal Gear.
To shit on it?
I'm pretty sure because they have, yeah. They can just shit on Metal Gear all they
Yeah,
want.
but they can't do anything with Metal Gear 1, 2, or 3, if I remember correctly.
Maybe.
Awful.
That, I might believe that. Now, there has been a rumor that Blue Point, the people that did the Demon Souls remake, might be getting the Metal Gear Solid remake.
Oh, really?
Which, that Demon Souls remake is so good. I think
Very
Blue
pretty.
Point also did the Shadow of the Colossus remake, so like...
That was good. I enjoyed that. Shadow of the Colossus,
They
the
have a track
remake,
record
it felt like I was playing the original.
Yeah, they have a good track record of making good game flips, so
Yes.
hopefully...
Oh, what a game. Shadow of the Colossus. What a fucking
That
game.
would be cool. I just found the thing because I realized we didn't get to really talk about it last week. There was a whole like PlayStation's like Sony State of Play.
Yes,
There's a
there
bunch
was,
of announcements. So that's
State
where
of Play?
Exoprimal came from.
Yeah.
Yeah, like every like couple months or so, they do their own version of like E3 basically, where they like make announcements. Here's some trailers. Enjoy, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They showed off. They gave a fresh look at Ghostwire Tokyo.
That looks
Yeah,
really
that game
good, and I
looks-
want it.
Me too. That
So
game
here's
looks
my
very
only
good.
fear about that game, right? Is it's starting to look more and more like a horror Bioshock, which is not a bad thing.
Yeah.
But the creature designer that was originally on the game is no longer there.
Creature designer.
I think her name was like Natomi Nakamura. She was the same year Keanu Reeves came out and went, "You're breathtaking."
Oh, okay.
There was the I don't want to like be this like female Asian developer, and she came out and did the whole like meet today and all this stuff, and everyone thought she was adorable, and she like took the internet over.
Okay.
She was working on that game. She works with Shinji Mikami on Silent Hill and The Evil Within.
Oh.
Or not
Interesting,
Silent
okay.
Hill, just The Evil Within.
Yeah.
I always forget that he's a Resident Evil guy, not a Silent Hill guy.
Right.
He's the one behind Ghostwire Tokyo, and now she's not a part of it, which is kind of like a uh-oh.
What?
Not saying she carries it, but like her creature designs in The Evil Within were incredible, so that would have been nice to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quick burning through the list. Yep, the Stranger's Paradise demo got released.
Just one second. You've gone yellow.
Yeah, you have.
Yeah,
gone
I know.
yellow.
I don't know what's with my lighting. Like,
Oh.
it's really bad. It's because I can't control my like balance in this version in Discord.
Oh, right.
So
Yeah.
weird.
So what I was using was I had the TV on, creating a white light to like balance it,
Oh.
but the TV just turned off because of the sleep timer. So I'm
Oh.
now turning it back
He's
on.
just like, I need
get
to turn it back on.
That's bad.
Yeah,
You just
I
kinda
was
Simpsons.
complaining earlier about how, like I am legitimately like yellow. I'm also like so hot in here. I'm dying with
Yeah.
all these lights on. I'll be honest.
That's so hot right now.
So let's go through the rest of these real quick.
he's-
That should fix my color. Hopefully.
Yeah, your color
There
was
you go.
fixed.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, because now I have a bright blue light balancing out the warm yellow light.
Yeah.
It's man, color theory, isn't it crazy?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a new look at Forspoken. I don't know if anyone's following this game. It looks very like, it looks like a show. It looks like hardware show off. It looks like it's just, hey, look how graphically like stunning this is. But
Yeah, I'm not particularly.
yeah, I feel very disinterested in it.
Yeah.
New 6v6 Gundam game coming out.
Oof. Yes, give me, please.
Unfortunately, it looks like it's gonna be a first-person shooter.
No, why would you do
So
that?
it's
That's
just
a good
yeah,
to
look.
win.
So let's run it back. Let's talk about
Actually,
companies
wait.
sitting on
If
properties
you can
and
do,
not making.
if you can do first person and then bounce out for like third person as well, I'm in. But if it's just first person, sorry, I don't.
It's
think I
just
can do
first
that.
person. It's
Ah,
just
sick.
another. It's Halo. It's
No.
Splitgate.
No.
It's Call of Duty. It's Apex. It's
Nah, don't want it. Don't want it now.
Unfortunately, what I would like to see is a mech game like Armored Core. Unfortunately, that's owned by From Software, who's busy making Elden Ring, and that game is shitting golden eggs. So the
Yeah.
chances of seeing an Armored Core, low. There are rumors, but it's low. It's low
Yeah.
chances.
Yeah.
There's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles collection coming out if you're a fan of the retro games.
I am. They were really fun. Turtles Lost in Time. Yes, give.
Yeah. There is a re-release of a PS3 game. So I don't know if we've talked about like what the issues with the PS3 are. There's a bunch of games that are locked to the PlayStation 3 though, unfortunately. Because of the infrastructure they used for like building games is so unique to that console that even trying to port games forward from it is so difficult. It's not compatible with like the PS4 structure. So there's a lot of games that have just been like locked to that console. I've been considering buying one to be able to play some of these games. Like
Yeah. A lot of people do that. I've heard.
Azura's Wrath is really popular. That I would love to like get my hands on and play that on stream one day.
I've never played that.
Yeah.
There's also this little game called JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star
please.
Battle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Give me.
And it was like, as someone who loves JoJo, like JoJo's great, big fan. Big fan of fighting games. I don't like arena fighters.
Oh, it's
but
arena. Oh, it's the
I'm
old.
pretty sure it's an arena fighter.
Yeah, if it's the old one that you're on about, it's definitely an arena fighter. I've actually
But
played it.
because it's JoJo, I'm willing to like look past that just for the fun, right? like,
I had fun when I was playing
I
with my
definitely-
friend. To be honest, it was still wacky and wild.
Because it's just a like they're porting it forward. It's probably not going to be a full like $60 release. It's probably gonna be like $40 to $30, and I might pay that for that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm already the type that I will buy every fighting game, all of them, even if I'm never gonna play it or if I'm gonna play it once, right? Those are not like that's just I love fighting games. I'm gonna support, so I'll probably pick that one up.
Yeah.
We talked about turn-based games, right?
Oh,
There's
yeah,
a
we
new
did.
one coming out from Square Enix called the Diofield Chronicle that looked very interesting, actually.
Okay.
It's another, like, it's tactics. It's kind of turn-based where you're moving your units around, kind of similar to, like, Triangle Strategy or Fire Emblem.
Yeah.
Visually, it looks very pretty.
Yeah.
Also, there's a new Valkyrie game coming out. Now,
Valkyrie.
I've seen the cover for the Valkyrie games, but I don't know anything about them. That's another one that, like, if you told me this was Final Fantasy, I'd believe you.
Yeah.
1,000%.
It looks kind of similar. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know much about them either.
I would, it's something I think I might have to go back and look at. I definitely think we should check out some of these trailers when we have more time.
Yeah.
Maybe do like a trailer roundup at some point so that we can like check out all these new announcements. But
Yeah.
just for like now, it's nice to like kind of touch on them and be like, hey, we know these exist. If people are interested in them, I would definitely go check them out.
That sounds like a plan.
But
Yeah, for sure. Well, there was one that they announced. I don't know if you got the name of it there, but it was like a samurai one.
actually, I think I do. I think I was just looking at it. It's black and white, correct?
Yeah, that one looked quite interesting as well. That was one that
Trek
struck
to
me.
Yomi.
Yeah,
That's
that
the one.
one-
It looks like a Kurosawa film.
yeah.
I would say more so than like Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know they put like a Kurosawa film filter in it, that like black white filter with the
it's
high
a pretty cool
contrast dark
filter.
shadows. They're doing something similar to that. Trek to Yomi, that's gonna be coming out PS4 and PS5 as well.
Yeah.
But there's no like real more information on that outside of like the cutscene, the trailer that they gave us, and then excuse me, the like the screenshots that have come out.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was. I thought it was quite intriguing.
If you have a PS5 and you have access to Returnal, that's getting a nice like updated version that has co-op and stuff. But
Ooh.
I mean, I feel like most people don't have a PS5, so
No, but I'd like one.
unfortunately, most people aren't going to get to play that game.
If anyone wants to donate a PS5,
Yeah, Sony, can you sponsor the chat loads and give each of us a PS5? Thanks.
yes, please. I would love a PS5. Oh my god.
Yeah, we're gonna need 3 of them for research purposes.
We do.
For
Yes.
we need to make sure we're all consistent, right?
100%. Yeah. All gonna have the same thing.
I did. Oh, I thought I
Well-
just saw an announcement for something, but I was
There
mistaken.
was-
I lost it.
there's-
So
There's 3 things I've got
Okay.
that were announcements that have been out very recently. One of them is a state of play related announcement. I don't know if you've got on your list, but that's the
Okay.
Hogwarts Legacy gameplay announcement.
yes.
How do you feel about Hogwarts?
Whoa.
He seems very excited
I'll
about
save
it.
this. I will
Yeah,
put
I
a
don't-
pin in this for a second. No, actually, someone just linked me the Tekken trailer. It was announced like 2 hours ago.
Oh,
Sir.
okay, there you go.
Fuck, why have we got a setup where
sorry,
we
that
can't
caught
watch
me off
things?
guard. How do I feel about the Harry Potter thing? I'm honestly not interested.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the books when I was a kid. I went back and reread them probably like a year or 2 ago, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Ooh, these are, you know what? They're young adult books. They're for young adults."
Yeah.
I kind of dropped off the movies after a while too. I like lost interest in them to a degree. So I don't know if I'm super interested in this. Also, I'm not like a biggest fan of the author herself anymore, so it's kind of like I'm okay
Yeah.
to just pass on this one for me.
Yeah. Well, I think the really great thing about these is that like the actual game developers themselves have stated that they also are separate from the author, and they also do have a lot of LGBTQ plus people working in and on the game as well.
Yeah, and
which think
I
is a
understand that.
fantastic
I think it's just at this
Yeah.
point, it's kind of like I'm distant enough from it that I don't feel like a compulsive need to get back.
I
in.
don't follow it at all, so I have no idea what's going on.
Also,
Yeah,
I heard it's single player, which I think is going. I think people are a little bummed about, right? I think this is going
Oh,
to
I
turn
think-
out to be
yeah.
more like Bully, where I think people were hoping more for like, hey, like let me like play Quidditch with my friends, let me roam around the Hogwarts castle
Yeah.
with like a friend or two, and
Yeah. If it is actually single player, that's actually really disappointing, because that's something I mentioned was like I was hoping that this was gonna at least be multiplayer to some extent.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you guys, if any of you are watching it interested, it does look very good. I was gonna say personally, after watching the preview and stuff, I think they've done a brilliant job. Visually, it looks stunning. Like it does look very, very good, and it has like a lot of diversity to it and stuff. But I'm interested to see what they do. The other one that I've seen is I'm a big fan, obviously, of horror stuff. So the Quarry trailer came out, which is the new kind of spiritual successor to Until Dawn.
Oh, okay.
So
That
I have questions
Oh.
about this, right?
Okay.
Because a lot of people are saying that, but that's what the those other series were supposed to be
What
too,
the
right?
is it the Dark Anthology
Not
things? Is
no.
that what it is?
Man of Medan.
Yeah.
All of those.
The-
Don't they have like the
also Little
same narrator guy?
So no. So Until Dawn does not have the narrator.
Oh.
And I don't think this
does-
game
is it-
will have the narrator either. So the Dark Anthology series is a very specific series of games. They all have that same like essentially theorized as death, essentially. And he kind of narrates each of the games, and you know, depending on your choices, you know, it influences
He
the story,
sort of
which is
pops
just
up,
like Until
yeah.
Dawn. Yeah, he kind of interjects at points. He is not in Until Dawn. He has nothing to do with Until Dawn.
Okay.
And it's
No, but they
theorized
definitely they did have the narrator in Until Dawn though, but it was Dr. Hill.
Yeah,
It's the
but
same
that's
role,
part of-
but it was.
No. He's part of the story though. Until Dawn
That's true. That is
is
true.
actually part of the
Whereas
story,
in
whereas
the, yeah,
Death is never, or the
He's just
the
telling the
creator
tale,
represents-
isn't he?
Yeah, he's never
The
he never interacts
curator.
with the characters. He's never interacting with the characters. He's never really in the story. You'll occasionally see him in the game, but that's part of this whole theory of like he's Death.
Oh, as in
Because
like you'll
he'll
see
only
him
appear.
within the game outside of telling the story.
Yeah, you'll see him like in the background occasionally in certain scenes.
Oh.
Where like a character dies and stuff. Yeah.
I didn't
so
know
it's theorized
that.
that he's actually Death. Yeah, you have to spot. Definitely recommend it.
Oh,
It's fun,
okay,
trying to
okay.
spot
I'm
it.
too scared
But
to play it.
he's there.
Uh,
He's
I mean,
there. But-
they're not
but-
like. But you said it's like a spiritual successor, right? So it doesn't have to be like 1-to-1.
No,
But-
but I think the reason why people are saying it is because it's outside of the Dark Pictures anthology. So it's going back to.
So
the
because it's a
Until Dawn.
standalone, they want to say it's going to be closer to Until Dawn.
Yeah. And I think also if
That
you
feels
watch
like such a. Like, admittedly, that feels like a weird stretch. Don't get me wrong. I watched it and I definitely went, "This looks like Until Dawn." Like,
Mhm.
but I feel like. Saying those Dark Anthology games are not spiritual successors to Until Dawn feels like. It almost feels like backtracking, or like back. What's the term I'm looking for? Backstepping on something, or like trying to change your opinion after the fact. Not from you per se, but just from the community as a whole. Because like,
Yeah.
when those games came out, everyone, oh yeah, this is like the Until Dawn sequels.
Yeah.
Like they're doing this, but
Yeah.
those games turned out to not be very good. At least the ones I played.
Yeah. I think.
I think I played all but the Village one,
Yeah.
and like
A Little Hope.
yeah, they all were the same.
Yeah, it's kind of a big issue with those games is that like I think Until Dawn really establishes this really good balance between the supernatural and psychological elements. And it establishes those really well, and also the existence of both of those things, and without outside, you know, interference, that like these things all exist. The issue with the Dark Pictures games is that they essentially nix half of those things. And I don't want to give too many spoilers, but things aren't always what they seem, but it's not a good thing.
Well, I
So,
mean, it
like-
feels like they got that with Until Dawn, and then they tried to forcibly recapture that, and like they're just trying too hard.
Yeah, but the problem is they tried to forcibly recapture it, but then they went back on themselves in the game. So they have all these twists. So for example, Man of Medan, I'm going to spoil Man of Medan because
Yeah, go for
it's
it.
a crap game. So for example, Man of Medan establishes they're on a ghost ship, right? It's a shit game. I don't recommend it. Like they're on a
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
ghost
I
ship,
mean, I agree.
right? There's pirates on the ship with them and stuff. They essentially go through all this stuff, and it turns out they're all hallucinating the whole time.
Oh.
So there is no ghosts, there's no supernatural element. It's
Yeah.
just essentially them all running around on the ship, half
But
out
that's,
lines.
I feel
killing
like
each other.
that's not so much like,
Wait,
well,
why-
it's
why were
not
they out of
Until
their
Dawn in that
minds?
sense. I think that's just, they just gave it a bad ending.
Yeah,
And I
but the
think people
problem
want to
is-
try to separate it by being like, well, those bad endings don't count against Until Dawn because it's not the same. But it's the same studio, it's the same team, it's the same writers. It's
Yeah. But then the issue is they do a similar plot twist ending in the next game
and the next game and the next
and
one,
the next game. So it's like they have this like.
which is why it
stupid
makes me.
twist.
Why is it like just because they're not calling it a dark anthology? Why do people think they're not going to make that same fuck up?
Well, this
because
is
it's
the
the
thing,
same
I think people are hoping that they're not going to. Like I'm.
So
hoping
really,
that-
it's people is all right. So I get maybe this is hard for me to like. What's the word I'm looking for? Collaborate, because like I'm not an optimist. I'm a pretty cynical person when it comes to trusting companies, and like the idea that like, well, see, since this is technically not a dark anthologies, it's not going to be the same. Like, no, this is going to be more the same. That's my. I mean, but I'm a
Yeah,
pessimist, right? So I feel like this is gonna make this like
No,
us
I like-
watching it.
We like the
It's gonna
counter.
be an interesting dynamic going forward, like this like counterpoint of seeing like. It's almost like you're like we're cheering for different teams right now because like honestly I it sounds horrible, but I kind of hope it fails, right? Like I kind of just to be like, stop buying these games from this team, right? If it was a different team in a different studio, yeah, I might have way more faith.
Yeah.
But at this
see,
point, I think
yeah.
it's they've like I know you don't feel this way, but I'm gonna count Until Dawn, Man of Medan, Little Hope, the other ones like they're just all the same.
So wait there, because I don't follow these games at all. So you've got the Dark Anthology,
Yes.
and there's only 3 of them, right? And then you've got Until
Yeah,
Dawn,
so
which
far, there's one more
is
coming out.
separate, but they're made by the exact same company, are they?
Yeah.
Aha.
Yes, all the games. So Until Dawn came out first. And
Yeah.
Until Dawn, the
It was
difference
good.
with Until Dawn, though,
Until Dawn
it
was very good.
game. It's also a single player game.
Is the Until
Which is-
Dawn one the one when they're in like the cabin in the woods?
Yes.
So which
Okay.
one?
And
yes,
they got
yeah,
like so they're hitting all because some of the big selling points to like Until Dawn when it first came out was 1, the decision making,
Yes.
2, real actors playing the characters, right? So you could look at the actor and be like, that's Hayden Panettiere from
Yeah,
Heroes, or whatever. And then here's here's the big thing that I think Until Dawn does that the other games don't do. Is that it was like I honestly feel like it was 3 of the Dark Anthology games in one, right? Because in Until Dawn you go through like different arcs of like what's the antagonist, right?
Yeah.
You go through different phases, and like in the Dark Anthology games they feel way shorter. You get one antagonist, and then they go, "Gotcha, not them," and that's it. The game ends.
Yeah.
Whereas, like in Until Dawn, it was like, "Oh, this is the kid. Oh, this is coming for you," and then it was like, "Oh, wait a minute."
I don't have much to say
Hard
on that
left
because
turn.
I've not
Now
really
we've
played
got-
them.
You know, now we've got creatures, or now we've got ghosts, or now they changed like dramatically. Where
Space
the
vampires.
Dark Anthology games don't have those.
Yeah, they don't.
They kind of show
necessarily
their
have-
hand in the beginning and the twist, and that's it.
Yeah, they kind of show the hand at the beginning. You think one thing and you're like, okay, I know what I'm doing. And then they do this stupid twist at the end that just completely invalidates the entire fucking game. And that's the problem with them, is they've done it with every single game. And it's just kind of like...
So
it's like Little Hope is... I think Little Hope's a brilliant game, and I really like it.
Which one's
And
Little
there's
Hope?
a lot in that game. I think it's great. Well, the thing is, like, it's a ghost story, essentially, that's based in this town. These people get stranded in this town. But the really great thing about it is that it's a big self-reflection. So
Is
all
that
of
the
these
Witch
characters
Trials
have these...
one?
Yes, it's the Witch Trials one. So essentially there's this hint of like reincarnation, and like there's these characters have been here before, and this past life kind of exists. But then also there's this whole aspect of like having to fight your inner demons of like, okay, well, each of these characters has this thing about them, and they have to literally visually fight these visual demons that look pretty fucking cool. And they
Reminds me
have
of the
some very
Twilight
tense
Zone.
moments. Yeah, it's kind of like the Twilight
Yeah,
Zone meets Silent Hill. In a weird way,
Yeah.
is how I would describe that. Like, it's creepy, and then you just have this fucking
each game is a
stupid-
Twilight episode.
Yeah, and then you have
Yeah.
this stupid fucking twist ending that you have in each of these fucking games that you're like, are you fucking kidding me? Whereas like Until Dawn never had that. I never got to the end of Until Dawn and went, are you kidding me? Like I was like, yeah, this makes sense. It's well written. You get to this point and you genuinely get invested in the characters. Whereas like in the Dark Pictures games, I never really got invested in any of the characters. None of the
Yeah,
characters.
I mean they're like way shorter, and you're following multiple characters instead of where you're really only following what, like 1 or 2 in Until Dawn. Like yeah, they're all there.
No, you follow them all. You follow all the characters.
I don't think you follow them in the same extent or in as short of a time as you do in like Man of Medan.
Yeah, you get longer periods with them, and it's also I think harder to kill them in Until Dawn. So you do actually learn a lot more about the characters before you even like properly get into the scary stuff. Whereas like in the other games, you are kind of thrown in relatively quickly.
Really
you
quick.
don't learn a lot.
This goes back to the like publishers pushing deadlines and the annualization of titles. This feels like Until Dawn did really well, but it took a long time to make. So they're like, all right, we'll make shorter, less plot twisty games, but we can do more of them over time.
Yeah.
And show like, hey, this works. Because they're the only ones really making those types of games at this point in time, right?
Yeah.
But in doing that, they've like obviously had to cut corners because they can't put as much time in, and it feels like that's what we've gotten with all the Dark Anthology games.
Yeah. Yeah. Whereas, like, with this new one, I think the reason why people are comparing it to Until Dawn is because there's a lot of characters, so I feel like people I think are hoping that there's going to be more
bigger.
story.
They're hoping
it looks a
this
lot.
is
They're hoping it's a bigger game again. We actually get time with the characters. We actually get the investment. We actually get the story and the plot and the time to develop through it, and you're more invested. And I think that's why people are comparing it to Until Dawn and hoping that this is going to kind of do everything that they've kind of failed to do with the Dark Pictures anthology.
I definitely see the comparison, right? Like I said myself when I first saw it, I went, "Oh, Until Dawn, not Man of Medan or another one." I said Until Dawn.
Yeah.
Even the imagery they use, right? It's like a big, like manor type looking thing, or like log cabin or something.
It's a big like campsite, yeah, because it's just like a summer camp it's saying.
Yeah. So like it's showing way more, and I get that. I don't want people to think, like I would be worried if I like. I don't want people to go, well, it's not a Dark Anthologies game, so it's gonna be different. I think that is kind of like setting yourself up for a little bit of fail. Like I think in the back of your mind, you should keep in there, like, all right, they tried to cash out 3 other times. We've got one more coming still. Hopefully this is like them learning their lesson, but I would definitely be more and more pessimistic as it goes, right?
It's funny though, because so originally when I saw the first Until Dawn trailer, I thought, oh, this is going to be like a serial killer thing. We have to try and survive from like a serial killer, right? And obviously it wasn't.
Yeah.
And then when I started watching this trailer, the first thing that came into my head was like 80s horror. I was like,
oh yeah, absolutely, slasher films,
Friday
Jason, Crystal
13th,
Lake,
yeah, like all that kind of stuff. Like that all immediately came to mind, and then there was immediately this like supernatural aspect that was introduced in quite quickly, but I don't remember if they ever really like actually revealed that in the Until Dawn trailer, which makes me a bit suspicious already.
I don't think they did.
Because they have established it in this trailer, because like when you watch it and when you slow it down, my theory is werewolves. It looks like werewolves. It looks like humanoid figures. It can't be Wendigos. It kind of looks like werewolves to me, and I'm just kind of like, and it's set in a woods. There's a full moon literally in the trailer. I'm like, I think it's werewolves. Is my theory.
That'd be sick.
Which would be awesome. Which I am super hoping for, but I'm also just hoping that they don't do some fucking stupid plot twist ending.
There's
where,
lead
like,
in the water, and they've all been tripping balls this whole
They've
time.
hallucinated the werewolves. Like,
Werewolves are really
They are
vampires.
actually 6 miles away from 3 Mile Island. The radiation is leaked, and they're actually all just suffering from brain tumors. It's like,
yeah, I don't know, but I'm intrigued to like find
let the
out.
monsters be monsters.
Because I agree, and this is the thing, is that like Until Dawn let monsters be monsters, and it brought us a monster that we hadn't really had in a game before, and let us enjoy that. And what I'm hoping is that like this game does the same thing, like just let us enjoy having a supernatural element to this game.
I think
Stop
that's
trying to
fair.
think. Stop trying to overthink it.
Yeah, stop trying to like logic it out. You know?
You know, I don't watch American Werewolf in London or American Werewolf in Paris or any of these werewolf movies because they're deeply like, whoa, my brain. No, I watch it because I want to see the big scary werewolf tear apart the person I don't like while the hero gets away. Like,
Yeah, but also,
like,
can you
I'm
imagine?
here to turn my brain off and suspend disbelief. You don't need to try to like,
Yeah.
oh, it's all in your head. Like, no, sometimes you just want.
But then also imagine, like, say, like, you have a character, and then that character gets bitten or something, and say that's how werewolves can pass it along in this game.
Yeah.
Like, how fucking tense is that going to be if you literally have like characters?
Yeah, so you kind of have to keep the balance, and like if you know the camp starts to get overrun, the game gets harder as you're trying to like hide. Like that'd be so cool.
That'd be
there's
clever.
tons of stuff they could do
Yeah,
to
that's
make
what I
it
mean.
cool.
Like, there's so many things that
Oh,
like.
Jerry got
I don't-
bit like an hour ago. He's not acting normal.
Yeah,
Do we
there's,
like keep him out of
potential.
this cabin while these other werewolves are coming for us, or do we let him
Yeah,
inside
it's
with
like-
us, sort of thing? That
Yeah,
choice.
there's like a lot of potential that they could kind of do with this game, and it's got a very good cast as well.
Oh, okay.
Like, yeah, it's got a good.
I mean,
So
it's
check
just
it
the
out.
question is, are they going to do something new with it, or are they just is it going to be another story-based game where it's
more of the
make
same.
the
Yeah.
choose your own adventure type stuff?
Yeah, I think
To me,
regardless.
it's fine. It has its place.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
we
I think
we want the adventure to be compelling.
Yeah, I think regardless, I'm still gonna play it. I think I'm still down. Like, it still looks very good. I'm still want to play it before I get spoiled. I don't know. I think it could be good. I think it could be good. Like, for sure. And speaking of horror, the only other thing that I always like to bring up is Silent Hill. It's one of my favorite series. You know anything about me? I'm always bloody on about Silent Hill. Apparently there is a sneaky little rumor that supposedly a new Silent Hill game could be in the works. There was a rumor a while ago because and
that's one of those games. There's always a rumor.
I
Metal
know,
Gear Solid.
there was
Silent Hill.
There was a
Resident
rumor
Evil.
a while ago because apparently the developers of the Medium game were working on a game that is from a very big franchise that's a horror game that they are supposedly like doing a game for and working with the company for.
I hope not, because the Medium was bad.
Yeah.
The Medium
Yeah,
was
so-
real bad, and the ending is even worse.
Yeah.
So
that's been a rumor for a while, is that it could be them. However, apparently Konami, what is it that's officially been stated? But basically I think Konami have just like trademarked or something the Silent Hill game. Let me get up.
So
That's
let's talk about that real quick,
Konami's-
because I work in patent law. I
Yeah.
work in copyright, so I can actually add insight to this because I go over this a lot, actually.
Yeah. I'll read out what it says and then you can explain it.
No, go
So
ahead.
it says, Konami's license renewals on 15th of March are Silent Hill and also Gradius, Frogger, The Water Margin and Tokimeki Memorial. And interestingly enough, the trademark for each title not only covers game software and headsets for virtual reality, but also a number of options for goods and services that aren't video games. So they are currently
So
updated.
that's
the trademark.
standard. If they don't update it, they lose it. They have to update it.
Right.
They do it yearly. Bloody Roar comes up every 5 years.
Right.
Castlevania comes up constantly.
Right.
All these things have to get renewed.
Right.
If they don't protect them, then someone can legally come in and basically steal them.
Oh.
So this happens constantly. Never take trademark renewal as any sign of anything. Unfortunately.
They'd lost
Like
the
I said,
rights?
Bloody Roar does it. Yeah, you can like lose your rights if you don't protect them. That's part of the reason why Nintendo's such dicks, right? Is if they don't set the precedent for shutting down fan games, if they don't like establish that precedent of doing it, then someone can then cite and be like, well, look at all these previous fan games that you guys have let go on for years or even supported.
Ah,
Why are you trying to shut down our fan game now?
I see.
And it can
I see.
actually, if they're like smart enough, they could win the fight because of how dumb copyright law is.
Yeah, it is a bit dumb.
Copyright law is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And now by no means am I a lawyer, right? I just edit the patents, but I have to be familiar with the processes.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So
Well-
like license renewal happens all the time.
Yeah.
Constantly, and it's unfortunate. Expanding it to be other things outside of that is because it's so common right now to do stuff like show adaptations, right? The idea of a Netflix show, and so it would be much easier if they didn't protect their copyright, right? Someone could make like a Quiet Mountain show instead of Silent Hill, and just like rename the characters and really walk all over Silent Hill, and it would be crazy.
Still fucking
They
watch
could get
it.
away with it. Like so.
Still fucking
God.
watch
Like I said,
it.
unfortunately,
Love
like
it.
Bloody Roar is the big one because a lot of people
Yeah.
would really like Bloody Roar to come back. And same with Dino Crisis. Actually, Dino Crisis, it happens constantly.
Yeah.
They'll just pack a bunch of them in. They go, hey, send this for renewal. Now there have been
That's a
there
shame,
are
though, isn't
other
it?
rumors, right?
It's like, oh, yeah, we'll renew it, but we'll sit on the IP, but we'll do nothing with it.
Yeah.
Because like I said, so both like there are certain games that you're gonna hear constantly. Like right now, I just looked up Silent Hill rumor, and literally the next thing under it was Metal Gear Solid rumor.
Yeah.
People talking about the Metal Gear Solid movie, they've been talking about that movie for like 20 years.
Yeah. There's a lot of
Is-
movies like that.
I'd be surprised if we ever got a Metal
The
Gear
Gears of
movie.
War movie, yeah. Tell me more. Tell me more about the Gears of War
Yeah.
movie. Like it's constant, which is really frustrating, especially with franchises that people love so much.
Do you know, I would like a Gears of War. I would like a Gears of War movie.
There is a new Halo show.
series coming out.
Yes.
Because I saw a little
which-
bit something about it, and people.
Of course,
people weren't happy,
people
right?
are mad.
Yeah,
yeah.
I was gonna say.
There was one that came out
Because-
before, and it wasn't very good.
No, I think this is a Netflix.
The one before wasn't bad. I
can
the
get
problem
into
people
it.
have is that they forget that Halo is more than just Master Chief.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's the same like thing as the Star Wars thing, right?
Yeah,
People can't
it's
stop
more
making
than just...
fucking Star Wars movies about the Jedi, but you're
Exactly.
like, it's an entire universe. There are political dramas, there are horror novels written in the Star Wars universe. I'm like, why haven't they
Exactly.
made that? Where's
Yeah.
the zombie stormtrooper movie? Give that to me.
No, gotta have lightsabers. I think that's why I like the Mandalorian so much, because they were like, no Jedi.
Yeah. It's
Oh. Just speaking of Jedi, though, that makes me think the Obi-Wan Kenobi trailer came out.
Oh,
for
yes,
the
it did.
series.
Yes.
Sorry, just thinking of like Jedi.
Good-
yeah,
no, good
that
shout.
was-
again, it's that same feeling of like it got oversaturated. It's too much of like it got too big that they started filling it with like crap. Is kind of how I feel. Like when was the last like really good Star Wars? Now arguments can be made for any Star Wars movie, right? Like you can make an argument, but in reality, like everything comes from those first 3 movies.
Yeah.
And they totally scrapped. They threw out all the books. They said those aren't canon anymore.
Oh,
Which is like hundreds of books.
Wow.
And now they're just like filling in with basically retellings of the same 3 stories.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm very, again, pessimistic. It's same feeling. Like I love Resident Evil. That show, man.
Well, we know
Waiting
it's
for it
gonna
to
be
fail.
Is there an actual trailer for it?
No.
Not yet.
Okay. Okay.
There's a cast photo and a
yet.
poster.
Actually, it's a good point. Have either of you seen the Cuphead TV show that just came out on Netflix?
No, but I want to.
I know, I want to as well. I haven't seen it.
I've been told it's pretty good.
Yeah. Just speaking of game shows.
Yeah, it's on my list. I've been meaning to replay Cuphead. I'm
never
actually
even
thinking about
played
doing
it.
it when the DLC comes out, right?
Oh, okay.
They're finally like always talked about either more Cuphead levels or DLC. So now they're finally what like 5 years later releasing DLC.
Right.
I should really play that.
The delicious last course, get it? DLC.
Hmm.
They're so funny.
Oh, that's good.
I actually kind of like that. Just let's play on words.
I love like Cuphead's a great game.
Yeah.
If you haven't played Cuphead, I'd say it's worth checking out.
Is
Yeah.
it as
Definitely
difficult
requires
as
some effort.
people say?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've heard it's extremely difficult. I was gonna
If
say,
you've ever been into like bullet hell games, like
Yes, I have.
Ikaruga, you're starting to get in the right idea.
Ah.
yeah, I've heard it's.
But you're
really-
not flying, you're platforming. So
Yeah.
you have to jump and parry while you're bullet dodging.
Oh, jeez. Difficult.
So
Yeah, I don't think it's for me. I love the art style though. I think
Yeah,
the
same.
actual visual
music.
style of it
The
and the
music
music
is
as well
fantastic.
looks great. It's like the same thing with Hollow Knight. Like it just is so visually stunning.
I
but
loved
I'm
Hollow
just
Knight.
so bad. I'm just so bad at those kind of platformy.
Oh yeah, I'm
game.
pretty bad at 2D like platformer games like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Fat Shaggy, he kills them. He is so good at those games.
Yeah.
And you know what I tie it to? And maybe you'll agree. Maybe you can like support this theory. Fat Shaggy's talking shit, but I've
He
seen
is.
him die in Cuphead. Don't worry. See, I gave him a compliment. It's gonna inflate his ego. I'll have to deal with this later. But like, I think it comes from Nintendo versus PlayStation kids. 'Cause Fat Shaggy's a hella Nintendo kid.
Shit.
So like
Interesting.
Mario. Now I know Sonic's not like platformer, and like Mega Man wasn't necessarily Nintendo, but like
Yeah,
all
but the
those games,
reactions,
that's what he
though.
played all the time.
Yeah, but the
Right?
reaction.
It's the same concept.
Yeah.
Where like if you were a PlayStation kid, especially in like kind of the era we were, where it was like Resident Evil, Silent Hill,
Yeah.
Tomb Raider, like a lot more 3D games.
Yeah. You're also moseying around how much a lot of the time.
Oh yeah. Well, it's
He's
funny
right.
because then like you make him play Resident Evil and he gets lost as shit. His like his sense of 3D navigation is like he struggles. But then you give me a controller for like Cuphead and I'm like, holy fuck, this game is hard as shit.
Yeah.
Now, granted, he is like very good at it naturally. Don't get me wrong. He's
Yeah.
you know, I'll still
but
gas
you're
him
right,
up, but
Yeah, but you
it
put
feels very like a
right.
Nintendo versus PlayStation.
Yeah, I know. I think you could be on something there. I completely agree, because like all those kind of games, I really fucking struggle with. But then if you give me like anything a bit slower or like shooting based, I'm like I'm gone. I'm there. That's my kind of thing. Whereas like you give me something like Mario, and I'm shit. Like I just can't reflex quick enough.
Yeah,
You know?
like the reading the projectiles coming at you type stuff, and all those like the jump managing. It's just I don't know. It's a different set of skills.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
that's just something I've noticed like over the years of playing games with Fat Shaggy. That's been kind of fun. But
That's awesome. Are there any
is there
other
anything
games?
else?
I was gonna say, are
I
there
was
any?
gonna say,
Is there anything you
Okay.
guys have been playing recently? Elden Ring.
I wish I could play Elden Ring. Jeez. Oh, farewell, sweet Elden Ring.
Oh.
No, I mean, it's mostly been Elden Ring and fighting games, right? They announced the lineup for a big fighting game tournament, like the biggest one every year.
I've gone back to Mass
So
Effect.
I'm definitely going back and checking those games out. I'm definitely going in like stuff like, you know, Tekken I'm revisiting. You know, Fighters got announced to be at this tournament, Skullgirls. So I want to like go back and revisit all those games just so that they're fresh in my mind when the tournament happens. Whoa, good shout, Comic Welshie. I don't know anyone else that's played that game except for me and Fat Shaggy.
Oh, wait, you and Fat Shaggy played that too?
Yeah, Daemon X Machina. So I
Yeah,
talked
me and
about
Comic have been
Armored Core
playing it.
earlier. I love mech games.
Oh,
you
do
guys
tell,
probably have
good
it on
sir.
PC, don't you?
We got on PC.
Yeah, I have it on Switch.
Oh, damn it!
I got it when it came out on Switch. It's fun. It's a little short. It's a little lacking, unfortunately.
Yeah. We found the co-op is solid.
Yeah, it plays well.
Absolutely solid.
It's a fun game. Like I said, I love mech builders, so I really want Armored Core. But
Yeah, give us Armored Core. But that, I was just like, oh, it's Gundam? Yeah, I'm here for that. Yes, it is it's the robot game.
Yeah,
Dude,
I should-
building my own
look,
character, like,
me and Fat
comic.
Shaggy send each other screenshots of our mechs all the time. I've literally been using it to like plan what colors I'm gonna paint this gunpla I have over here.
Yes.
I'm gonna build a Gundam model and I'm gonna paint it the colors I use on my Daemon X Machina on my arsenal.
Do it. Oh, so good.
It's sick.
This is all going like. I have no idea.
Just mech stuff. It's
Yeah, it's
Just
like a
just
really
mech
simple, just like build a robot.
yeah.
Build your robot
It's like
that you're gonna
Build-A-Bear.
pilot.
It's like Build-A-Bear,
Sick.
but with a robot.
There we go.
Games where you can like play your custom unit attract me so hard. Like I love Monster Hunter, especially when you play with your friends and everyone's looking so different. Like
Yeah, it's
sign me
yeah.
up. I love
I
that.
like games like that.
That's why like the Elden Ring multiplayer, like having your homies come in their goofy armor and their weapons, you're like, oh, this is kind of fun. This is
Yeah.
kind of like way better than I anticipated.
Yeah.
So I definitely. Oh man,
What games have you been playing,
it
Georgie?
is. It's like fuck the game. Check out my robot.
I've had to. I'm currently throwing back, not only my back out, as per usual, but I'm kind of going back to like a lot of older games at the minute. So I've just redone Silent Hill 3,
Yes.
which was a fantastic game, and that really actually held. Although some of the puzzles did drag a little bit. And I'm currently doing RE4, which is actually a lot more fun. The only thing I forgot like how annoying it is like saving Ashley all the time. Help me, Leon! Oh my god.
Yeah, good old Ashley. You just give her the suit of armor and call it a day.
Yeah.
She's ridiculous. Like literally her move when you like play Ashley, when you're just like throwing things at the enemies, is she kills things faster than Leon does.
Yeah.
It takes the piss. I was like, this woman can handle herself. Like this, like she is acting down, so Leon will save her deliberately. I was like, this is taking the piss.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be playing Silent Hill 4: The Room, which I've never actually played.
The Room.
And I know it's a controversial one because it's like it's either people love it or people hate it.
Oh, it's just like
So
Marmite.
I'm really just like Marmite. It's the Marmite of Silent
What
Hill
about this
games.
one? Is this one good?
I've
Silent
heard that
Hill
one is a
Downpour?
bag of shit. I've never played it, but I've heard
Neither
it's a
have I.
bag of
Oh
shit.
my god.
Fat Shaggy dropped
What
it
a
off for me.
comment.
I'm looking forward to playing it, but that's what I've heard from Silent Hill fans is that Downpour and Homecoming have a lot of problems and they're very shit. The Room, even that one people say is really shit. But it's I think it's kind of similar with like the thing with the Final Fantasy games again, of like when people recommend them, like with the Silent Hill games, they recommend 1 to 3. I never get
everyone has
recommended
their
any of
favorites.
them. I never get recommended any of them.
Preference,
but I don't
though,
even
isn't
get
it?
people
It's
recommending
when
them
someone
into
recommends
games.
something, it's literally just down to personal preference.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to trying 4, but I have heard a lot of bad stuff about it, and I've not heard great stuff about Downpour. Although,
To be honest, I don't think I've ever played. I think I've only ever played Silent Hill 1. I was always a Resident Evil kid.
Not played any of them.
Oh,
I've
oh,
watched
I
them.
mean,
I'm
I understand.
yeah, so as you know, I'm terrible with horror, but I can watch a friend play it. It's weird. I feel more immersed when I'm playing a game because I don't know.
Oh yeah, when the controller's in your hand, it's way harder.
You're like locked into it, and
Yeah.
when I tried Play
definitely-
2 and Pyramid Head's coming out, I was like, fuck this. Controller's
I mean,
down. I'm
it is-
gone.
it is quite scary.
But if I watch a friend play it, I'm like, oh, it's just Pyramid Heads. It's weird. I just feel more comfort watching a friend play it.
Yeah. I mean, 2 and 3 hold.
But I like the story.
Like, I think
the story was really
two
cool.
and 3 are fantastic. Yeah, I think they're really good games. And if you can get hold of the HD version, they really hold
2 was
up.
my
Like,
favorite.
they're fantastic. Yeah, especially the story of 2, I think, is a lot stronger.
And the music.
Like,
oh,
they're brilliant games. But I'm looking forward to 4 because I have heard good things about the story. Even if the gameplay is very janky, I have heard the story's good. But apparently it suffers from like a lot of enemies like clumping together in places. And that can be quite hard in a Silent Hill game.
The Dark Souls 2 gank issue.
Yes, yeah. And
We
that
don't
can be
speak
quite
of that
difficult in a Silent
game.
Hill game. Because to be honest, in Silent Hill games, a lot of the time, you're dodging enemies. You're not actually actively in combat. You're just pretty much running through enemies. And I did it like pretty much through 2 and 3. So like if 4 has that issue,
when I was watching you play 3, like enemies were just there, kind of walking towards you, just like lolly around them. You're just like, oh, just waltz around.
Yeah, you don't need to fight them in in that game.
It kind of had a similar issue with Resident Evil 1 to Resident Evil 2, right? Because in Resident Evil 1, it's a lot of like there's one zombie.
Yeah.
Resident Evil 2 starts with you in the streets and there's like 5, 6, like more zombies than you see in Resident Evil 1 in those first like couple of screens that you go through.
Yeah, it does. And you have that problem throughout the game where like you'll just be going down a corridor and then all of a sudden you'll have like 6 zombies in that one corridor. You'll have like 3 spawning behind you and 3 spawning ahead, and then like a lickers in the flipping vents, and you're like what? Like with your one little pistol, and you're like, holy fuck.
I think that's the furthest I ever got on Resident Evil 2 was the liquor scene. It might have been 2 or 3, I can't quite remember. But the liquor like sort of like smashes through the window or like comes through the roof. I can't quite remember.
Yeah, that's like you get into the entrance and then you go through the first kind of set of doors and then the liquor crawls through the window and then it's that main corridor. Yeah, I know.
I can't use tank control, so I just kept spinning in circles trying to run away from it, and I was just like it frustrated me. And I was like, I can't play this.
Oh, so you know what's fun about that spin? That spin, you could almost think of it as having iframes. So I showed this to Fat Shaggy because I made him play the first games recently, like probably like 3 or 4 years ago. And if you play them with tank controls while you're running, and like right as the zombie's about to lunge at you, you just do a 360, whoop, and the grab misses.
Well, you see that in speedruns. You see that a lot.
It's a speedrunning tactic. It's because of the hitbox. Same with like putting zombies on the stairs, right? Because when they're on the stairs, they can't grab you; they can only puke. So then you can just run right past them.
Yeah, I see that a lot in speedruns. People doing that little swivel in like professional speedruns.
I just be like spinning around the whole game. Like I'm not gonna walk straight. I'm just gonna spin right round. Baby.
Oh, just like do like a spirograph or whatever.
Yeah.
Just like a hop through the hallways.
Yeah, speedrunning is really interesting. Actually, I've been watching more speedrunners lately because I didn't used to watch that many.
Elden Ring speedruns.
I've started to watch a few. Elden Ring speedruns.
Yeah, well, someone's completed the game in 28 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Destroyer, is it?
I don't remember.
Yeah,
I'm not surprised though. I mean, within
like
the first 2
20
days,
minutes,
right?
done.
So I played for what 9 hours that first day, right? And then I deleted my character, and the second day I caught up within 45 minutes. I'd caught up to where my first.
Yeah, didn't you say you've been trying this thing where you'll start a new character and you're actually getting faster each time you're doing it to like catch up to the previous character? Distortion.
Me and Fat Shaggy have been writing steps down.
Oh my god!
Trying to like come up with our own like method.
Oh,
that's pretty cool.
So, I don't want to like spoil too much, right? But there's something you can find pretty early in the game that lets you jump to like level 35.
Ooh.
Oh wow.
And you can get to that thing within 10 minutes if you don't fuck anything up.
But now the speed runs might be harder.
Of starting the game, you could be
right because the Elden Ring patch for is it 103
so
patch?
They got some pushback on some of the things that they nerfed. Like they nerfed. There was an axe that you would stomp and it would send out a cone of icicles that would form up on the ground.
Yeah.
Oh.
And they nerfed that. That was like the tool for doing speed runs because it would stun lock things.
Did a ton of damage too.
Which, like, most people aren't mad. Like, the speedrunning community is not mad. It happens all the time where, like, speedrunners find a bug and then it gets patched and then it just creates a new category of speedrun. Like, oh, are you playing Elden Ring 1.0 or are you playing 1.3?
Yes,
Yeah.
And that's just, it's a new category.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal. The people that seem the most, like, upset about stuff being nerfed is the people that would never play online, don't want to interact with the community. Like, this is my game, I'm playing by myself. All you did was ruin my fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, I get it. And at the same time, you got to respect that there are other parts to this community that you can't deny, right? Like,
Yeah.
if this was an explicitly solo game, yeah, easy. But there's co-op. There is
Yeah, and there's a lot of people.
like,
There's a lot of
versus-
people that do play the co-op. To be fair, a lot.
Yeah, and that's the
I
other
mean,
thing.
that was
Spearers
Dark
also don't care 'cause
Souls'
they'll just-
whole thing
just play
was
the
the
old version.
invasions and invading people's worlds and playing with your buddies and stuff like that.
I don't think that was Dark Souls thing ever. I think that was always like a secondary or even third, like a tertiary side thing.
See, when I came into it, that's what it was all about.
Oh, see, there was only one time in my life where I ever met someone who was like all about that, and that was it was pretty early in the cycle, right? And it was just one guy, and all he would ever talk about is how much he loved hanging out in the woods, right?
It took it to Dark Souls 2, dude, for me to be like, I don't like PvP anymore.
Yeah, see, that's such a strange thing for me because everyone I've ever met that did play Dark Souls, except for me, hates PvP.
PvP arenas, okay. But when people, so Georgie's experienced this, when people can just consistently invade your world, your health meter's going down and down, and it's like, the game just hates you.
Well, that's Dark Souls 2, just that whole game hate. That game's shit. We should never talk about it or acknowledge it as a Dark Souls game. Like, fuck that game.
Fuck that game.
But
in the ocean.
even in like Dark Souls, like, unfortunately, here's the thing about Dark Souls 2, right? Is that's probably where the PvP was the strongest.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, a lot of people say that.
Yeah, I agree.
Which is why it's funny for me to hear you say like, oh yeah, well, Dark Souls 1 was about the PvP. I'm like,
yeah, I had a lot of
really didn't come
PvP.
into-
Yeah, I had so much. I had way more PvP in Dark Souls 1.
I'm so like, man, you approached Dark Souls 1 in such a way that's so different from I think anyone else that I've talked to.
Like,
Yeah.
I think it's when I was teaching.
You're like, oh yeah,
and like,
I've played Dark Souls 1 and I got like to New Game Plus 7 without getting hit. But then like, you also haven't touched it since like the DLC basically.
no, I've not touched the DLC at all.
Which is so
You
weird.
need to.
I know.
It's so like
Watching Georgie play, I was just
especially
like,
to be,
"Oh, I
such
want to
a-
play this now.
I bloody completed the DLC.
Yeah, you
Like,
smashed
need to
it.
Freaking...
You
Well,
fucking
yeah,
smashed
it's
it.
so weird that you have because like I play Dark Souls 1 once a year. Minimum.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back and do it again.
Yeah,
Like,
I got
really
I got
love it.
heavily
it's
addicted to Dark
so
Souls
funny
1.
to me that you're like,
Yeah.
I fucking love Dark Souls, and you
I
haven't
love Dark
played it in a
Souls.
long time. You
I've
should
not
go back
played
and
it
play
so
those
long.
games.
But
I
I
smashed it.
also
Oh, I love it.
understand. But I also understand like being so soul-crushingly destroyed by getting to an NG plus 7 run without being hit and then getting killed. I also
Fuckins,
understand
fuck
that
you.
like.
Fuck you,
Yeah,
fuckins.
I also understand that like soul-crushing like destruction of like, why would I ever touch this fucking game again? Fuck you. Like, you know, and
I
then
don't know
like
because that's
but
like
I think
that's,
it's like
all of that is self-inflicted, right? Doing the no hit, there's nothing in the game you get from being no hit, right?
Yeah.
no, but it's like a challenge run though, isn't it?
Yeah,
So
but I don't think I would let it
fine.
ruin like previous. Like that's not going to retroactively because you had to have liked the game enough in the first place to want
Yeah.
to do that. So like,
Yeah.
if you let your own challenge ruin it for you, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't.
That's what I'm saying.
Maybe like
think
I
it's
get
fine.
it, but I don't have sympathy for it, right? I'm like, oh, that's just on you. That's like you did that to yourself.
When you get to New
I
Game
feel
Plus
like
7, you just don't do enough
100%.
damage to the 4 kins. And there are not 4 kins. There are fucking 7 of them.
Yeah, there's a lot of.
They just keep spawning. And I was just like, I'm going to get absolutely... Oh, they killed me.
Yeah. Well, I think it's time to go back.
I
Yeah,
I
probably
think
will.
you should go back
and-
while
while
you're waiting
you-
to play Elden Ring.
Do it with
Yeah, I
the
was
whip.
about to say while you wait to
should
play
go-
Elden Ring,
Yeah.
you should go play Dark Souls 1.
Yeah,
I should.
Like, you should go back
I
and play
really
it.
should. I'll become
Yeah,
addicted again,
it's
though.
good.
I know I'll be the only game I ever play. I had
Hey,
I
man,
had a
I wasn't
problem.
I wasn't expecting Elden Ring to become the problem it is, but
I know.
I'm literally
think
like
we
I'm
can
looking at my
work.
PlayStation right now, and I'm like I'm going to I'm like so I'm like in my head I'm planning like all right, stream's gonna end, all right, we're gonna end the podcast. I'm gonna go grab dinner, I'm gonna like shower, change, and then probably gonna be like 11 o'clock. I could probably play Elden Ring for like another 2 or 3 hours, right? Like
I think I'm just
at
going
the
to
same time,
cave,
if this
get the
cough
place...
if this cough keeps hounding me, I'm just gonna go to bed and
Yeah.
cry.
Yeah.
myself
It
to
has
sleep.
been quite consistent. I hope you're okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's so weird that it's like we started the night fine, and as the night's gone, it's just like
Progressively getting
Stuck with
worse.
Yeah.
I streamed for like 4 hours a day, didn't have a problem.
But it could be like overuse
Yeah, it could
of
be.
like your voice, maybe.
Maybe, but I don't know. It seems like it only happens at night. It happened.
yourself a drink.
I had Fat Shaggy come over a couple nights. Oh yeah, I have a drink right here that I keep like going to, but
Oh,
I don't know what it is. Even like I said, so I had Fat Shaggy come over. He comes over on Wednesdays because we used to do our fighting games.
yeah.
We've just been doing them offline because from like 6 until like 8 o'clock, I just develop a cough.
Strange.
I don't know what it like. We
Yeah.
cannot figure out what it is.
It's really
But-
strange.
It's weird. I don't know.
Yeah. It's very
Um,
strange.
Did you
that
both
being said-
did you both want to call it a night soon?
I was gonna say it's been a hell of a podcast. Do we have anything else we wanted to touch on?
Not from my end.
Is there
Not-
anything
not for
else
this
we
week.
wanted to?
No, I think not now. I guess, yeah.
I'm too
Not until
depressed
we can
with
like actually watch some stuff.
I'm too
so.
depressed with how
Yeah.
this game went.
I know. I
was like, oh, I'm so up for this. I'm gonna buy this game. I'm not gonna buy this game.
I'm not. I'm also not gonna buy this game
Yeah.
unless it's on sale.
Admittedly, I thought I was gonna be way harder on this game. I feel like I kind of defended it way more than I anticipated I would.
It took like a turn, didn't it? Me and
Yeah.
George were like, yeah, we're
Yeah,
up for this. You're like,
because-
oh, I
well,
don't know. And then
I
suddenly
think
it's just like,
because I'll admit, I think part of it's because I saw like how like let down and bummed out you guys were. That I was like, oh man, let me tell you how else this game's a fucking shit fire. This is just light the garbage. I feel like that would have been really like
yeah, light
You guys
the
would just be
ship,
like,
send
yeah.
it off.
I get it.
Oh,
I get
I'm
it.
still
It's
just
bad.
thinking about the egg.
I need to
mean,
see.
fucking
There's
book
got to be
eggs.
memes of that. I
But
need to
the-
search them right now.
Look, there are so many memes about this game already. I was amazed you guys hadn't seen it.
No, not a single one.
No.
That's why I was shocked when you both were like, I'm hearing good things. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
Yeah,
actually
like,
hearing good
My
things.
source for hearing good things is so unreliable.
I don't trust my
So
sources
here's
anymore.
my thing is like, I just think there's too much
I don't-
bias in Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Like, it's the same with Resident Evil. If a Resident Evil fan tells you a Resident Evil game's good, that doesn't mean it's good.
Yeah.
I'm a
agree, but I
Resident
think-
Evil fan. I don't think
Thank
there's been
you,
a bad
stranger.
Resident Evil game. I still enjoy Umbrella Corps.
Umbrella
Shitty
Corps.
yeah, it was a shitty multiplayer like arena game, and I had so much fun playing it.
Oh, okay.
It's so
But
bad.
Yeah, you enjoy what you
That's the thing,
enjoy.
but that's the same thing for me though. Is like 5 and 6.
Some people may
Single
really
player.
enjoy this game. They might be like, oh, it's so in depth.
Oh, yeah.
Story's amazing, combat's amazing, and
Yeah.
Oh,
fair
I'm not
enough.
talking multiplayer like you're a team. I'm talking it was a like versus only Resident Evil game.
Oh.
It was like Mercenaries mode from Resident Evil 4.
Ah, mercenaries.
Except
Right.
versus at the same time. So you was also team deathmatch. So you would like shoot someone and they would make noise and you could attract zombies to them. It's like it was
That's actually pretty cool.
It was mega jank. Like I understand why everyone hates it, but man. It's only $2.99 on Steam if you guys want to look.
Absolutely.
That says it all. I gotta check it out.
It is a garbage game. It is pretty bad. So
Yeah.
I don't
Do you
even think
want
the
to play that on
server's up. I
stream
don't even know if
patch?
you're able to
Want to
play
co-op
it.
that?
Yeah.
If it works, I will. If we can
Okay.
get enough people to fill a game,
I will throw that
because I
up.
think we need 2 teams.
Oh shit,
You'd
this is
have
where it
to-
comes back to this
yeah.
game where people just buy it because of how crap it is.
Yeah,
Damn.
this is
It's
what I'm
come
saying,
full
right?
circle again.
Perfect.
This is
Like
what I'm
50
saying.
Yeah.
5, 10 years from now, people are gonna be like, "Oh yeah, this Strangers in Paradise game. What the?" And then they're load up and be like, "Oh yeah, Frank Sinatra and Chaos. I remember these memes." And they're probably gonna enjoy it. They're probably like, "Yeah, it wasn't a bad game."
Yeah.
They also weren't being asked to pay $60 for it, and it being advertised as cutting edge. So, you know, please don't play Umbrella. Next stream, Umbrella Corps. Umbrella.
Yeah, Umbrella Corps maybe? Oh my god.
Oh, there is actually one more game coming out that we can touch on real quick.
Oh, for sure.
Just real
yeah.
quick, we just
Umbrella Corps?
for those of you interested in Borderlands,
Yes.
Borderlands,
I'm too excited.
Tiny Tina Wonderlands. It's like a D&D spin-off of Borderlands is coming out
I can't wait.
this Friday.
It's this
the
Friday?
26th, I believe. Instead of it being like, hey, here's like your 4 heroes and each one has a class, it looks like there's 6 classes and you get to make a character.
Oh my god.
So I already looked at it and I was like, well, I found the Necromancer Edgelord, so
Yeah.
if I end up getting this game, I'm still not sure if I'm gonna jump on it right away or if the FOMO is gonna get me. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. But
I might jump on it straight away. I might have to get on console though.
yeah, that's what if like, look, if people are interested in doing like a regular, like we get a fixed group of 4 and we run through, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, I'd be down for that. But
I'm down.
that's that's one of those things that I like. That's a game that's best played multiplayer, and I wouldn't buy it if I was the only one to play it.
No, I'm getting it. I'm getting it.
I did Borderlands 3, and I was like, this is kind of fun. This would be great with friends.
I did it all on my own.
Got friends. Yeah.
I did Borderlands 2 with
3's
friends.
writing.
I did 3 on my own. I was like, why am I playing this
You made a
game? I made a big
Yeah,
mistake.
I was gonna say it was written by the same people that did Strangers of Paradise. Like,
Oh,
the
are you
cringe
fucking
is-
Oh.
serious?
No, I'm not serious.
Oh,
I'm
okay,
making a joke
fuck,
about
you
how
had me then.
cringy and bad the writing was, though.
You
Could
actually
imagine?
had me.
I'd believe
Oh my
it. Those,
God.
what's up? Like, what are they? They were like streamers. The
Why
villains
am I
were
so
streamers.
gullible? Fuck.
Which was the most like, as people are like, hey, streaming culture's like big right now. All these streamers are like, holy shit, the villain's just making fun of me.
Yeah.
And then the humor was like pretty low effort. But hey, maybe this new one will be good. If not, as long as there's 4 people playing, I'd be down.
Okay.
I mean, speaking of comedy, I just want to make a quick recommendation because I saw a really good TV show. And I just want to recommend it because we never really mention like don't mention too many TV shows.
To be honest,
But you
because I don't
guys-
watch a lot of TV.
Well, this isn't for you then, much. It's for the people.
Hey, no, that's fair.
It's for
I
the
mean,
people.
I'll probably check it out if it's good.
To the
Yeah.
podcast. But no, it's just, do you guys like Taika Waititi? Is that how you say his name?
Say it again.
Taika Waititi, the guy behind
Loads. Like What We Do in the Shadows
tons
and
of
stuff?
stuff. What We Do in the Shadows, yeah. That's
yeah,
what
yeah,
I.
yeah.
I've never
Yeah,
heard of
so-
any of these.
What?
What's
You should watch What We Do in the Shadows.
What is
It's
that? What is it
Yeah,
about?
It's so good.
It's
a
a vampire show, but it's a comedy. It's not a horror.
yeah,
it's a comedy.
It's like a mockumentary.
A mockumentary.
It's like The Office, but vampires.
It's
Ooh,
on
see,
BBC
now
iPlayer.
I'm gonna be lit on fire here. I don't like The Office. The humor just doesn't get me.
Hey, that's fair. That's fair.
That's fair.
Yeah.
It's not for everyone.
But even like for this, even just like the actual show itself is really good.
Okay.
Like, it almost takes the piss out of itself a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, and it's fully aware
have a
of
look.
what it is, but it's really good. But basically, they've done it. It reminds me of What We Do in the Shadows, but it's a pirate one, and it's not a mockumentary. It's like an actual like comedy TV show. But it's called Our Flag Means Death, and it's
Oh, I
and
think I saw a
love it.
thing on Twitter about that.
Yeah,
check
and so
it out.
like yeah, it's on. So basically, it's
I
about
like Taika Waititi a bunch, so
yeah,
I'll
he's
definitely
actually
watch
he's actually in it as well, and he's really good in it.
Oh,
But it's
okay.
basically
he's in What We Do in the Shadows too.
he is because he was in the original film.
movie. Yeah,
Yeah, but then he actually was because I'm watching it again at the minute, season 2, and he was in an episode of
So
Well,
is What We
the-
Do in the Shadows a
remake
series,
show.
is it?
Yes.
series. Yeah,
Okay.
Well, it's a movie and a series.
Wait, it's a
Yeah.
movie as well?
yeah. There's a
yes.
movie, but like the movie's like the movie came out before.
Wait, what do I watch? The series or the movie?
You can do either one.
Okay.
There's some characters from the movie that show up, but they're not like, oh, hey, it's this big important character. It's just like you see them in the background, and you're like, oh, I see
okay,
you back
okay.
there. I
Yeah.
know what
Yeah.
you're doing.
Yeah, I would probably recommend
Sneaky
the
little
series.
vampire.
Yeah, I would recommend the series. You could watch
The
the
series is very
movie.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, the series is very good. But this show, yeah, it's basically about a guy who's like he's like an English gentleman, and he basically is very unhappy with his life, and so he decides he wants to be a pirate, but he's like a proper English gentleman, so he's essentially a gentleman pirate, and it's essentially he's not very good at it.
Okay.
And it's
You know what
just-
I'm picturing? There's that guy that does TikToks where he's like Jesus talking to the animals and stuff, and he's like, well, that's not very nice now, is it? Even though
Yeah.
he's like, well, you're a shark. You're supposed to eat that. But what if I don't want to eat it? Like,
That's
that-
literally kind of what it is, but like
I
pirate.
knew it. Yeah, I'll watch that. I'll hella watch that. That
It's
guy
really
cracks.
good.
I don't watch TikTok, but that
Yeah.
dude cracks me up.
But it's got so many people, like every single episode, like a new person. It's like What We Do in the Shadows, where it just has like random celebrities will just like
Oh yeah,
pop up in a
cameos.
cameo.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, and so like it's like that, but in this again, and I'm just there going, oh, it's you, and like
Okay.
the last 2 episodes are next Thursday, no, this Thursday coming up, the last 2 episodes.
All right. So I'll wait till the season's done, and then I'm just gonna binge the whole thing.
Yes,
That's the type
I
of
would
person
recommend
I
it.
am.
Yeah, so like this Thursday is the last 2 episodes, but if you haven't seen it, I would recommend it because it's like one of those things like it's flown so under the radar, but I think it's because it's technically not released in the UK yet.
Oh.
So it's in America,
Okay.
but not technically in the UK as of
Whoop,
yet.
whoop. Shows I'm
Yeah,
not watching getting released. Oh, wait.
Yeah, you
You bloody get it.
He
Well,
gets
yeah,
it.
I'd recommend it. It's very, very good. And What We Do in the Shadows as well is very good as well.
Okay, I'll have to check
Oh,
that
yeah,
out.
What We Do in the Shadows is so funny.
Yeah.
I would say it's funnier than The Office.
Okay,
I
Yeah.
think so, at least.
I'll give it a
I
go.
Now,
I'll
that
give it
being
a
said,
shot.
I am biased towards The Office because I typically work in an office, so like I know those people, right? I can like sit there and be like, oh, I know someone just like this.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Like those are just all exaggerations of people you would really meet in like a cubicle. It's so funny.
Yeah.
But What We Do in the Shadows is like you don't need to have like no one's a vampire, right? You don't if you have just
Exactly.
lived, your life in the modern world, you can appreciate this show because it's like Georgie said, it's like a mockumentary. Like they do the documentary stuff, like they're following these vampires around, but vampires are like 500, 700,000 years old.
Mhm.
And then you introduce them to like email chains. What is this message? Why are they telling me I will die if I don't forward it? I'm cursed. And it like
Yeah.
it's a 45-minute thing of these vampires trying to break the curse of the Saudi oil prince or
my
some
gosh.
shit. It's so funny.
Yeah. It's just things like that. And then like they've got like someone who's like essentially a familiar, which is someone who's like from the time that's essentially just a vampire fanboy. And it's just
Okay.
really funny because it's essentially
yeah.
what you imagine Twilight fans being like.
Or like
It's just, like,
K-pop
this-
stands, but for
Yeah.
vampires. It's
Yeah,
so funny.
Essentially. It's really
so
good.
good.
Yeah. I'd recommend it.
Definitely worth a watch.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll check that out.
All right, we're coming up on 4 hours.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. We
10,
should, we should
15.
end it.
I gotta
let's
get
call
some
this one.
dinner.
Yeah, let's call it.
I'm ready.
Yeah,
to
we should
go.
end.
Do you two have
Nice.
anyone you wish to rate out to? Because
Right, I am
can't
not
do the
picking
thing.
this time because
Okay,
I've picked
Has to be patched then.
pretty much every time. So you guys get to pick.
I'm looking. Let me just because there was another game that came out this week, and I know a bunch of people are playing it, but I didn't want to promote it because they're putting good netcode in it, like in like a couple months. So until it has good netcode, I'm not interested. But you know what? I was wrong anyway because it doesn't look like any of them. No one's live. It's so late. No one's live.
Oh.
Ooh.
See, I have someone.
Oh.
No one's live
I don't-
under 1,000 viewers.
Oh my god.
I'll put it that way.
Oh,
Which, like,
God.
I mean, I know it doesn't matter.
No,
but
it doesn't
It always
matter,
feels
but-
weird. Like
Yeah. it
5
does.
people rating into 1,500. What's up, guys? Yeah,
He's
we're
like,
here.
"Hey."
Yeah.
It's like, come on, man. Come on. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
I see Pan's live. I see Suki's live.
Okay, that's two.
There's this guy Stellar Death that I got dropped off in one night. He's live. And Fat Shaggy raids him a bunch. Like I said, it's. Oh, you know what else it is? Everyone's watching Arc or Evo. There's a fighting game tournament on.
Oh.
That explains it.
That's what it
That's
is.
why
I
they're not
can't.
playing.
I
They're
can't
watching.
look because it pulls us away from the screen, so I can't do anything.
That's fine. You want to go over? I mean, we've been talking about Resident Evil a bunch. Pan's playing RE5. You guys want to go over there?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's an easy enough segue.
Could one of you do the thing for me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Let me set it up.
Georgie's got it. All right, so we'll set it up.
Legend.
We'll start wrapping it up then. Guys, thank you so much for spending your evening with us, listening to us tangent and ramble and play this shitty ass demo. It's been a blast.
Yes, it's been fun.
If you want to, check any of us out, you can see our Twitters listed next to our names when it cycles back over. You can find me, Patch the Squid, over at twitch.tv/patchthesquid. You can find my wonderful co-host Georgie over at
Georgie Games on Twitch and YouTube and the Twitter.
Ooh, that's right. You got the YouTube going now too.
Gosh, the YouTube's going.
And sitting front and center, our other wonderful host with the most, Kage. Where can the wonderful people find you?
You can find me if you just type in soul_strike into Twitch, and you will find me, my friends. You will find me.
Beautiful.
I've also just posted in
All
the
of
chat the Chat Lord YouTube.
Yeah, we're gonna start.
Oh,
We're
yeah,
gonna start
we also
getting
have
that
YouTube.
content ideas for that. We're gonna start
Yeah.
spreading into that. I think we need to start.
Sure.
I got some ideas. I'm sure you guys have some ideas.
Oh, we do.
Yeah, got some discussions.
We'll
to have.
investigate, experiment, try new things. Look, we're young and in college. We can do what we want, right?
Hells yeah.
All the experimenting in college. You know what I mean?
Oh no.
To be fair, I never went to college for class, so, I can't really talk, but hey, it's fine.
All of us, no.
Can't be bothered. Anyways, guys, thank you so much. Stay awesome, be cool, and we'll catch you guys next Saturday for another sick episode.